You're not gonna lie.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Unfiltered Podcast. We have a panel full of beautiful, amazing women.
Are they women this time?
Yes, they are women this time. It's gonna be a great show. Let's get it.
Oh no.
I would have touched you with a fucking stick.
Yo, baby! How are y'all doing on this beautiful Thursday night? Tonight, we're joined with 6 beautiful and lovely ladies. But before we get in the show, though, guys, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified every time we go live. Unfiltered Army, make sure you join us in the locals. Become a member in the locals. In the locals, you can see all the behind-the-scenes footage from the podcast, the yacht parties, the strip club. You can see footage like punches being thrown, cups being thrown. That's all in the locals, so make sure you tap into the locals, guys. Also, become a member on YouTube. To become a member on YouTube, you need to go to our channel on desktop, click join. There's 6 tiers. The top tier give you the best perks possible. That means top percentages off of merch, Instagram chat for members only. You also get our personal number to do business with us, guys.
All right, guys, welcome back to another show of the Unfiltered Podcast, man. First of all, before we get started, yes, guys, we did check all the ladies are indeed ladies, okay? And it's kind of fucked up that we have to do that, to be honest. Like, I really find myself looking at IDs now.
I feel betrayed.
Yeah. You know, I feel like you almost, like, we're not going to come back ever again.
I was disgusted. Like, you could feel my energy. Like, right after the podcast, I lived. Like, I was just so mad.
Yeah, he didn't
like,
even talk.
Just...
Usually he'll stay here and he'll say, like, bye, and, you know, he'll talk to the ladies. Yesterday, he was like, yo, I'm out of here. Welcome back to another show, guys. We're the realest podcast in the fucking world, man. We're the only podcast that allows you guys to talk to us, ask us questions throughout the show, dictate topics. And yesterday, you guys were on point about the ladies being trans. And next time, guys, make Jules tell me. Okay, guys? Make her tell me, because she sat here and laughed the whole entire time.
And like, one of y'all could just super chat $1. Like, I'll send it back. Like, come on.
Bro.
Like, y'all can do
I
something.
kept telling
shit,
them
bro.
to super chat. I got in trouble, y'all, but I couldn't say it. For some reason, I'll be like, are you a trans? A part of me was
You
like,
could have written
not-
down.
You didn't have to
You
say,
could
are you a
have done
trans? You
something.
could just be like, hey, listen, the chat thinks that you guys are trans.
Is this true?
Is this true?
Like, you were open about them having an escort page. You're like, your
Right,
chat said
right.
you got an escort
Yeah,
page.
because that has happened before. So
Well,
I'm like,
well, so she's cool with saying you're an escort, but not a trans.
Right?
Okay, cool. That's cool. Guys, make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, man. Like the video. It helps us with the algorithm as well. Shout out to my man, Dom. He's been working on the Clips channel, and the Clips channel is actually growing really, really fast as well. Donate to Streamlabs, guys. The link should be up, right, Curtis?
Yep.
So donate to Streamlabs. Streamlabs gives us 97% of all your donations, opposed to YouTube. YouTube takes a whopping 30%. The thresholds are going to be at the bottom, guys. So make sure you guys pay attention to that. They will switch throughout the show as we go. Obviously, the busier we get, you know, the more super chats we have. It's kind of hard to read all of them at once, guys. Become a member. If you're like Dina and you haven't become a member.
Wait, didn't she come remember yesterday?
Just yesterday, yeah. So
shout out to Dina.
Shout out to Dina for becoming a member. Become a member, guys. We do add you to the Discord, the
Correct.
secret members chat on Instagram, and you guys get a whole bunch of perks for that too, man. Shout out to Jules. She's still dating me for her green card. She'll get it soon. Okay, she almost got hands put on her last night for the green card. We're gonna introduce the ladies tonight. Let's get started. Go ahead.
We can start with you, Liz. Can I get your name, age, and what you do for a living?
My name is Liz. I'm 27. I am a manager of a pet salon, and I own my own pet nanny business.
Okay. Are you single?
No.
Okay. Shout out to you.
Okay, shout out to you. Thanks for coming. Okay, what about you?
Hi, I'm Ivy. I'm 19 years old. I work for Breathe Media Network as a social media assistant and content creator.
Okay.
Wait, what type of content? Like OnlyFans?
No. Like things to do around Miami, wellness, showing you where to go do yoga or where to go do Pilates. It's more like about events
So
in
you're like
Miami.
you're like a group me for social media.
I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Do you know what that is?
No,
Okay. Then why'd you say I guess?
I don't know.
So group me is like there's another site. It's called social something, and essentially you go on that app and it tells you like cool things to do around you, and it's pretty cheap too.
Mm.
So like skydiving for like $99,
Oh,
right?
that's dope.
Or something. Yeah, it's called Group Me, and there's a whole bunch of them. There's another one, social something. I forgot what it is, but okay, cool. Thanks for coming. What about you? Go ahead.
Hello, I'm Abby. I'm 21 and I'm currently in school. I'm studying fashion design right now.
Okay, thanks for coming. And what about you? Introduce yourself, please.
I'm Natalie. I'm going to be 31 years old next month, and I'm
Ah,
a
damn.
realtor.
Okay, and a realtor.
Yeah.
Okay. Where's the
31.
Yeah.
Really, nigga?
Can you do? No, I'm kidding.
It
No,
was
we need a red flag.
Why?
nah. We'll tell you why in a second. Okay, what about you? Go ahead.
My name is Ella. I'm 22 and I work as a supervisor for Starbucks.
What your name?
Ooh, Starbucks.
Mhm.
Yeah, we got another Starbucks.
Which
plug.
Starbucks? I'm kidding.
She
No,
wasn't
no,
kidding.
really, which
She
one?
wasn't-
Yeah.
It's far from here. It's on like South Dixie Highway.
Gotcha.
Perfect. That's where I live.
I'll be there. I'll be
Okay.
there. I was
All
gonna
right.
ask if you guys wanted, but I was like,
Oh nah, she'll never say no to Starbucks.
okay, then
We-
tell me your
we-
We
We actually already have a Starbucks Connect
Amazing.
around the
Oh,
area.
it's,
Yeah.
it's never
Apply.
enough.
Yeah.
Never
Never
enough.
enough.
Don't put them out. They'll fire them. But
Okay. What about you?
Keep it-
What about you?
My name's Lana. I'm 19. I go to school. I'm also a server at this catering event thingy.
Okay.
And that was it, right?
Yeah.
Your name, major, what you do for a living? What
Yeah.
you do for
I'm
in
in
school?
school,
What's your
yeah.
What's your major?
Pre-law.
Pre-law. Okay. Well, welcome to the show. Hopefully, we all.
So hold on. What the girls did yesterday, was that illegal?
I was gonna get to that.
That's what I was
Hold
questioning.
on.
you
Let's
guys.
give them some context.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So yesterday we had a show and where two ladies came in here in disguise, and the chat knew what the fuck was going on.
Mhm.
We didn't, and the reason why I was so upset after the show wasn't so much because they were trans. It was because they lied about it, right? Because if they had told me, I would have just been like, let's talk about it. But the way they did it, and then they said, I don't have to announce it. It's not something that I have to do. And I was like, well, that's wrong, right? Because like, imagine if I met someone and I'm pretending to be something I'm not. Maybe I told them yesterday, I told someone, I was like, because someone was arguing with me and they were like, well, they feel like they're women. And I was like, well, I feel like I'm a billionaire. But it's funny because the world's not going to treat me like a billionaire, right? And sometimes people just don't get that. So anyways, they came here and we had a long conversation. It was about a 3-hour conversation we had with them. And at around the 45-minute mark, the chat already knew who they were. Jules knew who they were, but nobody told me and you. And actually, I felt really betrayed. I really did. I was like, yo, you knew, they knew, the girls knew apparently, and I didn't have any interactions with them before the show. So I didn't know.
How did everybody else but you two not know?
I'm
That's what
explaining.
I
I'm like, hold on,
said.
let me explain why. Let me explain why. Because before the show, we didn't interact with them. They came in here, all the girls went straight upstairs, right? And they all hung up there until about 10 minutes before the show, where they all came down here and sat down. And then I'm coming here worried about so many other things. I sit down and I'm not looking at, girls' hands. I'm not looking at, Adam's apples. And to be fair, they look like women.
They did.
It
They
wasn't,
looked like women.
and they had everybody fooled, to be honest, because not one girl came to me and was like, yo, that's a trans. Not one person. So long story short, the chat said something and Jules read it out loud. Oh, I read it aloud. Jules gave it to me. What happened was immediately they got very masculine.
Very, very. I thought they were joking, honestly. They were like, yeah. It's just a funny joke.
Yes.
I was
okay.
like, haha, like someone saying this joke.
So if you go back, I watched the video last night. If you go back when I was like, are you guys trans? And they were like, yeah. I was like, for real? Like, I was like, for real? Like, you could see my facial expression. I was like, no way. And then when they were like, nah, for real, I was like, you see my face, like it changes.
Yeah.
I was like, why? You know what I mean? I was so confused. I was like, why wouldn't you tell me? Like, why? And for some reason, they wanted to fight her so bad. And I think it was because she said, "You're on here portraying to be a woman. You're not a woman," and that pissed them off. But the funny thing is, that when they got upset, they actually became very manly. Their voices changed, aggression changed, the body language changed. This girl had her hands on my face. Oh, technically a guy, not you, but the one that was sitting here. Yeah. And she was saying, "I'll beat your ass." But she wasn't saying that minutes before when we all thought she was a woman. So what do you guys think about that situation?
Wait. She said that to you or Jules?
She was saying it to both of us, essentially, because she knew that she was my girlfriend. And even if she wasn't my girlfriend, I was still not going to let her come and do anything to her, right? But she felt like she wanted to get to her, but I was in the way, so she was taking her frustration out on me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like right now, if I want to get to you, but he's in the middle, I'm going to take my frustration out on him, even though I'm trying to get to you.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about that situation last night?
I didn't watch the whole episode, but I did see the reels, and I did watch some of it, and it was very interesting because I didn't know that you guys didn't know that they were trans. I thought you guys knew that they were. And looking back at it, we were all talking about it earlier, how we all knew that they were trans from watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess like for you guys in the moment type of thing, you guys can't tell. Like you guys are on go mode with the live stream and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was very interesting to watch, to be honest. It was entertaining.
It was intense.
Is that like if the girl
intense.
or it slept with another guy and didn't tell that guy would that be illegal?
That's what I thought. Like, isn't that legal, right?
No, it's not. It's not
Oh my
illegal. Hold on.
No.
I have a question.
You're the law student.
So wait.
I don't
So
think
here's
that's
my
illegal,
question
but-
to you. Should
wrong.
trans women have to announce that they're trans women? Yes or no?
Yes,
Why?
because it's like in general or like in the bedroom.
In general.
Oh, in general.
Yes.
Ooh.
It changes now, huh?
Yeah, it does.
Why does it change?
Because if it's in the bedroom, then it's good for the other person to know the whole thing, because sex is consensual, and you need 100, like up to like 110% consent from the other person when you're having sex with them.
Okay.
And then outside of the bedroom, I guess it's up to them if they want to announce it to the world, because some people, they don't, because you know how society is right now. They like to bash on the LGBTQ plus community.
Okay.
And so they probably hide it so they don't get bashed on.
Okay.
But some people, they like to.
So you don't see
bring
anything
it to-
wrong with trans women going to a podcast, giving the impression that they're women, knowing that we only invite women here, by the way. There's no other guys here besides the host.
Mhm.
You don't think there's anything wrong with the fact that they came in here and maybe they could have at least just been like, hey, listen, we feel like we're women. We look like we're women. We dress like we're women. But just out of respect, I just wanted to let you know that we are trans. You don't think there's anything wrong with that at all? Because you're saying that they shouldn't have to announce themselves. But okay, my thing is, what's the intention, right? If a girl goes to a club and she's trans, you're saying that it shouldn't have to be announced, but guys are gonna approach her because she looks like a woman.
Correct.
Right? It's like if I dress like a ghost and I just go to like a park, kids are gonna think I'm a ghost because that's just what I look like. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I think it's different since you guys are on a podcast, because I didn't know that you guys invited only women until you guys reached out to me, and I looked researched you guys, and I thought you guys, like I said, I thought you guys knew that they were trans, so I thought you guys are like broadening more of your.
Wait, hold on. You think I would have told the trans to give me another 360?
Yeah, he was falling in love.
No, the fuck I wasn't.
He was falling in
It's
love.
okay.
Yo, chill with that. I was not falling
He's
in
never
love.
asked a girl to
was.
spin
He
twice.
was hyping her up a lot.
Bro,
I didn't watch that
calm
part,
down.
though.
I was watching it.
You
I
was,
saw it.
Basil. You was.
Well,
bro.
yo, we're not doing this. Y'all like
Stop
trolling
it.
me back. Calm
He's gonna
down.
leave.
That's right. Put him in
Nah,
the
bro,
spin
though.
cycle.
So what happened if
No, hold on, real quick. You told me to touch his ass.
I
Yeah.
told you to touch
You-
Daniel's ass.
No, Yes.
Daniel was his real name.
You told me to touch his ass, bro. What if I had touched the ass?
That's on your girl, bro. That's on your girl. I didn't know.
You
That's on
wouldn't
your
have.
girl.
Bro,
You
I
wouldn't
would have
have.
I would have been so embarrassed, bro.
You
Yeah, I would have been
wouldn't
hurt for
have.
you. I would have been hurt.
I would have been and you go ahead and grab it, Eric. Go
But
ahead and grab it.
I didn't know it was the guy though.
Have you ever touched the BBL, Eric? And I'm like, nah, I'm good, bro.
I was trying to give you the opportunity.
Nah,
bro.
and then you set Curtis up talking about
I was trying to labs.
he's trying to slide her to Curtis.
Yeah, I was
and
like, yo,
she's-
Curtis.
And she's like, I do like Curtis.
Both of them
Poor
both
Curtis.
gave Curtis the highest rating.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. Moving on. Should trans people, should trans women have to announce themselves? Yes or no?
I agree with her. I think that in public, like regularly, no. Obviously, like if you're in a relationship and it like goes somewhere else, then yes.
Okay, that's fair. What about you? Should they have to?
I don't
announce
think that
themselves?
they should. And here's where I'm gonna like kind of explain it.
Ooh,
I
I
don't
didn't
think
expect that from you. What the hell?
I don't think that they should go announcing it to everybody. Like I'm walking in the street, I'm going to Publix, I'm buying
Mhm.
groceries. Hey, by the way, I'm a trans woman. However, for purposes of an interview, for purposes of a podcast that interviews women, hey, I'm a trans woman. Doesn't make you less of a woman. Like she mentioned, I did watch the whole thing. She's like, it's a spectrum. That's fine. I can agree with that and I can respect that. However, you have to let people know that you're on the trans end of the spectrum.
Agreed.
Okay.
Out of respect, and if it's not an issue, if you love yourself the way that you are, shouldn't be an issue for you to communicate that to people.
Okay, so overall you agree with me, but you're saying when you're out there just going to
Yeah,
like
just going about
Publix-
your regular
Right.
life. I
I
don't
agree.
think that
I
you
agree with
should
that.
go, hey, by the way, I'm trans. Hey, by the way, I'm
Right.
trans. So
Yeah,
like
you're-
every interaction that you have with
Yeah,
people.
I see what you're saying. You're not gonna go to
However-
Publix and tell the
Correct.
cashier,
Mhm.
I agree with
right?
that.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Correct.
Okay.
However, you're interacting with men for a potential relationship, for a potential hookup, whatever it is, you have to let them know off the bat.
Yeah,
You have
yeah,
to.
because you were talking to them before the
No,
show.
the fuck I was not.
All right, what about you? Should they have to announce themselves? Yes or no?
I agree with her. Like when you're having an interaction with somebody, I think you should. Like even if you're trying to become friends with somebody, I think it's just common courtesy. Like there's nothing wrong with it, and if you're really proud of who you are, it shouldn't be an issue.
Okay, fair enough. What about you? Same thing?
Yeah, I completely agree with them, because if you guys were anybody else, you guys could have like attacked them just knowing the fact that they were trans. Other people don't have the same reactions that you guys
I'm gonna
had.
be honest with you. I honestly thought about it.
I know. I saw you take your
I
headphones
thought
off.
about it,
I was
yeah.
with the shit. My headphones were off
I
the whole time.
thought
was
about
ready.
it, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I didn't know if at that point if they were friendly or foe.
Nah, they were being like very aggressive.
Oh, yeah,
and
they were.
and
Yeah,
coming
they
at
were.
her.
I
Like
saw
like
They
it was
were.
it wasn't like a disgust like you're discussing human being. It
Yeah.
was a you just lied. I don't know what your intentions are here.
Correct.
Because they did say, "Oh, I've been waiting to do something like this.
Mhm.
I've been wanting to come on the show and do something like this." And at that point, I'm like, "Well, are you gonna swing on me? Like, are you the person that's gonna come and try to, you know?" And so I was more defensive at that moment, and I was really like,
But see, the problem with that is, in the government eyes, those are women.
"Okay,
Correct?
we're gonna get
but
to
they're
that.
not.
We're-
They're
we're-
trans women.
We're gonna get to that in 1 second. What about you? You feel the same way they do?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think they should have told like you guys, or like if they go for an interview, or like let's say a school. Because no offense, I don't want to offend anybody, but I do not want my 5-year-old nephew going into the bathroom with a trans woman or man. That
Okay.
just doesn't
Aw,
make
shit, see,
me
now
comfortable.
You're canceled now, Liz.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
So here's what I'll say about that, right? If you are trans, it's something you're choosing to do. You're not born trans, right? You're born something and then you transition, right? If you're proud to be who you are, which is what I asked them, I said, "Are you proud to be trans?" She said no. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah, she said no.
She said no. But you know, for me, it's just very deceitful for her to come on here and do that. So my thing is, if you're proud to be trans, why not just
Say it.
be proud?
Yeah.
Just say it.
Why
the
not
thing.
just be proud?
I don't even think it's about pride. It's about accepting who you really are, and maybe they haven't fully.
But
Because if they're trying to portray something, or if I'm trying to convince you to be something that I'm not, then that's a completely different issue.
okay. Now here's my next question: should we treat them as women? Because we know how we feel about them.
Correct.
I feel as if they're still men. I have a strong stance on that, right? I feel like they're still men, right? Biologically, I feel like everything about them is men, even if they had a surgery, they're still men. When they wanted to fight Jules, I wasn't thinking, oh, that's a girl. Like, I'd be a lot more laxed if it was a girl.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm like, this is a guy trying to get to Jules.
Mm.
This is a grown ass man. And it wasn't any more, like softness. It was, shut the fuck
It was
up.
very stern.
I beat your ass. Fuck you. What you gonna do about it? And when a guy tells you that, we know how we feel when a man tells you, what are you gonna do about it? You're very close to confrontation, right? It's no more talking. You're essentially saying, what are you gonna do about it? Right? Now, if a girl says that, I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. But if a guy says it, mind you, I'm looking at these guys as guys now. So my question is, should I still have treated them as women or should I have treated them as men? So I'll go back to you on that one.
I would have treated them as men because I agree with you. I would still see them as men. Biologically, they are men. Surgery or not, like they're still men. Like,
okay. Shout out to you. What about you?
I agree with her. Because they told Jules that she's not a woman.
Uh-huh.
Why would they say that to her?
That's a good question. I don't know. That's a really good question.
she's more woman than they are.
Yeah, and that's a really good point too. What about you? So should I still have treated them as women or should I have treated them as what they were born, which is a man?
I would say no, they're still men. And especially in that situation, you can't really look at them as women.
Okay. Now, ladies, if he or she would have punched me, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I really don't know what would happen.
Punch
You're
him back.
studying, you're
What would
studying
you
law,
do?
right? You're studying law, right? So in that scenario, do you think he would have been charged for hitting a woman or hitting a man?
Ooh.
Ooh.
He wouldn't have
would've
been
been charged for
charged.
hitting a woman.
He wouldn't have.
Yeah, I would say woman. Try
Yeah.
to hit a
If her
woman.
ID says
because-
woman,
Because it's a
I'm-
woman.
if it was a real ID.
I'm not even joking
Mhm.
around. I really genuinely want to know because here's the thing, right? If that had happened, I would have done what I needed
Of
to
course,
do.
of
Regardless, I'll face the consequences later. But I genuinely went home and I was like, if something, because it was really close to happening.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If that person, because like that person was like, what you gonna do about it? And and I'm like, if I had put my hands on that person, am I attacking a woman or am I attacking a man? I really don't know. And I'm like, well,
I got a question as well.
Yeah, what's up?
Would it also be charged like assault
Yes.
with discrimination?
I don't-
Possibly.
That's a good question.
Oh shit.
It
That's a
depends on
really
the
good
Yeah, it
question.
circumstances.
Well,
I would say.
the one thing we have going for us is everything's recorded.
Correct.
It's on video.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The other thing though is I don't have the cleanest record. You know what I mean? So they're like, oh, this dude's a troublemaker.
Mhm.
But seriously though, I really want to know, like, if I had put my hands on him or her, when the cops come, they're gonna treat her as a woman.
Correct. Because
But-
in her ID it says and she
Woman.
said it. Yeah.
But that force of the punch is coming at me like a man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Right?
physicality of a guy.
Well, he did say he would beat the woman out of her. So
I did say
You
that.
did say
I did say
that.
that. Yeah, I
You
did.
might-
Say that.
I did say that. I said I was gonna beat the woman out of her. But realistically, ladies, I really want to know, and any one of you guys can tell me this: if she was to swing at me, that's a man hitting me right there. That's a man. That I promise you, just because she transitioned, the force of that punch wouldn't have gone.
That shit didn't transition.
any
Man.
lower.
That shit's insane.
Okay,
Yeah.
so and that was a tall ass man.
Mhm.
That was a tall. Those were some tall.
Didn't
ass
he
men.
say he was like 5'11", right?
Yeah, bro.
Bro, it was like 6'5".
Bro, they were pretty
They were
tall.
tall as hell.
They were pretty tall.
They were like my height type shit.
Yeah.
They were-
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
They were
I could
really-
have swore she said, or
No,
he
no,
said
they-
5'11".
No, they were really tall. As a matter of fact, when I was walking them out, I was like, damn, these are some tall ass tall ass dudes. Like, I'm like, bro, I don't want to get, because also I know it's not gonna be 1v1.
Nah.
It's not gonna be
They
1v1.
jumping. They jumping.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's guys jumping.
Oh, yeah.
It's not girls.
I,
It's
at
not
that
girls.
point, I'm expecting my team to
But
you know.
I already had my headphones off. I was doing this shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
you did.
So when the police is coming, am I getting charged for hitting a woman or a man?
You're getting charged for hitting a
Woman.
woman,
Yeah.
but you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But by law, you will get charged for hitting a
Mhm.
woman.
Go
That
back to
makes
the
no sense,
Olympics
though,
and the
because
people that are
think-
competing now on women's team and they're just because they transition.
Yeah, but my problem with all that is no matter what you want to be, you're your physical, your biological, you're still producing testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
Like the reason why they got so angry, the testosterone was hitting right there.
Yeah.
Like you were at peak right there. That doesn't, your body doesn't automatically stop producing that. It doesn't matter how many pills you take to produce more of, what is it that a woman make?
Estrogen.
Estrogen.
Yes,
Estrogen.
it doesn't matter how many pills you take for that. Your body is still producing that.
So does that mean that me and him are at a disadvantage though?
What
Like
do you
we
mean?
technically,
I have to take those
Yeah.
hits, or I have to let y'all take the hits, and I can't do anything. I
Chat,
can't defend you, and I can
I want to
can't
know what the
defend
chat
myself.
thinks. Chat, let me know what you guys think, man. Go ahead and tell Jules what you think. Also, go,
Trey actually said, "I'm a former cop. You wouldn't have been charged at all because they were the aggressors and you're protecting
Correct.
someone.
Mhm.
You don't get arrested,
Mm,
Eric."
Bro, they're not
Oh.
the cops when they come. They're not giving a fuck about that. Any of that. We don't
Yeah.
have like. Yes, we have the video evidence, but they're not gonna worry about the video evidence until we go to court.
maybe it just depends on the cop.
True,
It
unless
depends.
yeah,
It would
Yeah.
depend
maybe
on the cop.
yeah,
You
maybe
could
the cop
you
is
could get
cool
a
enough
really
to be
nice
like,
cop.
oh, can we show you the video first, like before you like arrest me?
Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't even have gotten to that point on their side. I don't understand why it escalated so quickly and then why they got so violent so quickly.
Because they were
got
waiting for
offended.
that.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
got
They were
really
waiting.
offended.
Yeah.
Well, think about this, right? They came on the show, lied to everybody, and then had the audacity to sit here and act like they were being victimized,
Correct.
right?
Mhm.
And then they tried to beat her. And,
And that-
honestly, bro,
And they
And
were giving
unfortunately-
terrible advice.
yeah, they were
Oh,
giving
yes.
terrible advice.
They were like, "Fuck whoever you want." Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Like that's what guys say.
Yeah.
though.
Bro, yes,
It's
that's-
all coming back now. I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
No,
But
bro.
like that puts a bad name on trans people in general. Because
Yeah,
if that-
respectfully.
yeah, because
That's the
that's
real
not a
problem.
representation of the community at all.
Mhm.
Like
you
there's
know?
trans people who aren't like that, and I think
Aggressive,
that the problem started when they became violent, and so I
Yeah.
think that that's the main issue for me.
Okay, I have a question. Now, one of them said that they don't tell the guys they sleep with, at least not all of them, that they are trans.
That's wrong.
Don't
Yeah.
you ladies think that that's
That's
also
absolutely wrong.
That's why I think that they were just a bad representation of like trans people, because that's not a good, like, I know people who are trans who they disagree with that completely, who have literally said no, if you're going somewhere like that in a private setting with a person, it's not okay to not tell them. So I just feel like they were like, the way that they were acting was very out of line.
okay?
Right.
Let me ask you ladies something. What do you think happens when a guy sleeps with a woman who is trans and he didn't know anything about it? How do you think that guy would feel? Do you understand that a lot of guys actually take their own lives because of stuff
Correct,
like
because
that?
it could
Or
take
they
a toll
take
on your
someone
mental
else's
health.
life.
Yeah, no, that's happened before where, you know, they've taken the life of the transporter
Yeah.
and then they've also taken their own life. And it's just like because of a lie, because you couldn't just be honest. I tell women all the time, I tell regular women, if you have a high body count, let your man know so that he can decide whether he wants to be with you or not.
Correct.
So what else do you think I would tell a trans that is pretending to be a woman?
You should say that like off rip. If a guy's trying to court you, I would hope the trans person's like, "Oh, bro, I'm trans."
Oh,
That should be
You know
like
the
off the gut.
Yeah.
That
You know
should
the-
be first conversation in.
the crazy thing about it is we live in a society where people would actually probably like be okay with that.
100%.
We live in like maybe like 30 years ago, you know, when I was a kid, that shit was not sliding, right?
Mhm.
But today, you tell someone you're a trans, they may not even care.
There is
Mhm.
people who don't care.
They don't
Mhm.
care.
Hold on, I want to say that that's for Western culture. I would say.
Mhm.
I don't think anyone in Eastern, like Europe, Asia, they're not going for none of that shit. Russia, definitely in Russia, they're not, bro. You're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but
Trey
Yeah,
actually
fine.
said that you can sue a trans person for not disclosing in civil
Correct.
court. It's emotional distress.
Okay,
Okay.
but are you really, as a guy, if you fuck a trans, are you really going to go to court and be like,
And admit
yo,
it?
are you going to
Okay.
say that?
Here's another thing. It's kind of like a guy that gets raped.
Yeah.
Are you really gonna sit here and try to pursue this person for legal, I don't know, justice? I guess like, are you really like, because you're so embarrassed
Correct.
that you don't want anyone to know? Like, you know how when women go through stuff, they're like, oh, I'm
Mhm.
embarrassed, but then they tell people, and then girls are like, oh my god, let's get around her and protect her.
Yes.
That doesn't happen for men.
it would even go as far as consent for me, because you're not consenting to sleep with somebody that you don't know who they really are. So are you really allowing that person to sleep with you even though you don't know the full truth about it?
Okay. Okay. I don't want to stay on this too much, but real quick, one last thing. Why is it that last night we have a real woman sitting here, right? This is a real woman. I've checked, okay? And we had a trans woman who was cursing her out, making threats, literally trying to get through me to get to her. And all the women on the panel just stayed quiet. And actually, not only did they stay quiet, but they actually at some point started defending them. And it really confused me because I'm like, yo, this is a real woman. This is a man who's, acting like a woman, but this is a real woman. And it almost felt like they didn't want to offend the trans, that they were like, I'm just going to stay out of it and see what happens. And I'm like, this is a real woman. You guys are saying you're pro woman. You should be defending a real woman. And I couldn't fucking understand why, ladies. Can anyone here help me understand why, please?
Very simple. People are scared to get canceled. People are scared. Like, we live in a scare society to have an opinion, to stand up for yourself, to believe in what you believe in. And nobody has the maturity, the emotional maturity to have a civilized conversation about what it is that you stand for and what it is that I stand for, and respecting each other. Because you can have your convictions and I can have mine. You can have your prerogative and I can have mine. But respectfully, we don't have to agree on anything.
Okay.
So I don't have to, if you tell me this is what it is, this is a woman, I'm going to tell you politely, no,
Okay.
that is a trans woman.
If you were here last night, what would you have said?
I don't know.
She would have stayed silent. She would have
I
stayed
would have
silent.
not
She
stayed
stayed
silent.
silent.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You have
So
to
you
tell
would
me
have
what
called
you
them
would have
out?
said.
You would have called them out on their shit?
Yeah, I would have said, you're a trans woman. You're not a woman, because they repeated numerous times that they were women and you're not.
Okay.
And I'm a woman, so I'm allowed to tell you that. Just like you're allowed to tell me not to say the N-word.
Wait. So are men
You
not
know?
allowed to tell them that? Because we're the ones that sleep with them.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm saying I would have said that.
Gotcha. Would you really have said that?
I would have said that.
Okay. What would you have said?
Respectfully, I think that I 100% would have defended her if they were like trying to come at her. However, I don't think that it's because one is a real woman and one is not, because that's just not my view. It's not about being canceled.
Hold on, but is one a woman and is one not a woman? Yes or no?
I don't think any of them were not.
Hold on.
women.
Biologically, are they women?
Biologically, no.
Okay. Oh, no.
nonetheless-
Biologically, were they born women? Yes or no?
Well, they're trans.
No.
So
That's not
every-
answering the question.
That's the
Whoa.
definition of what trans
No. I
is,
asked you a
though.
very simple question. Biologically, were they born women? Yes or no?
I don't think so. If they're trans, no.
It's called.
Okay, no. But the thing is, we don't live in the 1920s.
Okay.
So even if I like it or not, or you like it or not, or she likes it or not, like
I'm sorry. Run.
Mhm.
You all might need security law.
Shout out to my man Brooks, man. Brooks just super chatted
Shout out to you, brother.
$100. He says, showing love. That episode pushed my boundaries for sure. And it's a game changer. You all might need security. Shout out to
Yo,
Brooks,
shout
man.
out to you,
Always
Brooks.
showing love.
I
I will
appreciate you,
say,
brother.
here's another thing too. What was security gonna do? Because security has to be a woman.
Yeah.
Because we're not gonna get a man to do security on women.
Word.
That's number one. And even if we had Cream over here, and she's a
Cream texted me during the podcast, and she was like, "I'm getting an Uber right now. I'm on my way. I'm dragging."
Okay,
that
but
nigga
listen,
down."
I love
listen.
her.
Yo, listen, that sounds lovely, but those men would have mopped the floor with Cream.
Yeah.
They would have
Yeah.
mopped her.
So what really can we do, right?
Mhm.
And that's why I asked earlier if what should we have done? Because I'm gonna be honest, I'm swinging.
I have
And,
to. I'm
and
defend
honestly,
myself.
after everything I've gone through in the last few weeks, I'm swinging first. That's the type of energy I was on last night. But yeah, man, it's very, very complicated. And so we are gonna get security for sure. We're growing really fast. We're gonna need security. Because we don't want to touch the ladies at all. But sometimes we have ladies that we say, hey, you gotta go, and they'll sit here and be like, what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? Because they know we can't touch them.
Mhm.
So once that security comes through, it's like, yo, get the fuck out, you know. Okay, real quick. So were they women? Yes or no?
yes.
But they weren't born women, correct?
I think it would be super transphobic to sit here and be like, they're
No.
not women.
I think it would be honest for you to sit here and say,
That's transphobic.
so honesty is transphobic.
If you want to call it honesty,
So hold on,
sure.
hold on. What's transphobic? Give me the definition.
Any kind of hatred towards trans people.
Is
Wait,
that
She
being-
identifies as a woman.
Hold on,
she's a
hold on.
woman.
But
I
being-
don't have
hold
to
on,
agree or
hold
not
on,
like it or
but listen,
whatever. That's
listen.
what it is.
But you can't say that being honest is transphobic. Being honest is just being honest.
Yeah, which is why I said if that's what you want to call honest, I don't think honesty is transphobic, right? Like
Yeah,
I'm
but you just said you being honest
my
was
honesty,
transphobic.
me being honest, I think they're women. you being honest, you don't. But that's not being honest. That's your opinion.
Okay, but
Realistic.
respectfully, there's only one truth.
What is the truth?
The truth is that they weren't born women.
All right. Yes, right. Okay, but that's exactly why the word trans exists, because they're not called directly women, right? Okay.
But that's
it.
what they were calling themselves, women. They weren't saying we're trans women. They were saying we're women.
Correct.
I think we called them trans women. They said no, we're not trans. We're
Correct,
women."
and that's where the issue
Mhm.
comes. You know, like I was actually looking the other day. I was looking at a documentary because we have to educate ourselves to be better. And I think they mentioned that one of the only countries in the world that trans women call themselves women is the United States. Like if you go elsewhere, they call themselves lady boys. They
Correct.
say trans because they're not pretending to be something that they're not.
Correct.
They're full aware of who they are, and if you want to be a woman, that's fine. You're a trans
Mhm.
woman, and I can give you my respect, and I can give you my appreciation, I can give you my love and acceptance, but I will not tell you that you're a woman.
And I'm gonna piggyback off that. And what I'm saying is, I respect that. Whatever you want to be that.
Mhm.
But just be honest about it, because Bad Bunny made a song about like a trans woman who got murdered in Puerto Rico,
Mhm.
right? And he brought some light to that situation. But that trans woman, everybody knew she was a trans woman. She wasn't going around town
Correct.
pretending, "Hey, I'm a real woman." She literally went around till she was just, people. Unfortunately, people hated on her to the fact where they,
That's not okay.
allegedly, I don't know what really happened, but allegedly they took her life. And do I think that's okay? No, for sure. I don't think nobody deserves to die based off what they want to be. But what I'm saying is, there's a difference between being a trans woman and everybody knows you're a trans woman, and going around pretending to be a real woman and nobody knows what you are, and then you can get yourself in trouble, right? And that's all I guess I was trying to get to with that.
Yeah.
Ladies, we can't be afraid to get canceled. We can't be afraid to the point where we're so scared that someone's gonna come back at us, that we are now admitting the truth, right? That's not, when we as a society, when we get there, we're failing. Like, I can't tell you the truth now because I'm scared that someone's gonna try to cancel me. I'm okay with being canceled for the truth, but I'm not okay with telling people that there's something they're not just to make them feel better. So what about you? Do you think, never mind, I'm gonna move on from that one, bro. I'm gonna move on. Okay, so one question I have for the ladies: why is it that ladies don't hold each other accountable? Right? Why? So we had a conversation last night with one of the ladies that was sitting here, because she was kind of defending them, and she was like, "Oh, by the way, before you guys leave, you guys are gorgeous." And I'm like, "Hey, listen, you could have said so many things, and instead of holding them accountable, they're leaving here encouraged, saying, oh, well, right before we left, they thought we were gorgeous. So they're going out there with inflated egos. Why is that women can't seem to hold each other accountable? Anybody can take this one.
Because they're afraid of hurting someone's feelings.
Okay. Is it worth sparing my feelings for me to go out there and do stupid decisions?
Absolutely not.
So, I mean, this is common sense, right? So why don't you guys hold each other accountable besides your feelings?
Because people are selfish and they just want to one up. So if you're doing something stupid, then I have a better chance.
Okay, maybe. What do you think it is?
Why other women don't hold other women accountable?
Yes.
Because
you can't sit here, and this happens every show. Women are the biggest supporters of women. You guys support each other like anything else. Ironically, you guys are also your biggest haters. But when it comes, here's what I've seen: girls may not like each other, but if a guy says something to a girl, they all rush to her defense. It's like you just offended everybody.
And they might not even agree with the women. They might agree with the guy. They'll still go with the women.
Absolutely, because of the sisterhood, right? They don't want to be the one girl that's not supporting the women. I don't understand why you ladies are like that. You can't sit here and say, I'm pro women, I want the best for women, but then literally encourage each other to do the dumbest things. Have sex unprotected, have sex with as many people as you want, take drugs, go clubbing with random guys, go meet a random stranger tonight, go chill at his house. Like, it's so weird. You guys are literally setting each other up for failure. You have a face on. What's up? You don't agree with me?
No, I agree a little bit, but I think that for me, like, accountability is like, it's general. Like, the same way I'm not gonna tell, like, let's say I have a friend, right? I personally, I do like to hold my friends accountable. So like I'll tell them honestly like how I feel if they're doing something that I'm like, that's not safe. I don't think that's a good idea. But for example, I don't feel like it's just women when like guys tell me the stupid shit that they're doing, right? They're doing, I don't know, drugs, or like they're trying to join a gang or something like that, right?
Mhm.
If they tell me that, then I kind of like, if it's somebody that I don't really like know or anything, I'm just gonna be like, okay. I don't think I'll give my input, and I think that that's where I like draw the line of like being accountable. I'm not gonna like go and tell somebody what they should or shouldn't
Can
do.
I ask you
know?
what? Can I ask you why you do that for your friends and not the people that you don't know?
Good question.
I think that my friends, obviously, first of all, they probably matter more to me than somebody that I don't know.
Correct. You answer everything that I needed to know. Love. I love myself enough to let you know when you're fucking up,
Mhm.
because as a whole, the moment that we stop giving a fuck about just ourselves and giving a fuck about everybody that's around us, that's when violence ends. That's when all the problems in the world will end.
Mhm.
Because that means that I am able to put my selfish thoughts, or the fear of you not agreeing with me, or the fear of anything else. I'm willing to put all that aside just to do better for you.
Right, except that there's a thin line for one example. Let's say we don't agree on something, and then I tell you what I'm saying is correct and what you're saying is wrong. Then it's kind of like, would you really take my advice on something if I'm the one telling you no, what I said
I
is
would
right?
listen to it with an open heart.
Oh, see, that's nice.
Yeah,
That's-
to be able
that's
to
okay.
understand where you're coming from. And
Mhm.
like I said,
But not
But you're not gonna,
everybody's
like-
like that.
you're
I mean,
also-
there's
yeah.
some people that you'll disagree with,
and
and like
no.
they'll start
correct,
fighting.
it happened here yesterday.
Exactly.
Because of lack of self-love. If I love myself enough, then I'm able to understand that whatever your opinion is does not affect me directly,
Mhm.
because I don't care to win your recognition or your approval. I love myself so much that I'm able to love myself and listen to your opinion. Maybe I'll learn something from it.
Okay,
but-
but not everybody's like that.
Correct. That is the
Yeah.
But hold on,
That's
but
the problem,
You should still
really, I think.
try.
You should
You
still
should
try.
try.
Doesn't mean that I'm just gonna give up on humanity and I'm not
Mhm.
gonna do anything
Correct,
for the
correct.
rest of the world.
Yeah, but I think again, there's a line between giving up on humanity and not inserting yourself into somebody else's life.
Yeah,
like
but
if
you're
somebody's
going to the
gonna
extreme,
let me tell you
though.
something. If somebody wants to be in a gang, I'm not gonna. My little opinion over here with somebody I don't even know is not gonna stop. me.
Correct.
No, see, but there's always the extreme,
Yeah.
right? And here's what I noticed: whenever somebody doesn't agree with us, they go to the extreme,
Correct.
right? Like, oh, well, why do I have to change that person's life? I'm not telling you to change that person's life,
Mhm.
or even to go as far as making sure that they change their opinion.
Mhm.
All I'm saying is, when you insert your piece of advice in there, that might be that one little piece they need while they're walking home to say, you know what? She's the fifth person to say this to me, right?
I love you. You know what? I'm gonna be here no matter what, but I
Mhm.
think that this is what you should do. And I am telling you this much because I love you. So therefore I'm not gonna sit here and agree and sit by when I watch somebody that I love, like you said, for
Mhm.
example, join a gang.
Mhm.
Yeah. And how old are you?
22.
22, and that's a problem. Your generation, I call it the trash generation. Okay, I'm not calling you trash. See, I already feel like you're taking offense.
No, it's okay.
I call your generation the trash generation because you guys don't care about what the older generation used to. How old are you?
21.
I tell them all the time.
For real?
He's my
No.
brother. I
He's
tell
different.
I tell him all the time, and I'm like, listen, what do I tell you all the time?
My generation is stupid. We're gonna fail society, and my generation is gonna fuck up your kids' generation.
Correct. I
Mhm.
have kids. They're coming up after you.
Mm.
So I say, yo, your generation is gonna fuck it up for my kids because you guys are selfish, self-centered. Your attention span is that of a goldfish. You know, it's all me.
There's
I-
positive
I
things to the
feel-
generation
Yes, of
too.
course, of
but I
course.
feel like, we go back to like
No, but
older
the problem is
generations, and
that
they were
this
like,
generation, their generation is the feel generation.
correct. They're just trying to like feel everybody and be empathetic with everybody,
Correct.
and it's okay, and nothing. It's not gonna work out long term
Yes.
at all.
And so while I say that about your generation, I'm not speaking about everybody. And I've told you that before, right? I'm like, yo, there's also really great stuff happening in this generation, of course. But when I look at like if I look at the two, right? Like because I'm a Libra, right? So like the scale, right? If I look at all the bad stuff that's happening, opposed to all the good stuff that's happening, it's way more bad. It's way more bad. And at least in my generation, it was kind of balanced, right? Like you had a balance there. A lot of bad stuff was happening. Like the worst thing I remember growing up was 9/11. That's the worst thing I remember. Literally, my whole entire life. That's the worst. Today, I'm like, bro, I don't know. You got coronavirus. You got coronavirus times 5. You have people identifying as zebras. And it's just like, what's next? Hold on, you guys think it's a joke, right? But here's the problem with being accepting of everything, right? First it was gay people, right? Then it was trans people. It was lesbians wanting the ability to get married. That happened. Think about it. It's happened little by little by little. And just recently I was reading that there's now something called a mental illness for people that molest kids. Right. So if you do something like that now, you can hide under the umbrella saying, oh, it's just an illness.
And now you get it out.
And
But
now
I'm gonna interfere here for a second because I feel like a lot of people piggyback of the LGBT community to kind of do those things. I mean, gay people have existed as time has existed. Lesbians
Correct.
have existed as time has existed. I mean, it's one thing to make them, you know, there's people that take advantage
do me a
of
favor,
that.
turn her up a little bit. Curtis, go ahead.
Yep.
There's people that take advantage of that and then they qualified everything as part of the LGBTQ community.
Mhm.
And it shouldn't be like that, but therefore we shouldn't like chastise people that are, you know, gay or lesbians or
But that's not what I'm saying,
No.
though. What
because
I'm
it's
say-
a completely different thing. Who you're attracted to sexually doesn't, you know, hinder who you are as a person.
yeah, but that's not what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm not even getting to that. What I'm
Okay.
saying is when you become accepting of one thing, it just graduates. Like I remember when I was homeless and I went into a group home. First of all, I went into a shelter, then a group home, then a youth facility, then a jail, then a prison. It didn't get better for me until I hit the wall, right? So what I'm saying is now all these things are being accepted. Acceptance, right? Body positivity. Fat people are on Sports Illustrated and you're not fat anymore. You're curvy, right? And now you can literally molest the kid and you can hide under the umbrella of, oh, it's a mental illness. And this is a real thing. You guys can Google this up. And I'm predicting that the next thing after that would be like, you know, you can have bestiality and there's going to be a condition where people are like, well, you know, you were just born with a mental illness and you're just attracted to the animals. And if you want to fuck your dog, then I'm telling you that's literally what, bro, what's after that? What is after that?
I'm laughing because you're not lying.
Bro, what's after that? Like we're giving people the opportunity to do all wild type of shit. Like think about it, right? I have an 8-year-old daughter, and in elementary schools, they got drag queens going to elementary schools.
Yeah.
To read
So
books.
To read books. I don't give a fuck if they were.
Why does a drag queen need to go read books?
I don't know. I'm gonna be very honest with you. Like, I don't know why they're specifically sending drag queens to go and read books. But the thing is,
Why
like,
aren't they doing it to high
it wouldn't
schools?
bother me if a drag queen was reading a book to a child. If they're doing something
Really, nigga?
else, like, I just don't think. Like,
Whoa,
I
whoa,
feel
hold
like
on.
you're inserting a lot of your own opinion
Okay,
about
so-
drag
so-
queens
so-
in there. To
Okay,
be
so
like,
so why not
there's,
send
like, bigger
why not send
problems.
prostitutes to read books?
what?
What,
What are we-
why not send strippers to read books? I'm
Well,
trying to.
okay,
I'm
but
trying to-
drag queens are not promoting what prostitutes.
what
do.
they're going into schools dressed as drag queens. They're not going as
Okay.
regular people.
They're not
And-
going
and-
dressed like these two.
No, they're
two
not,
were
and
last night.
they're telling people, right? Listen,
Okay, but
you-
like,
hold on. Let me
that's
finish.
not
Let me
the
finish.
same.
It-
They're not hurting.
You know something.
anybody.
Hold on. Listen. You know something serious is happening in the world when Muslims and Christians band together,
Yeah.
and that's what's happening. You
I feel
may
like that's a little.
no. This is what was happening. They were actually going to schools and
Yeah, but-
protesting in front of schools.
Yeah, I know
Christians and
that
Muslims.
people are not like okay with things, and I understand that, right? That's fine. I get that, but I just don't see why it makes such a world of a difference. A lady, a man, or whoever reading a book.
It
Okay,
shouldn't be.
okay,
Any,
well,
it shouldn't
let's
be
make this-
anybody that's dressed in anything. It should be a teacher.
So then on Halloween, when they're dressed like something else, it's like what? Because they're dressed like a pirate. Like it's not okay.
it's a pirate. It's
so-
not.
It's not what.
It's not
A drag
anything.
queen
It
is
shouldn't be
sexualization.
sexualized. It shouldn't. I wasn't gonna say that. So please don't put words in my
Okay.
mouth. Okay.
I just want to know what
No,
you
I'm
meant.
listening to you, so please be respectful. Dressing up as a pirate is not real. Dressing up as a ghost is not real. Do you know
Pirates are real though. Sorry.
No, that's true. But I'm saying,
Yeah, I'm like,
Just
pirates-
saying.
But now how they're dressing up as in Halloween, you know, it's kind of like a character or whatever it is. I don't say that anybody should be going to anybody's school promoting any type of anything. Kids should be allowed to have their own mind to make up their own minds when it's old enough for them to do it. I mean, I have a 10-year-old son and I don't even put PG-13 movies for him
Facts.
because I don't want to expose him to things that he doesn't understand yet. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying they need to pull back from that and let kids be kids. And then whenever they decide whether they're gay, trans, whatever it is that they want to be, they should come up with that on their own. Because believe me, they will. They're born like
And I
that.
think until the kids are technically adults, the parents should be able to make the
Yes.
choice
Right.
of what their
And
child's
I'm in agreement
because
with the
no
parent
offense,
making a
again,
choice.
my niece and my nephews are all 8 and under,
Mhm.
and I swear to God, if my kid's school really has a drag queen come to their, because they were talking about it, or start teaching sex ed in their classes, they are too young. They don't even understand
Mhm.
the whole science
Mhm.
behind all of that. Like, that is not something they need to learn till, on my honest opinion, till they're at least 15, 16 years old.
But that's what I
Here's
said
another
is
thing.
that if they're not promoting anything, it's not like they're
But they
but
are.
they
They're
are
literally
literally
when they
walking in and reading a book.
No,
are.
I
but
don't
they are
dressed-
dressed. They
they're
are dressed with
dressed-
the
they're
big
dressed,
wigs,
but
the
again-
makeup, the fancy beaded
Mhm.
dresses.
Let me
like,
ask you a
that's how
question.
they're
Let me
going
hold
into
on.
the
Let me
schools.
ask you a question. So for career day, do you think firefighters go dressed like this?
No,
They're
go
going dressed as firefighters, right? Policemen too, right?
Mhm, which
These
is why
drag-
I'm like,
these
okay,
drag
we don't tell
queens
them
are
no.
going in drag, right? And they're not just reading books.
They're not
First-
reading.
So
They're
what are they-
reading books that are related to the drag queens.
Correct.
Not all of
Yeah,
them.
oh, bro.
Please give me an example.
I was a preschool teacher,
Yeah.
and that I don't know. I don't feel like this is like it's not supposed to be that triggering, but I was a preschool teacher, and I worked with kids from like 1 month to like 5 years old.
Mhm.
And that's why I'm so like confused about what's crazy is that like the majority of the people who have a problem with it is strictly parents. And it's like number one, and I get it. Listen,
Wait,
Do you have
I
kids?
love you.
wait.
I'm
I love you.
literally
Who's
trying
gonna
to
have a problem with it? Who else
this,
would have a
you're
problem with
acting like this child is gonna be like the
they
4-year-old
don't
child is gonna come
know.
up to you and be like, so should I be like
it? No,
No.
but
But
they know.
yes,
They
that's
know.
but
not
yes.
the
At
point.
4 years, okay.
if
at
you're
4
worried
years
about
old-
what the child is actually thinking and now you're not just putting your own selfish opinion behind it, because it is a selfish opinion to be like, oh, just because I'm
Oh.
not okay with this, like
Candela,
No,
no,
you
no.
know why parents say, yo, don't cuss around our son or whatever when they're kids? Because they soak all that in. That's when their mind is taking everything in. That's why kids
They
can learn so
see,
many
they
languages so
listen,
quick
and that's
easy.
when that's when habits start, like the cussing, or like, so my sister's husband's dad is a farmer and he likes his beer, and they used to own a bar, and grandpa would take my nephews down to the bar and would sit at the bar. They would drink root beer while grandpa had a root beer, and now all the time they see grandpa have a beer. Oh, grandpa, can we have some? Can we have some? Can we go to the bar? Can we?
Yeah.
At 6 years old, you want to go spend time at the bar? That's not where you should be wanting to spend time.
Because the thing is, you're planting a seed, right?
Yes.
You know what's funny? I just realized something when she was speaking. When we pollute the water, the only people that care are the fish. Ain't that shit crazy? Of course, the parents are gonna care. I'm a
and that's
listen,
why
I'm a
if I
parent.
would have
I'm a
finished
parent.
my thought, then I could have, but it's okay.
No, go ahead. I want you to
Sorry.
finish.
Okay, so like I said, obviously the parents are gonna care. I don't think it was that funny, but my point is like the parents who do care should be able to do, for example, like when you're in whatever 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and they sign like waivers on if you want to show your child like the birth video, if you want to have them in like one health class, they can sign off on that, which is what we had. So I'm like, I don't, and the majority of the parents were fine with it, except, and this is my example because he told me to give you an example. Majority of the parents were fine with it. There was
That's
only
not
like
true.
it's a
Yeah,
lived
yeah.
experience. Like I
That's not
literally was a
true.
preschool teacher.
These parents did not know that this was happening. Their
Correct.
kids were
Okay,
coming home.
I don't know which one you're talking about. I only gave my like example.
Okay,
on it.
maybe in your school.
Mhm.
But what I'm saying is these kids are going home. Hey, mom, today in school I learned blah, 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 and this person came.
Let
Kid-
me ask
the-
you something, because
Mhm.
you say you're a preschool teacher. Do you know at what age do kids set their personality in?
What do you mean set their personality?
Set their personality, who they're supposed to be, like traits of who their values are. 7, 8 years old.
Right, but
Right.
again,
So
I
at
was
4
on-
years old, when
Yeah.
they're in preschool, they don't know anything.
Yeah, they're
So
which is why I thought
So
it
I'm
wasn't
not
that big a
okay
deal.
with somebody doing that. They literally say who they are 7, 8 years old. It's
Yeah.
a psychological
Mhm.
fact.
Yeah, I mean the first 7 years that are most important.
Mhm, that's
Right.
They
true.
don't even, yeah.
And so
That's
if you
true.
so and I know that you're saying, well, there's nothing. First of all, why a drag queen? Why not
Mhm.
why not a mother of someone in the class, or why not a father?
I don't want.
Why-
That's
I don't
true, and
want
I agree,
anybody
but
from
there
any
was
religion
sometimes-
going and reading my kids stuff about religion because
yeah,
so
and
it's the
that's
same. It's the same.
It is
thing.
the same thing. Like I feel like it's kind of pushing it on kids at
On
a young age, and I
kids.
just don't feel like we need to do that.
Well, I mean, like, let me give you a different scenario, right? Because let's, move from the drag queen thing. We had, for example, a student who he had 2 moms, right? And in the beginning, before this happened, I think it was like some years back, they didn't have any books about like anything LGBTQ, right? Obviously, like this was a normal thing to not have that. But then there's this kid and he has 2 moms, and I'm working in this classroom with him, right? So like he's sitting with his table with his friends, his mom comes to pick him up early, right, one day, and then the next day the other mom comes and picks him up early. And I knew who they were distinguishing by, like one was mom and one was mommy, and so I knew who was who. But the other kids that were in this classroom, right, they were obviously like, they're gonna notice. They notice when there's 2 parents, they notice when a dad is not coming, and they would ask him, they'd be like, you have 2 moms? So regardless of if there was, and I think that it was a good thing because they started incorporating more books that were like, they're not sexualized, they're not weird, they're nothing, it's just a book.
That kid's being traumatized. That kid's being traumatized, and there's
For
nothing
what?
he can do about it.
For what?
Like
Having 2 moms?
you know
It's
how
not
I
really his fault,
you know
though.
how I know that even the kid know there's something wrong. One is mom and one is mommy, which means that he has to distinguish between the 2, right? Like it's not like you guys are both mommy, right? Like why not both be mommy? Why is mom? Because one is mom and one is mommy, because one of them is probably more masculine, right? So I guess I'm assuming maybe in this situation, I don't know at all, but maybe mom would be more masculine,
Yeah, that's
right?
what I would
I don't know.
assume.
They were
I
both
don't-
kind of similar.
I
don't
don't
think it was
think-
a distinction.
My-
I think he just wanted them, like the adults, like his teacher, to know who was coming.
Here's
get him,
another
you know?
thing too. The reason why this is very delicate is because kids can't defend themselves, right? If a kid gets adopted by 2 women, what does he have a say in that, right? You have there's a few celebrities that have adopted kids and they start dressing them as women. And society's like, oh my God, good job. Like this kid is 4 years old. You're dressing this little boy as a woman, and you're saying, oh, I just knew it was a girl when I adopted it. I knew because it just felt like a girl, and it told me that it thought it was a girl because it played with a Barbie one time. And this is it's crazy. Do you not
That's what
do your research?
The fact that
What do you
she's a
mean about
preschool
what?
Like
teacher
this is
scares
this
me.
yes, it scares me that you were a
Why?
teacher, because this is stuff that's actually happening now.
Well,
I don't
number
watch
one, like I
TV.
don't make the decisions on what happens.
Yeah,
right?
but you're
Now,
oblivious to it. I'm
oblivious
mentioning
to
these
what?
things.
I'm
No,
telling
no,
you
I'm
the
not-
real, like what it was like.
Can
I'm
I-
not saying like what it. There are certain things that like I said, we have different opinions on it, and if you think is like completely wrong, I understand that and I'm respectful to it. But it is what it is. We don't live in the 1950s.
Here's the thing, right? When we had the trans,
Mhm.
my thing wasn't I hate you guys. My thing was you guys are adults. Whatever you want to be that. Just be honest about it.
But you don't like it.
I'm not for it. Yes, I'm
Mhm.
not for it necessarily.
Oh,
But
okay.
who am I to tell them what to do? They're grown adults.
Mhm.
But anything under 18, why are you influencing them?
Okay, but here I'm gonna say something about the 2 moms and the 2 dads. I don't think that that's a problem, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because kids, I mean,
So why don't you give your kids 2 moms?
because I'm not attracted to women.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, if you were, then you still wouldn't think it'd be a problem.
I don't think it would be a problem. Okay, what I think it's a problem is people adopting children and pushing their
Mhm.
own things onto them. You
Agreed.
see
Okay.
how we go
Mhm.
back to that? It's
So my question for you would be this: let's
Mhm.
say you did have another female partner, right?
right,
And you guys are raising whatever. It could be a daughter or a son.
or a boy.
How do you guys know how to show that little boy how to
Mhm.
be a man? Because there's no way you guys know how to be a man. You've
My
never been
son
a man
is
in your
my
life.
son is a man and he's 10 and I'm doing it by myself. Being a man has nothing to do
That's
with
false.
No,
That's
no,
false.
no,
I
no, no,
agree.
no. Hold on. No, that's
Statistics prove that. What you're saying is incorrect.
But that's not to
No.
say he wouldn't have like a
Yes.
father figure.
not. Yeah, exactly.
You can have a father
Correct.
So does he have a father figure?
Absolutely.
Okay, but you just
Several.
made it seem like
you
you're
were
doing
doing
it.
it.
No, but I'm not saying no. I'm saying that me myself, I
You
cannot
said
teach
I'm doing
you.
it by myself.
what you
No,
said.
I cannot teach you how to be a man. Being a man, what is being a man to you? Let's go back to that.
Are you asking him that?
Yeah, I'm asking
Okay.
him. What is being a man to you?
being a man? I don't know.
Answer
you
the
want me to go
question
into
because
de-
you said, how do you teach that kid to be a man if he
Okay,
had two moms, for example? What
so
is
hold
being
on.
a
So,
man?
so you know how guys in Miami are very feminine. So first of all, get rid of the
I'm
the
not
feminine
talking
traits.
about,
So
like,
now I'm gonna go
guys in
into
Talking
Miami.
in general.
Mhm.
No, that's fine.
What's a
But
man?
I'm telling you, men are feminine now because they're raised by
That's
single
not my
mothers.
question. I asked, how do you
Okay.
define a man?
Let me get there. I'm not gonna give you a political answer. I'm gonna
Right,
get to it.
right.
So men now they're not masculine. You need masculine traits. I was raised by a single mother. She didn't teach me any type of discipline, try to be masculine. If I had like a fucking scratch on me, oh, fix it. If I fell off a bike, get up. She wasn't like, yo, you need to. She tried to help me up. She was like, get the fuck up. She didn't teach me my wrongs. She tried to help me. They're
So
not gentlemen
your
anymore.
man experience is based on your own experience.
No. This is just society now. Men aren't gentlemen
I
anymore.
disagree.
Chivalry is dead. I believe. Guys, when they're walking down the street, bro.
That's your that's what's sad
think
about it, because
chivalry's
that's
dead.
your
What?
life.
That's my experience.
That's your life
No,
experience. My son
a
is 10
gentleman,
years
though,
old,
but I'm a gentleman.
and I can show you poems that he writes for me. I can show you that he opens the door for me. I can show you that he helps me carry the groceries.
But
I can show you that he.
Are you the father figure?
No, I'm
So
not.
Who's playing the man?
Nobody's playing the man.
You just said
A
you had
man is
help.
not a thing that
just
you
said
can play.
You just said you got help.
Wait, so who's the father figure?
You just said there was a father
Okay,
figure. So
but
you're
who's
throwing it
playing
off.
the man? You're making it seem like I have to play a character to
If
be a man, and
there's a
it's
father
not.
figure, there needs to be a man there. So who's playing the father figure?
Why you're not answering my question? I just went back to nobody's playing a man. It's just common
Well, you cut
sense
me
of
off. I
what
said
it
being a
is.
gentleman. The guys aren't chivalrous anymore.
That's whoever raised that person. That's their fault. Doesn't mean that that's just a society. You're entitled to what you can control in life. I cannot control every person in Miami that decides not to be a gentleman. I cannot control the people. I can control what I'm in control of, which is my son, which is my life. So what I can do is try to make him feel better, but just
So are
based
you
on
making
your
him a man?
everybody that's around him understands that, and
But
based
are
on
you you're dodging my question. I gave you a straight
No,
up.
tell
You're
me.
trying
No,
to
you
be
didn't.
political.
You
You're trying to
didn't.
be, I gave you. I listed certain things.
I am part of it, a great part of it.
So he has no father figure.
Of course he does.
So who's the
That's
father
my question.
figure?
His dad.
So
Okay.
his dad is in his life.
100%.
Okay, then this conversation is
100%.
this
Okay.
conversation is useless. But at the beginning,
No, it's
you
not
said-
useless
you
because
said-
you're
Super
being.
chat.
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Boys into men, not women. Peach.
So it says throughout time in different cultures and traditions, men have been the ones turning boys into men, not women. Okay, and I know you guys are having a little back and forth.
And
here.
in tradition, like men used to go off to war, and we used to raise the children. So I don't know if you really want to go
Yeah,
there.
but but
Come on.
listen.
Yeah, but
Oh,
they had an
co-
example
listen,
of a man.
hold on, but listen,
right,
m-
and they all do, but it's part of like everybody's.
Okay, but hold on. I'm gonna need you to let me talk too, okay?
Yeah, go
This
ahead.
is my show, okay? When you say men were going off to war, it wasn't an everyday thing. War
Correct.
was spaced out, right? People typically didn't want to go to war, right? Another thing is, you said you have a father figure. Your son is being raised by both of you. That's a good thing. We always
Correct.
push that, but you made it seem like
You were
I'm
by
doing
yourself.
it. I've been doing it by myself, or
No,
you know,
I never said that.
That's how you worded
you
it.
said
That's
myself.
how you
No,
worded it.
I'm like I'm doing it myself.
So does he have a father in his life? Yes or no?
Correct, he does,
So
and
how
I
you
have
doing
an
it by
amazing
yourself?
father.
How are you doing it by yourself?
I didn't say by myself. I'm
You
saying by
did.
myself what I'm in control of.
Okay, ladies.
that's not what you said,
Am I
though.
hearing shit? Did she say
No,
by
no, no,
myself?
she
yeah,
said, she said I'm raising my kid by myself.
I didn't
He's
say
a man.
that.
Yes, that
I
is
didn't
the-
say
we can
raising
go
my
back.
kid.
Yes,
But
you
go
did.
ahead and go back.
So did everyone just hear the wrong thing?
I think
I didn't say I was raising my kid by myself.
Okay.
You said I'm by myself.
Yeah,
I said I'm doing that by myself. By
Okay.
myself is instilling the man,
But
know,
you're
that I
not.
can do
He
it.
But
has
you're
his
not, because he has
father.
a father. His father's doing that.
Okay,
it's
Because
like
you're not the man. You don't know what it's like
Yeah.
to be a man.
correct. But
So then you can't teach your kid how it feels to be a man.
I can teach my kid what's expected from him from my
From a
perspective.
woman,
correct.
correct.
Okay.
But that's not a man's
No.
perspective. That's 'cause
Okay.
Not all women have the same view of
Correct.
men.
I'm not talking for all women. I'm talking for myself.
So, but you were just getting at me for acting like I was talking about personal shit.
okay, all right, cool. So moving on, man. Shout out to you guys, man.
What?
It's okay. To be fair, you did say myself, but I also don't think.
But I didn't say it raising him by
Okay.
myself.
Shout out to the super chatters, man. We appreciate you guys.
We'll agree to
Which
disagree.
can lead to men not having
Correct.
a masculine frame in a society where women are more masculine. It is not the son's fault.
All right. So Brooke says most single mothers treat their sons subconsciously as husbands. Ooh, that's deep. He says, which can lead to men not having masculine frame in society. That's true. Where women are more masculine, true.
True.
And he says it's not the son's fault. True.
True.
He said a lot of true shit on there. Okay,
Facts.
cool. I was also raised around women. And what I realized was all they do is feel.
Emotions.
Everything. I mean, even the way they live, they don't live for tomorrow. They live for today, right? They're not planning. And I'm, again, not everyone, but when we speak here, we speak in general. Okay.
Right.
So most women, they don't have to worry about tomorrow because men are going to be there to provide. Someone said on here the other day, if all men disappeared today, women would probably last a good 40 years, maybe. You know what I mean? Who knows? If that. Because all the farmers, all the big shit is men. We're creating all that. We're building all the buildings. We're doing all that shit, right? So my point is, I was so emotional as a little boy. My grandmother did the best she could until I finally met my mother when I was 7 years old. And then my mom was so depressed. She was going from guy to guy to guy, trying to fill that void in. And I just went into my feelings, bro. Whatever I felt. If I felt like I wanted to eat this, if I felt like I wanted to watch this, if I felt like there was no discipline at all. And it really started showing itself when I went into the street. I had no discipline. Nobody could tell me nothing. And the few people I did listen to also were coming from single mothers. So my friends who were, giving me negative advice and influencing me negatively were also coming from single mother homes. And if they had a father, he was either an alcoholic, right? He was absent. He wasn't even there. So what I realized was when I went to prison, I say this all the time, and I've told Jules, it was the best thing that ever happened to me because I was surrounded by nothing but men. And you learned real quick in there that men carry themselves a certain type of way, right? And there's order. And even in jail, there's like, yo, this dude runs the unit. And, and this guy is the leader of this gang. And it's an order. My whole entire life being around women, there was no order. It was just, we're here, we're surviving, right? We're just here. But with men, it's like, hey, you're here. We're here. And that's just the way it is. And guess what? If you want to fight against it, they'll deal with you real quick too. So, unfortunately, we talk about this all the time. Single mothers are not necessarily, in my opinion, maybe not yours, I don't think they're the best option. I think single fathers are the best options. If there's like a split family, I think kids should go to the father unless he's obviously like a horrible father. Because I think, and even the courts assume, well, the kid should go to the mother because that's the mother, and the mother's more loving and she's more caring, she's more nurturing. But look at society.
No,
right?
I disagree with that. You need both parents, 100%.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, and I have a kid, right? I have 2 kids. What I'm saying is, if I go to court right now with my ex to fight for my kids, she already has an advantage on me. She's mom. And it doesn't matter if it's now or when the kids were born. She's mom. Guess what? She's mom. She already gets preference. She's mom. I have to go to court. Like, she has to go to court and just show up to get custody. I have to go to court, show up, and have some type of proof.
Evidence
that you're a changed man.
That I can do something.
And it has to be against her.
And that's just to get equal custody. Right? Now, if I want to get full custody,
shit.
I believe that
you have to show that
Florida's a
she
50-50 state,
but
if I'm
that
not
just
mistaken.
happened. That just happened, right? That literally just happened. We're talking about 2023. That just happened where the courts are saying, listen, we're not
It's
automatically
50-50.
we're not going to automatically, right? And I said that when I read that, I said, yo, this is probably one of the best things that they can do because there's a lot of shitty moms out there, and
surprised they did that.
And there's actually some really good fathers out there. I've been active in my kids' life since they were born.
As you should. That's
So
great.
I take offense when when girls are like, oh, guys are deadbeat dads. I'm like, bro, the guy you chose is a deadbeat dad, because my kids are good. Okay, cool. That was I feel like
Trey actually reminded us of a good fact. 70% of prison inmates were raised by single mothers.
correct. That's a fact too.
70%.
And you know what?
But you would have to look at the statistics of how that mother was living. I mean, there's a lot
It
of
doesn't
factors
matter.
that go. Yeah, of
No,
course it does.
How does it matter?
Because he's talking.
Do me a
about
favor.
how-
Go ahead and look up some statistics of single mothers real quick, because I feel like you're in denial.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. 70%.
okay.
What type of statistics do you want to know?
Can you elaborate on what you mean by how those mothers were living?
Yeah, correct. Like what was like their background? Like what would were they drug addicts? Were they doing certain things? Because there's a lot more
Okay.
that, you know, if we put all of that into I don't know, man. I'm just speaking on my experience.
Yeah,
like
but
I said,
right now we're not talking about your experience. We're talking
Yeah.
in general, right? And here's
Yeah, I
another point.
understand.
You
And
have
I-
kids, right?
I have one, and like
Okay.
I said, it's very important for the father to be in
Is-
the family.
Is your kid in school?
Yes.
Okay. So here's a fun fact, right? My
Yeah.
kids are in school too. Every school shooter came from a single mother. And they weren't necessarily like in the ghetto. You know, these were regular 9 to 5
Yeah.
working
Right.
mothers. Every school shooter came from a single mother.
I don't know. I have to
no,
look that
you,
up.
You can look it up if you want to.
Yeah.
I'm
I
telling
think
you.
Jules
like,
got it.
like this is like factual, right? And you have, and the mothers weren't necessarily bad people. I'm not saying the
Yeah.
mother. I think sometimes when I say, you know, these are the statistics for kids with single mothers, women are like, oh, well, you're saying single mothers are horrible. The mom might actually be a great
No.
mother. What I'm
Or
saying,
maybe she
what-
might be in denial of like mental issues that the kid has.
Okay,
too.
my point is, it doesn't matter if the mom is a good mom or a shitty mom.
Right.
If she's a shitty mom, the chances are that the kid's just gonna end up fucked up. But
Okay.
even if she's a good mom, it still happens. And the reason why is very simple. There's no discipline.
So on that,
Shout out to the super chatters,
Men
man,
who
real
are
quick.
struggling today majority of the time come from single parent households. Why has Jordan Peterson, Kevin Samuels and Andrew Tate become so popular on helping men? Not one woman is a hero. Peach.
100%. That is,
Okay,
yo, Lord
so-
Peachy. Hold on, real quick before we move on.
sorry.
So Lord Peachy is essentially saying that Kevin Samuels, Jordan Peterson, and Andrew Tate, and that's a really good point. They've blown up because those guys are essentially being seen as father figures.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And why is it that there's no woman being seen as a father figure? Because guys don't listen to women. You can't. You could have Mother Teresa talking about being a good man, and nobody would care because men don't listen to women. Okay, I had a 35-year-old woman come on here one time, and she's like, you know, I'm a single mother, and I tell my son what to do. He doesn't listen, and I'm like, your 13-year-old son could whoop your ass if he wanted to. You're 35, because just physically at 13, he's already strong enough to at least give you a good fight,
Yeah.
right? At 35, he's not giving me a good fight. I'm gonna whoop his ass.
Yeah.
Period. Right. And so here's the thing that happens, right? When boys are growing up, there's something about us. We know if we can take somebody. We're always sizing each other up. That's how when you go to recess as a kid, you know who the toughest kid is at recess because you just know how he looks, the way he carries himself. He might be bullying people. We know if we can take him or not. That's just the way we work. We're always competing with
Sad.
each other. Okay. As a woman, bro, we don't see you guys as a threat. Bro, when I was like 12, 13 years old, I remember one time, like because I was jumping from friend's house to friend's house. I remember one of my friends, Jonathan, his mom was like trying to beat him with a belt.
Mhm.
I remember him laughing and taking a belt from her. Like I remember him saying like, yo, this doesn't hurt. Stop. You know what I mean? And it was like the mother instinct to her was like, I'm still gonna punish you because you're my son.
Mm.
And he was looking at her like, stop, for real. Like
You're
can't-
annoying me.
That's so
Yeah.
sad.
but there's no discipline. What happens when a father's gone? There's no discipline. Here's the thing I tell women all the time. I didn't have a father, but if I did, just based off the stories I heard about him, I would have been scared shitless to go steal that car, to go smoke that weed, to go into someone's house and put a gun in their mouth. I'd have been scared shitless. The dude was scary. He was in a war, like he was a sergeant. He actually murdered people. Like, just the fact that I know this shit makes me feel like, yo, I would have probably got my ass whooped. You know what I mean? Like, just knowing you have
Do you think that it's okay that you would be afraid?
absolutely.
That's okay.
That's
for you to be afraid
absolutely
of your
okay.
dad?
Yes.
Oh.
You listen.
I don't want my son to be afraid of his adult
Well,
male
here's
parent.
what happens when there's no fear.
Hmm.
What are you scared of?
You can be scared of other things. I just would rather that he not be afraid of the person who's going to be with him his whole life. Because
But you're again, see, talking to you, I'm just gonna call you extreme because you're making it seem like the kid is terrified to death.
well, you make it seem like you would be terrified to
Well,
death.
I'm saying there's a healthy level of fear where I would say,
Healthy.
where I would say,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna go steal this car
Mhm.
because my friends might not get their ass whipped, but I know I'm gonna get it, right? Like, you know, my grandmother, when she told me about her whippings, she used, I don't know if this is true or not, but she said she used to like get the extension cord like wet with water, and they used to like whoop them, and I'm talking about really whooping, right? My generation was like more the belt, the regular belt, and now
the switches,
you know,
them shit hurt.
but now in today's society, you know, getting a whipping is like just verbal. Oh, it's okay, Kevin, you know, just don't do that again. Like, and look at society. I don't ever remember my grandmother telling me there was a school shooter. I don't ever remember telling my grandmother telling me any weird like drastic shit. It didn't happen in their time.
There wasn't metal detectors at school.
No, there was
back
nothing.
then.
It was simple, and it was more peaceful.
Actually, statistics prove that fatherless homes, are more likely to face emotional and behavioral health challenges like aggression and engaging in high risk behavior. What else did I find?
But that just goes against everything that he's saying.
72% of all teenager mothers don't have a father. 72%.
How does that go?
60% of
Because he just said that he
60%
was
of
raised.
Hold on, go ahead, go ahead.
60% of rapists don't have a father.
God damn it, Jules.
Sorry, I just noticed.
Well,
what
I mean,
did there.
listen, this is common sense.
What else?
This is
70% of kids incarcerated in juvenile corrections grew up without a father.
Okay.
So just so you can see how aggression and how mentally challenging it is to grow up without a father. And by the way, fear is a good thing.
Absolutely.
Because you don't have, you're not fearing them or your own personal well-being. You're fearing disappointment. You're fearing
Dishonor.
Yeah, you don't fear them, the aggression side.
I
of
think
it.
that the example he
feel-
gave was like a little.
Yeah, but I don't
extreme.
have to break it down into
Yeah.
science for you to understand what I'm saying, right?
No,
What-
but you're speaking in specific, right? So like I think that fear is in a healthy amount. I think that it will be fine. I don't think that you should be terrified like you were making it out to be of a man.
What?
Do you get what
Why
I'm saying?
not though?
Because then that leads to other things like insecurities, not being able to communicate with them correctly. I feel like if you're afraid of somebody, you're not going to go tell them things that maybe are a little bit more personal, right?
Yeah, listen, my job, I have 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My job is to be a father. I don't give a fuck about being a friend. Okay. They'll make their own friends in life.
Mhm.
My job is to be a father. You see, my son is not going to be treated with love once he grows up.
Mm.
Oh, well, you know, that face you're giving me, I'm sorry. Maybe in Disneyland, it is sad that you think that men are going out here and just receiving a whole bunch of acceptance and love. And I'm telling you, as a man, that's not how it happens. When I came out of prison, they weren't waiting for me with a job and you know, housing and here's, you know, some money. It was figure it out. Okay. Now for women can come out of jail and someone will take them into their couch and maybe, you know, give them some food and here's some money to get started. Not for men.
Not all of them.
Not all of them, but majority. And we're speaking in general here. Most men don't have it like that. Right now, you could have everything taken from you, your job, all your money, and you have people that you could call, right? That would be there to help you. And even if you say, well, I don't, guess what? Go on the internet. TikTok will embrace you. Instagram will embrace you. Some guys in your DMs will embrace you. Me and him can't do that same thing. So you can't sit here and tell me what life is as a man, because I'm telling you, I'm a man and I live life on hard mode. Okay. You said everything she read goes against what I said.
Yeah, because you said that, you know, growing up made you like, you know, more like feminine or like, oh, you
I didn't say
everything
that.
was
I
no,
said
I'm sorry.
growing up around women
You're right.
made me feminine.
Correct. Like, oh, everything's okay. Like there's no consequences and things like that. So why do you think that would translate to violence? I feel like, you know, like the way that you're describing fear, I would describe it as respect myself.
Fear and
You know?
respect are synonymous, though.
I don't.
Are they?
Yes, they are. Absolutely. Look at the military.
I'm like, Googling.
Look at
Let me
everything.
see it.
I'm being serious. Like in the military, fear and respect are
and fear.
synonymous, right?
They are.
When
Yeah.
you and you've been in the military, so
Yeah.
you know. I've been
I
to
agree.
prison.
Right.
I've been to prison. So when I was in prison, you respected that dude because you knew what
Correct.
and
It's
you also
just like,
feared him,
you
right?
know, you're in the
No,
way that you're
in your
explaining-
feelings,
Yes,
though.
it is.
I'm not.
You're in your feelings. Go ahead. Speak
No,
into the
I
mic,
said
please.
like what you're describing as
Why don't you just
fear.
move in and speak into the mic.
Sorry.
He's
What you're
right.
describing as
I'm not-
fear, that would be respect.
Am I right?
It's a synonym.
Yeah.
It's a
and-
synonym.
But
Hold
that's
on.
what I'm saying.
But hold
You
on,
can
but hold
be-
on,
I
hold
could
on,
be
but
wrong,
hold on,
right?
but
That's why I
hold
said
on.
look it up.
But guess what?
Mhm.
I didn't even have to Google that because
Mhm.
I'm a man and I know that.
Right.
I know that because I know that I've disrespected people before and I've been punched in the mouth. Right now, as a woman, you can disrespect each other and nothing will happen. I'm telling you, as a man, we live by different rules.
Right.
And what you're trying to say is you don't see how that correlates to me being, going to jail and going to prison. But I'm telling you,
No, I understand how you're saying that, but I'm saying like you said, as a man, you process information completely different than I do.
Mhm.
Correct. So what you describe as fear, I would immediately think of as respect, which you just proved that are synonyms. But at the end of the day, I just process the information completely different.
Yeah, I also
than
think
you
that
do.
the example you gave about like not wanting to steal a car or not robbing a car, right? I feel like that also correlates to like your father figure should not have made you scared to steal from that car. You should naturally like from him gain like other things. You can similarly you can have like a good conscience because my father figure taught me not to do that shit.
Okay.
Not
Right.
because I'm afraid of him.
okay.
But
Do
because
you have
he
a
taught me
father?
well.
Do you have a father?
Yes. I have a
Okay.
father.
Well, guess what? Congratulations. You're actually very blessed.
Mhm.
Okay. You're in a blessed position. How many people here were raised by their fathers? Okay, cool.
Mhm.
I'm saying completely.
The
he
fact
was
that
a
y'all
guy.
If you did
Yeah.
this,
Well,
No, okay, hold on.
I didn't.
How many people were raised by an active father that was there the whole entire time?
Oh yeah, still there.
Still there, all of you guys.
I mean,
Really?
I only saw my dad every other weekend and
Okay,
alternating
cool. Then
holidays.
no.
Okay, so
Okay, cool. Well, guess what, ladies? You guys are actually pretty blessed. A lot of people don't have that. Now, you're saying, well, why couldn't you just say my father? I think with you, it's not what I'm saying. I think you agree with what I'm saying. I just don't think you like the delivery, right?
Yeah, maybe.
And again, it goes back to feelings.
That's what I'm saying. Like again, I wouldn't do certain things not because I'm scared that my dad would beat me, but I would be so disappointed in myself to let him down.
Correct.
Like for
Yeah.
example, I wouldn't do OnlyFans because I would be
Mhm.
I would like cry.
Yeah, I
Like
would die,
it's
I
so
would die.
embarrassed of
Okay.
my dad. I would like my dad has done everything for me his
Okay.
entire life. So I'll be so hurt to let him down like
Okay, but here's the difference, right?
that. Right.
Let's say you have a father that never hits you.
Right.
He never put his hands on you.
Right.
So you know, no matter what, he'll never hit you.
right.
Well, you can then say, okay, cool, I can do this. And even though my dad would be disappointed, I know there's not like really going to be any consequence for it. That's the difference between
Mhm.
respect and fear, right?
Right.
And let me tell you something. I have 2 kids, and every time I go see them, their mother would say, get off the couch, take your shoes off the couch, stop running around. Bro, it's almost like they have headphones on. My kids do not care. As soon as I go in and I say, stop, but as soon as I call my son, if I say Maddox, my son stops whatever the fuck he's doing and he's looking around, right? And I don't abuse my son. I love my son. My son just knows. Dad's calling me. Did I do something wrong, right? And you can say, oh, well, he's scared. He's fearing you. No. He knows, right? There's different tones. If I'm like, hey, Maddox, come here, right? He knows Daddy's looking for him. If I say Maddox, right? If there's a Maddox, he knows. He's like, okay, cool. What am I doing wrong, right? And he's 3. Well, he just turned 4, right? So he's still young enough to where he doesn't really know what he's doing, but he's smart enough to know.
He's disciplined.
He's smart enough to know when Dad calls me, I'm probably doing something wrong. And there's a level of fear there. And I'm gonna tell you why, because whenever he did something wrong, I would go up to him and I'd take his Nintendo Switch and I tell him, you're not gonna get this for like a whole week, whatever it is. He knew there was something that was gonna happen if he didn't stop doing that. Now, with my daughter, I discipline her the complete opposite way. My daughter, the way I discipline her is we sit down and talk. And she cries when she thinks that I'm upset with her. Like she cries, like she's like, I'm sorry, like, I'm sorry I disappointed you. And she's so intelligent for an 8-year-old, so intelligent that I don't have to discipline. I don't have to yell at her. I don't have to give her a little love tap. You know what I mean? It's just very different. Okay, cool. Moving on to another. I do want you guys to get the 5 questions for Jules, because we're gonna do chat talk. And ladies, do you have any questions you want to ask each other or us at all?
I do have a question. Going back to the single mom and influence on sons, I kind of want to go back on how do you think single dads would influence daughters?
That's a great point. Okay, so I have a daughter, and I get shitted on a lot on this podcast because I tell women that they shouldn't just have sex with anybody, and they take it as me telling them what to do with their bodies. But I'm telling them, listen, that guy's not worthy of you. Why are you meeting him and having sex with him after 2 days? Like he didn't prove anything to you. You are decreasing in value, and he's not doing anything to gain that. And then what happens is when you meet the guy you love, you've already decreased so many times. Oh, you have 25 bodies, and now the guy that you love, you want to be celibate with because you've been through so many bodies and you want to heal. And the guy that you love, that loves you, wants to take care of you, he has to wait for you to heal through all your trauma, right? So with my daughter, I have a lot of girls that come on here and tell me that my daughter's gonna be a hoe because I'm like, yo, I'm very strict with my daughter. You know, they're like, oh, well, if you're so strict with your daughter, she's gonna go and fuck other guys just because you're so strict. And I'm like, the way that I am with my daughter, I tell her that she's the best little girl in the world and that she's valuable. I give her the confidence that she needs. She doesn't need to go anywhere for validation. I am her best friend. She can tell you. Me and my daughter are best friends. We write each other letters. She knows she can come to me. Whenever she needs something, she comes to me, not to mom. Whenever she has a problem, she comes to me, not to mom. Essentially, besides, being fed and clothed every day, my daughter comes to me for everything, which is saying a lot. The way that I would influence my daughter is just letting her know, obviously, the biggest thing is to be present, right? Like you can't be a father, leave for 10 years and think you're going to come back and be able to tell your daughter what to do. It doesn't work like that. You have to be present, right? And I would just tell my daughter, listen, I don't think there's a guy out there valuable enough for you. I really don't. But if there is one, let's find them together. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be the guy that lets my daughter go to like her schoolmate's house. My daughter's not going to be doing none of that. My job is to protect my daughter enough to where when she gets married, I'm walking her down that aisle to give her to the man that she is marrying. And now it's his responsibility to take care of her. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I just think as fathers, just the presence alone, I'm not saying that, if you have a father, you're not going to have sex. From my experience, I think just having a father, and there's a difference between having a father and having a father you respect.
Right.
And I'm big on that, right? Like as a father, the type of person that I am, I'm very traditional. I believe in the old ways. So I would also show her that, right? Like I would also show her the way I treat a woman. The way I treat her is how a guy should treat her too. So being present, number one, and then being a respectable man, number two, and then just, loving her enough to let her know you don't need validation. You don't need sex. You don't need one-night stands. You don't need drugs. You don't need to go to the club. It's cool if you want to go out, but you don't have to do. And here's another thing too. Kids are more influenced by their friends than anything else.
The peer pressure is huge.
I could be the best father, but if my daughter has 5 whole friends, guess what's going to happen? So as a father, I'm also supposed to protect her from her friends, right? From school, from guys. So it's really hard because I don't think mothers have the opportunity to really protect their daughters because they're so busy trying to provide. Right. And when women are busy trying to provide, you kind of put everything else on the back burner. And so now you don't even know if your kid did his schoolwork, his homework. So, I don't know if you want to take that one as well.
I agree with the same thing he said. I think as a father, what I want to tell my daughter, I don't have a daughter yet, but what I definitely want to be, have a good relationship. I don't want to be a distant father in the sense of, I'm letting the mother do everything and having those tough talks. I want to be the one that has the tough talks because maybe she'll take it and I could give her a different light. I could tell her the man's perspective on it. Yo, when I'm fucking around with a girl, I don't really give a fuck. Like I'm just really just trying to fuck her. Like I'm not gonna take her serious. I don't care. I'm not gonna talk to her after. I'm not taking her. She's whatever. She's just a body. I'm gonna let her know that most guys are thinking that. These guys that you're probably going to entertain are high schoolers. They don't have anything going for themselves yet. So why are you going to even try to take them serious?
That's a good point right there.
You should wait till you're 18 or wait till you're of age to start vetting guys that are of some type of stature. They have something going for them. A type of guy that can, hold himself in a respectful gentleman type way.
Okay, I have a question for the ladies. Ladies, is there anything wrong with a 22-year-old dating a 35-year-old?
Who's who though?
No, I don't think it matters.
A woman who's 22 dating a 35-year-old guy. There's nothing wrong with that.
We probably say that there's nothing wrong but
No,
I
no,
think,
I'm asking you.
well, I don't really think so, but maybe some people do, and I think I know why, because of the difference of like, if how old are you?
22.
She's 22. You're in your
34.
34.
Yeah. So if
you
I was-
guys have
so-
like completely already different lives. You
Okay.
already know. What
Okay, so
you're
let's use that
going through.
example real quick. I'm dating her right now, right? You don't see anything wrong with that? Do you see
Well,
anything wrong with that?
I wouldn't think anything is wrong, is because I would use, oh, age is just a number, but you guys have two different ages in a way where you guys are like different people. She still has not gone through what you have gone through at your age,
Mhm.
and you already know she's still like in her prime.
Mhm.
I don't know.
So wait, am I
I'm,
not
like,
in my
confusing my
prime?
own words.
No.
Am I not in my prime?
You're not in your prime.
I'm
Wait,
not in
hold
my
on,
prime.
why is he not in his
Hold
prime?
on. Why am I not in my
No,
prime?
I'm just kidding. I was kidding.
Oh, okay, cool. You're about to get humbled real quick.
You're in your prime. You're in your
Okay.
prime.
Real quick. Anybody else see anything wrong with that? Anybody else?
I
I
actually
think-
do. I think like at 22 versus 35, that's two different life stages.
Okay.
Like when you're 22, you don't even like you're not there yet. You're
Okay.
not 35.
Okay. All right. Well, here's some fun facts for you guys.
Hmm.
Our primes are different,
Yeah.
right?
That's why I'm like,
Your
don't think it's
prime
the
is
same.
in your 20s, ladies.
Mhm.
Now I understand that women are pushing 30s are new primes. Yeah, it's beneficial because all the girls that are saying that are 30
30,
plus,
yeah.
right? But no matter what, your prime is in your 20s. Okay.
Your early 20s.
Mhm.
Your early 20s. Once you hit 28, 29, I'm being honest, okay? And guess who dictates when your prime is? We do.
Man.
Men dictate that. Okay. And you guys can sit here and be like, oh, well, I know a 35-year-old that has so many guys. Cool. There's always exceptions. There's always
oh,
outliers.
you mean like sexually prime?
No,
Oh.
I'm saying in
Oh,
general.
I'm
in
like, are you
general.
only talking about?
Do you want to know what your value is to men?
Okay. Yeah.
Can
What
you-
is my value?
What do you think it is?
I don't know.
Her
I'm
youth?
asking.
Hold on.
Yeah, I
let
guess
her let
my-
her answer. So your youth, what else?
My youth. I guess my beauty,
Uh-huh.
my intelligence.
No, we don't care about intelligence.
Okay.
I mean,
I guess
that
that
actually
would-
works
those my-
against you.
Why?
I'll get to that in a second. So your value as women
Mm-hmm.
is your youth, your beauty, your fertility.
I was close.
Okay,
2 for
because
3.
we want
Damn.
women that again, in general, most men want women they can have kids with.
Mm.
I understand there's like a few guys like, oh, this guy doesn't care about having a kid.
Mm.
Most men in today's age still care about reproducing and having someone take over for them once they pass. Okay. I remember telling my ex, because my first kid was a daughter, I was like, I have 4 more of these motherfuckers until I have a son. And luckily, my next kid was my son. You know what I mean? But I wasn't playing because my daughters will take someone else's name. Right, my son will keep my name. That's my future right there. That's my legacy. So that's your currency. Okay,
Mhm.
that's your value right there. Your youth, your beauty, your fertility. However, for a man, our value's in our 30s. We're essentially he's rare. He's 21. He just turned 21, and I tell him all the time, you could fuck up right now for another 10 years and still be
Gucci,
okay.
dog.
Still be okay. I'm 34. I don't have that luxury. I need to get my shit together because when I'm 40 something, I don't want to start working then. Does that make sense? I want my 40s to be smooth. So you're blessed, but also most 21-year-old guys aren't doing what you're doing, right? For men, our value comes differently. It's our finances, our status. What can we provide for society, right? Like what can I offer, right? You ladies don't necessarily care about body count when it comes to guys. Right? Like most women, maybe you guys do, but most women don't, right? Like you will take the millionaire that has 20 bodies opposed to the virgin who's broke because you don't necessarily care about body count. You want to know what the guy can do for you in the future. Shout out to the super chatters,
David
man.
Jones donated $10. Ladies, would you let your 21-year-old son marry a 30-year-old businesswoman?
Okay. Would you guys let your son marry her?
No.
Why not?
It's the men that should provide. If that guy like marries the older woman, like they're not being shown that.
Okay, so is that a gender role right there?
It is, yeah.
It is? Okay. Now she's 22, I'm 34. Wouldn't it make sense since I'm in my prime and she's in her prime for us to date each other?
I would say no. It's still two different life stages.
Okay. What can a 22-year-old guy provide for her right now?
He can't.
dick.
So wouldn't
Sorry.
it? So wouldn't it logically make sense for her in her prime to date someone else in their prime?
I mean, it could. I mean, it's still really.
No, Abby,
I just
come
feel like
on.
that's still really young.
So
Okay.
hold on. So you're telling me they shouldn't date at all? A 22-year-old shouldn't date another.
Hold on, real quick.
22-year-old?
Hold on, baby. How old are you?
I'm 23.
Okay, she's 23. I'm 34.
Mm.
Doesn't it make sense for us to date?
I mean, it makes sense. Like if some people in their young 20s nowadays like aren't ready.
Okay, so what would a 23-year-old guy be able to provide for her right now? Realistically,
Nothing.
nothing. So why would
She waste her time.
why would she waste her time dealing with a 20-year-old guy who's probably gonna just, you know, he's finding himself right now, because we already established that guys in their 20s typically aren't shit. You know, you have to be really rare. So guys, he's finding himself, he's building himself, right? He's probably gonna, you know, at 23, I was fucking like a rabbit, bro. Like he's not gonna be faithful. Why would it benefit a woman at 23 to date a guy that's 23? It doesn't make any sense. I would not want my daughter to date someone her age.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make any sense, right? It really wouldn't. And that's just my opinion right there. Do you
I mean,
understand?
that goes with what women love to say, that men mature later on in life. If you guys truly believe that, then you wouldn't have a problem dating somebody that's older, because you go on to your life always saying, "Oh,
Yeah.
you mature later. Men mature later.
Yeah.
Women are."
Yeah, I think the
women
gap that
get-
you were talking about is a larger gap, like a
No, it's
20-something
not.
year old
That's-
with like a 60-year-old. Maybe that's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
Is that what you're referring to?
Right.
Yeah, because I don't think
I don't
20s
really
and 30s
think-
like
yeah, like
like
10,
men and women
15
are
Wait,
years,
wait,
it's not
wait!
that
But
big of a
he
deal.
said he literally said the exact age. He said me and her.
Right.
And I never
34,
said there was an
22.
issue with that.
Well, you said you said it. You didn't agree, but okay. So let's use your example real quick. What if a 60-year-old dates a 25-year-old?
Yeah, that's wrong.
Really. Why is it wrong?
I mean, 60s like
She's grandma. At
Yeah.
this point.
He's grandpa.
Oh wait.
Yeah,
The,
the
dude's
guy's
60?
60. Yeah. So
Oh.
what's wrong with it?
I mean, I just personally don't agree with it and wouldn't do it.
Okay, who would get judged, her or him?
Probably him.
Okay, why? I mean, it's essentially the same
Yeah.
gap, right? So why is it that the man always gets judged and not the woman? Because
Well, yeah,
I think
society.
the woman would get
I was
judged.
about to say.
I was
think
gonna- I would have said the woman
I
gets
think the
judged.
25-year-old
when
woman's
you
getting
s-
judged
yeah.
before
the-
the
The
60.
only
hold on,
thing they
hold on.
would say about the
a
25-year-old is a
digger.
gold digger.
That's it.
That's the only thing they would
Listen,
say.
hold on. When you go out, if a
But
20
that's judgment.
hold on, okay, but let me finish. If a 25-year-old goes to Poppy Steak or some stupid restaurant
Yeah.
around here, right, and she's with a 65-year-old, they're gonna look at her and be like, "Oh, she's with him for the money." However, they're gonna look at him like he's using her,
Facts.
right? He's manipulating her. He's probably using money, and he's gonna get
Mm.
absolute, bro. What?
You know what's hard is to imagine that a man could look at another man with a young girlfriend and think in his head that, oh, that's so morally wrong, rather than be like, damn, he bagged a 20-year-old.
Wait, but
that's
I don't.
so,
Hold
like-
on, but here in Miami, this
Mhm.
happens a lot, by the
Mhm.
way.
Okay, but
If it happens anywhere in the world, it happens here in Miami.
Mhm.
Okay, and I go out, and when I see an older guy with a younger girl, I never judge the guy.
I'm like, shit, that
Damn, but
he's
see,
that nigga.
that's what I'm saying.
Got
I'm like, that might
money.
be you, but like,
Yeah.
I feel like off
That's
first
what
bat,
you
when
would
she even
think.
mentioned a 20 and a 60-year-old, the first thing that you think of is like, damn, she's a gold digger. That's the initial thought.
I judge her. I don't
Yeah,
judge him.
Exactly, I would judge her.
Yeah, that's what I said. I
What-
said like the initial thought when you see a 20-year-old woman
Yeah.
and like a 60-year-old man, you don't jump to say, like you mentioned right now, that you would look at the man and be like, damn, he's using her.
No, I
No,
didn't
no,
say
no,
that.
no,
I
no.
said
Y'all
society.
said- yeah.
Most people would. And when
You're
I,
part
hold on.
of the society
when
of
I
men
say
that would-
most, no, I say when,
No?
and I'm gonna be honest. When I say most people, what I really mean is women, because women judge like that. I don't think because here's the thing: most men understand how hard it is to land a beautiful woman like that.
Correct.
So I know how hard it is for me to get with her, bro. You know how many people were trying to get with her before I got with her?
Mhm.
Her DMs were flooded. So I understand how hard it is to get a beautiful woman. I know how hard it is. I've been a man my whole life. So when I see another man with a baddie, I'm like, he had to work really hard to get with her.
Or he has something going for
For
himself.
Correct.
Exactly.
But,
But
he
that's
still
what
had
I
to
meant.
work hard.
He had to
He
work
had
hard
to
for it,
work hard
right?
for him.
Yeah.
My thing is, these beautiful girls with these millionaires, all they had to do was just look beautiful.
That's all.
That's all. That's all they had to
But-
do. And as a matter of fact, these millionaires specifically go for the most beautiful girls because they know it's like a notch on their arm.
Correct.
I have the most beautiful girl and I worked my ass off to get her. She didn't do anything. I don't judge him. I'm like, yo, this bitch is just using him.
And you know what's crazy? The guy doesn't even have to be 60. He could be the same age as her. As long as he has money, he's rich. I mean, he's a gold digger.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. All right, guys, make sure you guys ask Jules any questions for the chat talk. And anybody else have any questions you want to ask each other
you
or
said,
us?
You said
sorry.
something that we were going to go back to, that when we
Sure.
were talking about a woman's value and I said intelligence, you said that played against me. Why?
That hurt you, huh?
Why?
I think you're intelligent. I can see that. I'm going to tell you why we don't care about that.
Okay.
When I'm looking for a potential long-term mate,
Mhm.
I don't need her to be intelligent necessarily.
You could be with like a dumb girl.
Let me finish.
Hmm.
I'm okay with her being intelligent. I'm cool with that. I don't necessarily go for that though. I'm like, listen, I'm not counting on your intelligence to pay our bills. I'm not counting on your intelligence to pay our mortgage. I'm not counting on your intelligence to get me out of like that's my job. I'm traditional.
Mhm.
I believe the guy should be doing that. I think I should solve all of our issues. You
Right.
shouldn't have to worry about nothing. The only thing you should be worried about is what are we eating for dinner and how are our kids doing and is the home good? Do you need something? How can I help you? You know, it's hard being a woman. Why should you also have to take on men duties? It makes no sense. So your intelligence doesn't necessarily, while I'm happy you have it, I don't necessarily, that's not like my number one priority.
Correct. And why it would hurt you is because you have that sense of intelligence. There's going to be another mind, another idea. So then we're going to have to go back and forth. If I'm the leader, I don't want you to go like back and forth with me. Whatever I say, that's what it is.
I guess what he's trying to say is that a lot of guys can find that insecure, right? Like she's
Correct.
really smart. And
Correct.
Right.
while I consider myself a pretty smart guy, so I don't necessarily see it as an insecurity. But also what happens with being educated is naturally, what do you ladies, because we do have some intelligent women here tonight. What I'm saying is that naturally, in order for you to have educated yourself, you have to go out there and find it. You have to work hard for that. It didn't just come to you. Look, there's a lot of dumb girls out here. You guys being educated, you worked hard for that. You have to read, you have to write, you have to study, right? So that's masculine.
Yeah. What's going to happen? You're going to start being argumentative. As a guy, I want peace. I don't want to argue back and forth.
Yeah.
But see, that's what I mean. Like, I wouldn't say that being argumentative is a good thing, but like to say that you would rather have somebody who's like you don't value as much their intelligence is like kind of suggesting that you would rather be like take an easy route, you know, rather than consider other options. I feel like that's a good
I don't
idea.
want you to be dumb, but you don't want to be a scholar.
Oh, there you go.
Candela,
Middle ground.
Candela is actually bringing up a good point though. But the reason why is because men, as a man, I'm already doing so much in life every single day. And you can ask her right here. I'm on 2 hours of sleep. I'm already battling life. I have other people I'm competing with. You know, being a podcaster, YouTuber is really hard. I'm already stressed. The last thing I need to do when I come home is fight you on your ideas and what you think we should do. I'm like, listen, baby, just trust me. I got this. Right. But that also means you have to pick the right guy. Like you can't just trust I know, and I tell you this all the time. I had a conversation with him earlier. I'm like, I know that there's not many guys out there like me. I tell her all the time, I'll get 4 jobs if I need to. And I mean it. I'll actually get 4 jobs and I'll do Uber, whatever I have to do to make sure we're good, I'll do it. But I also know there's a lot of guys that wouldn't do that. So I say, listen, trust me, let me lead, and then help me on the back end. And I promise you it'll be worth it. That's the type of guys that I would want my daughter to go for. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of dads out there implementing that type of restriction on their daughter. And here's another thing too. Someone yesterday said, you know, they were like, oh, well, you want to own your daughter. You want to own your daughter because I'm so invested into my daughter's life.
Overprotective.
Right. And I'm just like, well, my daughter's my responsibility. In a sense, I do own her. Right. Like, I'm not saying she's my slave or she's mine forever. Obviously, I talked about marriage and all that, right? But in a sense, for me to be accountable for her and responsible, yes, I own what she does for, you know, for dinner and what she eats and what she does afterwards and where she goes. Like I own the rights to be able to tell her that.
That's why we were in agreement that it's about the delivery and like the context of what you're saying. Because I can agree with you being, you know, held accountable for your daughter and the things she does, the way she, you know, what she eats and all that. But to say that you own her is like, that's where I'm like,
okay. And
so that's why vocabulary is very important.
I love that you said that. But here's the thing, right? And what I'm realizing is, and this is why I love you guys coming here, because you guys teach me a lot. What I'm learning is, as men, if I say I own my daughter, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But when I say that to a woman, it's like, what? What do
Actually,
you
there's
mean you
some-
own your daughter?
There's some men on the chat
Okay.
kind of disagreeing with
Yes.
that because they believe that you have
Authority.
Thank you.
Authority.
Authority over her, but you don't technically own her.
Mhm.
So
But
it's,
you-
it's,
but
it's
how-
pretty divided on the chat
Okay,
right
but
now.
listen, shout out
So,
to the
like,
chat, man. We
which-
appreciate you guys. But here's what I'll say about the chat. A lot of the people in the chat don't have kids. Number one. Okay. Also, number two, I know how I feel about my daughter. I love my son and my daughter, but I love my daughter like nothing in the world. My daughter is my fucking heart. Like that's my baby, you know. And in order for me to, you know, for her to have the life that I want her to have, I have to be the way that I am, because I know what happens on the opposite of that. That's how my upbringing was that way. So I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe I don't have the best delivery. Maybe I don't have the best approach, but my intentions are good, and intentions are everything to me. So hopefully, you know, I'm gonna learn along the way. But yes, I still do feel like, in a sense, me and her mother both own my daughter to an extent.
That's why it's
You know?
so. This is what I mean by like it's so unfair when people just like see a reel of something of you or something, or they like see the negative parts, but it's like clearly like you're
Yeah.
open and like you are willing to be like educated and talk about the things that you feel. And even if like, for example, we don't agree, like it's always respectful.
Yeah.
So I feel like if people really watch the full show that
Yeah.
you give, like it's important to go through that, you know.
I appreciate you saying that, but we live in a society where people just get fed whatever they get
Sad.
fed.
Yeah.
And
I
then they-
completely agree
And
with
they
her.
trust
Mhm.
the internet, and the internet
Yeah,
always
it's-
lies.
Yeah. But listen, man, I'm not claiming to be the best father in the world. I just know what it's like not to have a father.
Right. And,
And
you
I-
don't want to make the same. You're going to make new mistakes because everybody makes mistakes, but you just don't want to repeat the same mistakes that were made with
Correct.
you. And I feel like that's the number one priority as a parent, that you
Correct.
want to be better and you want your kids to be better than you know,
Right.
at the end of the day. So
100%. Yeah. And you had a question you wanted to ask, right?
I did. I was gonna ask if you guys believe in a man marrying the woman in front of him. If you guys know what that is.
Can you
Wait,
explain?
what?
Can
What?
you explain?
Okay, so I've seen this before, and it's basically when a guy he's like ready to settle down, ready to get a home and kids, and he's single, and then he gets with a girl, and within like a few months, he wants to marry her because he wants to settle down. And I was wondering, like, from a guy perspective, why do you guys think that happens? But also, like, you guys too, like, what do
Yeah,
you
but
guys feel about
what's
it?
weird about that?
Yeah, that's what I was.
situation?
That's what I was trying to find something,
Because-
some red flag in it.
Because
Are you toxic?
sometimes they don't actually get to know the woman.
She means
Okay.
like marrying them like in like 2 to 3
Or
months.
like
So
long- like in a
this
short
is like
period
an
of time.
anonymous girl, and like it was
Yeah,
just like
yeah, and they just
okay.
met in
Yeah.
2
no,
3
like
months and they're married.
you're just like you're at a point in your life that you like, hey, you know what? I'm ready to settle down.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get married, and it
Okay.
might not be the woman that
Yeah.
you had originally planned your entire life with, the woman that quote unquote you fell in love with or
Yeah.
lost
I
or
understand what
whatever.
you're saying.
Right.
So what she's basically explaining is kind of like passport bros. I'm be honest.
Yeah. in
We
a sense.
don't see the wife
In a sense,
qualities here, so they go to maybe Thailand or somewhere else or Colombia, where those girls they might not fully love the guy like for him, or maybe it's like what the guy's providing, but she's doing all the wifey qualities. We're like, fuck it, we'll just take the wifey qualities, and we're good with that.
Essentially, what the guy's doing is settling.
Yeah,
Right. Like, this is the best girl I've found so far.
correct.
Let me lock her down. But let me tell you something, ladies, real quick. From my perspective, I think that men are very intentional creatures, right? So when I have women that come on here and they're like, I've been dating for 9 months. I don't know if I'm the one. He doesn't really tell me. I'm like, you're not the one.
Yeah.
You're not the one. And they're like, well, how do you know? I know.
Mhm.
I know you're not the one, and he knows you're not the one. Otherwise, you would be the one, right?
He's wasting your time.
Mhm.
I'm 34, right? And when I met her, it was a combination of everything I had been through in life, all the girls I had dated, all the experiences. And this is why I say men and women are different, because you guys don't mind experience. Because my experience would benefit you if we were dating, because I know how to treat you now. Your experience doesn't benefit me at all, because I don't need your experience. I don't need you to tell me how to fuck you, or I want to be able to teach you, right? So when I met her, I was very intentional. Day one, I remember, we were talking before we met. And I remember the first day we met, I say this all the time. I remember the parking spot she parked in and everything. She came out the car and she skipped to me. It was weird. She was just like always happy. She's like skipping. She's like, hi. And I was like, in my head, I was like, I was like, bro, in that moment,
I don't think Jules sounds like that.
no, yeah, but that's what she said. She,
That's
Mickey
cute
Mouse.
though. That's cute.
she was like,
Giving
hi.
Mickey Mouse.
Did
And
she
I-
say hi?
Yeah, she did. She was like, hi. And I was like, in my head,
giving Mickey Mouse.
I kind of stuttered a little bit because I was in my head, I was like, bro, this could be the one.
Yeah.
That's how quick I knew that she could be the one. When a guy knows that you could be the one, then what happens is we get infatuated. We're so infatuated, right? Then as guys, we may not say because I didn't tell her anything that I was thinking. But what I did was I'm looking at body language. How does she behave? Does she thank me for opening the door? You know, is she walking, you know, by me? I'm looking at all these little things. I'm studying her, right? Is she too friendly?
Mhm.
Can anybody come up and give her a hug? I'm looking at all these things, and then you start to break her down. I think one of the main things she did the first day she came over my place and started cleaning up, washing dishes. And I'm like, this girl actually does have some home training, right? Like she actually knows how to, you know, take care of herself and possibly me. And so when I'm looking at all these tendencies, I'm like, okay, cool, I can invest into this. And once a guy invests into you and he really wants you, he'll let the hoes go. He'll let the boys go. He'll let the video games go.
Mhm.
He'll let all that dumb shit go. So when girls come on here and they're like, oh, you know, it's been 9 months. I'm like, you ain't the one.
Yeah.
You ain't the one. So to answer your question, it's just sometimes it's a combination of things, and sometimes it just may be this guy's ready to settle down, and this girl is probably, in his opinion, the best option, right? So I don't think there's anything weird about that at all. To be honest, I've heard of love at first sight, and I didn't believe in it until like I really met her. You know what I mean? So, but also,
cute.
but,
cute.
bro, hold on, bro. All right. So what I'm saying is sometimes it just takes a guy being in a certain place, and it takes a good woman to show him,
Mhm.
listen, it's okay for you to feel this way, because guys don't typically feel, and if we feel, we're definitely not going to tell you. Because the worst thing you could do, in my opinion, is be vulnerable and just let a girl know, oh my God, I really like you, because then she's turned off.
Yeah.
If you're just letting a girl know, like, yo, I just met you, but like I'm in love with you, bro, red flag.
Yeah.
Right. So hopefully that answers your question. Chat, let me know if you guys agree with me. Clearly they don't. Anybody else have any questions? I want to get to the chat talk. Can you get
Yeah, I
there?
have a couple.
Okay, cool. We'll do that in a bit. Okay, anybody else have a question? No questions, really? Okay. Anybody disagree with me? What I said?
Wait, hold on. I told y'all to have questions before the show. What happened?
Yeah.
I told you I didn't have a question.
Okay, no questions.
I did not get this memo. Sorry.
Girls have
Yeah,
selective hearing,
you
bro.
came late.
Yeah.
I
Which
came
ones
right
are there?
after work.
No,
Gotcha.
I can think
Okay.
of one.
Okay,
How much
cool.
time do I have?
All right,
All right,
different.
cool. So if you don't have one, then I'm just gonna go ahead and read some of these. Okay.
I was about to say, can I just go last?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. So my boy Saif says, ask the 304s why taking off their clothes makes them feel empowered. Does anyone know what a 304 is?
Ho.
No.
Okay, cool. Shout out to Okay, so anyways,
Clear.
why does taking off your clothes make you feel empowered, ladies? And don't say it doesn't, because I know it does. At least to most women, it does.
Like taking off our
I
clothes in front of men, or like
Or
taking
in
off
general.
our clothes.
Just the way people dress nowadays, like that
Oh.
whole Fashion Nova Shein thing. Girls nowadays walk around basically naked.
I think like how you said,
Sensational.
society and the freedom.
Okay.
Everybody wants.
Yeah, I think it has to do with a lot of like in the past it was generally accepted to dress like very much more modest, and like over time women have just, I guess, like they even like, I don't know if you guys have seen, there's like a video and it'll go into each decade of every single bathing suit that was ever
Mhm.
worn.
Yeah.
And that video, it like literally shows you how like it used to be like a whole long thing, and then it starts to like shorten and
Yeah.
shorten. Then it was a
Correct.
mid dress, then it was like literally like a bikini, which is like where we're at now.
Yeah.
And I think that for some women, they like to see the way that it's changed and the way that we're not just like, because there's women who can still do that. They can still dress a little more modest. And then you can also be the women who like to wear bikinis, right? So I think that what it is like they appreciate the ability to choose rather than just have been stuck to one thing.
Yeah, I think women are the only ones that have the ability to be able to do one thing and then transition back into another thing. Like for instance, I can't wear a dress to the beach
Yeah, you're done.
and then pretend that I can just put a suit on and it didn't happen.
it's wraps.
Right? Women can do that. Women can put anything on and they won't get judged for it. It's like I might be like, yo, why are you wearing a suit in Florida? Like, you know what I mean?
I
Like,
mean, men have done both. They still get judged for it. Like Harry Styles wore like a long skirt.
And he
Bad
was
Bunny
dragged
wore.
for it.
Yes, and that's what I mean. Is
Yeah.
like you can be judged either or, though. It's not just like
No,
No,
but
but
no,
you know,
what I'm
he's
saying,
saying the girls won't be.
what I'm
judged.
saying is that women typically
Oh.
won't get judged,
Yeah.
right?
You say
Because
guys get
yeah,
judged.
I'm saying guys do get judged. If I put a dress on, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done, and I don't want to put a dress on. But if I did, I'd be done. Nobody cares why I did it. Nobody cares if I did it for a skit. They're gonna question it no matter what, right? Okay, cool. Shout out to you, man. Adam Heckler says, when will the girl next to Eric go home and take care of her kids and not be on pods? That's my question.
I don't have to answer that to you. My kid is well taken care of, and that's why I'm here.
Why are you guys
And
choosing
thank you-
violence, man?
And thank you, Eric, for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
I thought you guys were gonna ask some
Nice.
questions like
genuine important.
to get some knowledge,
Right?
man.
Yeah.
My
for
boy
your entertainment, apparently.
Trey says, ask them what does corporation mean to them. Oh, I'm sorry, cooperation, not corporation. What does cooperation mean to you?
Cooperation, working together as a team.
Okay, what does it mean to you?
Same thing. Communicating well, like talking, and also listening and understanding at the
Okay.
same time.
Anybody else have anything
And
different?
having some common sense too.
Common sense. Common
Yeah.
sense ain't common, right?
It's the least common of the senses.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, working together.
Okay. shout out to
Benefiting
my
from
boy.
each other.
Okay. If my girl don't think body count matters,
If
this
girls-
is from JT. If girl, oh, sorry, this is from JT. If girls don't think body count matters, why is a guy having 90 body an issue? So if a guy has 90 bodies, why is it an issue
Well-
if body count doesn't matter? And this is
I
actually a
love
really
that.
good
I
one.
like that.
I think that what your point is like, you know how you said, for example, men aren't really like seen as like it doesn't lessen your value to have multiple bodies. What it does for a woman that sees a guy with like 90 bodies is that for me, like I would be like, okay, so he's a player, so he's somebody who's not going to be committed. So it like ties into other things rather than just the physical of like you being with a woman. It's more like, okay, now I can't trust that you're going to be committed to me because you were literally with like 90 other people.
Understood.
So I feel like the same way it's important for him to know my bodies, it's kind of like the same way I would feel is like if you're like with 100 dudes and I'm like, no, I don't feel like you clearly don't really value what it means to be in a committed relationship.
Okay.
Even if you were with 100 women, which I would
But
never
here's the thing though. Would your future husband, right?
Mhm.
Would you rather him have 90 bodies or have 20 fully committed relationships? Which one would you prefer?
Neither.
No,
I
okay.
guess if I
you
have
had
to
choose,
pick,
which one would you
those
pick?
both suck. But if my odds are, then I guess I feel like maybe the body.
The
That's
body.
a hard
Well,
question.
No,
Yeah,
but why the
yeah.
bodies?
That's a hard
Why the
question.
bodies? There's a reason
Because-
why.
Because if
you
I
know
say the
why.
relationships, it's like, oh, if you actually, first of all, this is a very hard like.
It's very easy.
No, because this hypothetical would assume that like, how old is this person that you had 20 whole relationships?
Well, you
And
could
they're
have-
not fully committed if, like, in the
Well,
span
let's
of
say
what time.
okay, well,
Let's say 35.
You're saying that then that would I'm gonna assume that you broke up because let's talk about like the lifespan expectancy, like really
And
like
when
30.
did you really start
Okay.
dating? And
When
it
did-
really
yeah,
Okay,
did
but
you
let-
start
okay,
dating at
okay.
7?
Okay,
Your
but see,
7-year-old
here's the thing.
relationship
But
was a
see, I
committed
asked
one.
a simple question. She's like, let me break it down into okay.
Because you
Okay,
have
I
to
see what
think
you're saying.
about
Okay,
it, like-
no, you don't have to. You could just
You don't just
okay,
pick off the
here's what I'll
bat.
say.
You make
Listen,
a rational decision.
Listen, hold on, listen. She's my fourth relationship,
Mhm.
right? I've only
But
had
four.
fourth
That's
relationship,
fine.
but I have 45 bodies, right?
Ew.
45 bodies. So, yo,
Ah.
why are you judging me? Why are you judging me?
Yo, she said Jesus.
What's your body count?
I told you it's 3.
3? Okay.
3.
All right.
It was
And
like
I-
that Kevin Hart.
Okay.
You remember that Kevin Hart shit?
I
He
told you,
asked his
no,
age.
but
Okay,
this
here's
is
my
what I
thing though.
mean.
But those girls didn't
Mhm.
mean anything to me though. And this is why you chose a
Oh, man.
relationship. I'm gonna tell you why. Because when I say she's my fourth relationship,
Mhm.
she now knows the 3 girls before me at least meant something to me. We were in a relationship and it was long relationships, right?
Mhm.
The 45 girls that they were included in don't mean shit. Now,
Okay.
I'm not saying she doesn't care about the
Right.
45 bodies. What I'm saying is she knows we had an experience,
Mhm.
whatever. She knows I'm the guy.
Right.
I wasn't the one getting fucked. I was the one doing the fucking. She understands, hey, listen, those 45 girls, they happened, whatever. The 4 relationships or the 3 relationships before
Mhm.
her, they meant something. So this is why you would choose the bodies over the relationship because you know this guy was emotionally invested. He was, taking care of these women. And so that's why I asked you that
Mhm.
question. Which one would you take?
Me?
Yeah.
probably the bodies.
The bodies.
yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
Would everyone
Yeah,
choose the
after
body?
Everyone
your
took the
point
bodies.
was made.
This
yeah.
is so
Alright,
unfair because
Jules,
if I
you were
could
making
choose,
a lot
I'd
of
say
faces over there.
neither.
Okay,
What?
so let me tell you something,
Haram.
right? So women,
Really
so women that are in relationships or in marriages, here's the one thing, right? They all get mad because if you get cheated on, I get it. You have the right to be mad, right? I think that men shouldn't cheat. I think a high value man doesn't cheat because he doesn't need to. He'll
I
just
agree.
tell the woman, listen, I'm the dude here. You know, I provide. If I want to do this, I'm just gonna tell you.
Yeah.
Which is what I did with my ex. I got to a point with my ex where I was like, listen, I've been with you for 12 years. I want a threesome because it's just that's where I'm at right now, right? And 12 years is a long fucking time, right? And she was like, oh no, I'm not cool with it. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, I'm not gonna cheat on you, so I'm gone.
Yo, you're a soldier for that.
Right?
12 years. is
Yeah, 12 years.
crazy.
And then afterwards, when she saw I really was gone, she was like, oh, you know what? I'm actually open to it now. Okay, cool. Now you're good because I'm in Miami now and it's nice out here. It's nice
Wait,
out
you're not
here.
from Miami?
No, I'm from Maryland, Baltimore. Yeah.
Oh, damn, that's
So,
a big change.
Yeah, huge change. So when I came down here, I was like, bro,
went from 3s and 4s to fucking
to 10s. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I was like, okay. She hit me up, but I'll do it. I was like,
I'm sorry.
good. I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but the point is that women always. I always ask women. I was like, would you get mad that he cheated on you with 10 girls? Right? Your husband cheated on you with 10 girls, or he cheated on you with one girl and he's paying her bills, right? He's getting her flowers. He's doing all these little things for her. Which one would you take?
I'd rather him cheat on me with 10 girls than be that invested with another girl.
Okay.
That actually happened to
Oh
me.
my
so
Okay. What about you?
I agree with her.
10 girls?
Yeah.
What about you?
I'd agree, but I'd still kill him.
I like her.
Okay.
Like
what about you? Which
murder.
one?
Allegedly.
Neither.
Neither. You got to
Yeah.
pick one though.
Why?
Hey, come
That's
on.
what
Come on,
I'm
right?
saying. I'm like, why do
Obviously-
I
obviously-
it looks bad
Hypothetical.
if you have to pick
Ladies,
because that's not
ladies,
something
ladies,
you'd choose.
Ladies,
Ladies.
obviously, no one would wish this upon you, but if you had to pick, which one would you pick?
Yeah, I guess the 10 bodies.
10 bodies. What about you?
Yeah.
10 bodies.
10 bodies?
I have to pick 10 bodies.
Okay. What about you? Which one would you pick?
I'm sorry, I was reading the chat.
It's fine. Okay. If I fuck 10 girls or if I fuck one girl and I'm paying her bills, getting her flowers, which one's worse?
You're with me?
Yes,
Yes.
I'm with you.
He's cheating on you.
He's
It's either
cheating on
Which
me.
one's
it's either
worse?
he's cheating on you
They're
with
both
10 different
worse.
women.
But
Okay.
That's what
That's
we
fine.
said.
That's fine. But pick one, please.
10 bodies.
10 bodies. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. So that goes to show a lot right there. We'll do one more. He says, the question I got is, and by the way, JT, that was a really good question. My boy Rossetti says, the question I got is, ask the single mom by Eric, how would her son feel seeing her mom's Instagram page? Okay, cool. I haven't seen her Instagram page, bro. How would your son feel seeing
He's
your
okay
Instagram
with
page?
it because I asked him.
He doesn't know.
How old is he
anything
though?
yet.
He's 10.
Wait, you asked him what?
I asked him if it's okay
Okay,
to
Okay,
what?
so what?
to like post something before I post it.
Like
So hold
bikini
on, hold on.
pictures, her like.
No,
would
no,
you
no,
guys
not
say-
picking pictures. I was like, would this bother you if I posted it? He'll be
Yeah,
like,
but
no,
he's
it's cool.
10.
Exactly, but that's just started now. He doesn't even really go into Instagram. He doesn't have an Instagram account. He doesn't. The most
Wait,
that
wait,
he
wait,
does
wait.
is
But
pay.
you
wait,
asked
wait,
for
wait,
permission to
what?
post.
No, I don't
Wait,
ask
wait,
for
wait.
permissions, but like
so you're showing
No,
your
I'm not sure.
10-year-old kid what you're posting on Instagram. You, as his mother, he's looking at you as an example to
Mhm.
what society is.
correct.
So you're programming him to think this is woman, this is how you act, and period.
No, I don't understand the question.
Because you're technically showing to your son that there's no problem doing this.
No problem
Like if
doing
mommy
what?
does it, then I do it.
What do you mean?
I mean, if mommy does it, then I should accept somebody that does it.
I see what she's saying.
if mommy
You know what I'm saying?
accepts what?
Yeah,
Like,
doing what? Posting on Instagram.
So,
wanna word it
I got it. Thank you so much. I guess what she's saying is that you're essentially, because first of all, a 10-year-old kid doesn't really
go into Instagram.
Yes, they know right from wrong, but a 10-year-old kid, man, he's still developing. He doesn't really know what the world is about. He doesn't know social structures and how we, judge each other and stuff like that. So,
right.
I'm sorry, are you looking at the page?
Yeah,
With
my
that
bad,
face?
my
Is it
bad,
bad?
my
Okay.
bad.
Can I
It's
see
not
it?
bad.
Yo, do me a favor.
Then-
I
Is
want.
it
Then why
bad?
would they ask the
It's
question?
bad.
Okay,
It's not
do me a favor,
good.
Curtis. Can you pull up her Instagram?
What
bro?
type of permission do you?
Why
So what
are
do you?
we
Hold on, hold on.
putting
Let
up
me
my
ask you a question.
Is it bad?
What are you
Well,
telling
first of
your?
all, this is
What
no
are
pig, though.
what
I
are
ain't
you
gonna lie.
telling
Is it the
your
candy?
child? Like, why? What's the talk about?
Okay, maybe I miss.
So I
I'm not
could-
saying.
shout out
I'm
to
not
his son,
saying
too.
that.
His son-
Look, number one, my son
Oh,
and I don't have conversations about Instagram. My son and I have conversations about what he wants to do for the future and how can
Yeah, but you
What
talked
his
about the
goal-
Instagram, so I want to
yeah,
understand.
like for
what
example,
do you
like
mean?
I don't think that he would have a problem with it.
But what?
That's
you,
what I'm
are-
saying.
What are you asking him? I want to understand.
I'm not
you.
asking him. I'm not pulling up a picture. Be like, hey, babe, can I
Okay,
post this on
so
Instagram?
what are you asking? Because you said you asked him or you talked to him about it.
Like I would say, hey, like what do you think about, like, for example, like if I were to post a picture with a bikini, for example, would that bother you? And he would be like, no, mom, it's okay.
Bro, he's a 10-year-old kid. You disagreed with us earlier when we were talking to her that like the kids don't know shit.
No, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying I care about the image that I put out there for my son.
But he's 10 years old. He hasn't felt the repercussions. He
Correct,
doesn't
because
know.
I don't put him in a sexualized perspective or anything like that.
But if his friends saw that and was like, "Yo, look, I
His
can
friends
see,"
don't have
I can see your
Instagram.
little
Okay, but when
bikini,
he gets a
bro.
bit, like, let's say when he gets 14, when he does
Right.
get an Instagram, are you gonna let your kid follow you on Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why
Okay.
not?
I think that's what they're kind of asking.
I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why it would be wrong.
I don't either. I don't know what your page looks like.
Yo, if-
that's-
I'm
look,
not gonna lie, bro. She has some really good pics as far as like there's pictures with you like fully clothed and you look good fully clothed. I think the problem is that the chat clearly saw the ones where you weren't fully clothed.
Right. Like
And-
they had to scroll way back. Like
well, to be fair, because I haven't seen your Instagram page.
Right.
Hey, I got the Instagram page.
Okay,
pulled up.
yeah, go ahead and pull it up, bro.
Yeah, what's way back?
I don't know.
I-
Can we like not? Why is it here? Why is my Instagram?
the chat,
like, no?
the chat's already seen it.
You're a
Yeah,
hot
Yeah, but
mom,
that's
though.
fine. I don't
Okay.
feel okay with that.
you want to take it down?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank
Cool.
you.
Okay. What I'm saying, my question is,
If they want to go on their own and they want to look at it, that's fine.
okay. Shout out to the chat too. But make sure you guys like the video, man. I have a question for you though.
Yeah.
Because I actually seen your pictures. If I was single, I would automatically like think I'm a DM her.
Right.
What type of men do you think that you're attracting with what you're showing on IG?
I'm not posting on IG to attract any men.
But what do you think you're attracting?
But I'm not.
It's fine.
Trying
You're
to-
not looking for a guy that's. We understand that.
Right.
What do you think guys see when they look at your Instagram?
Well,
What
that's
are
not
they
co-
looking-
That's not
that's
my
not necessarily
problem what
true,
they
though.
see.
Hold on, that's not necessarily true though, but I'm gonna tell you why. No offense to you,
Right.
but
No, I
if-
understand
hold
what
on,
you're saying,
if
but she's not
hold
gonna
on.
get through the
if
point.
you really meant that, what you just said, that you're not posting to attract guys,
Mhm.
those bikini pictures would just be on your camera roll, and I'm gonna tell you why.
No, because I love myself enough. I'm from an island. Like it's very normal for us to be in bikinis all day, all the time. Like summer is like all the time, and I live in Miami. It's
Okay.
part of the culture here.
Well, here's
So I'm not
Hurrah!
doing it for.
Here's the thing. I don't want to call you a delulu, but sometimes women are so detached from reality because you only see things the way
I'm
women
detached
see
from
things.
what reality though?
Okay, I'm gonna explain it to you.
Right.
And
Because in
what
my
I-
world, I guess my whatever I live in, that's the reality that I
And
create
that's
for
fine.
myself. And I expect the best from people. So I'm not expecting people to go on my page
Okay.
and be like, oh, she's this or that, because I don't do that to other
Okay.
people.
But you
So
know what I tell my girlfriend when she's not with me?
what?
Lock your car doors. No matter where you go.
Right.
Why? Because I understand maybe it may not happen, but reality is it could happen, right?
Correct.
So
And I'm
Right.
sorry.
And we go
You
back to
said you don't post pictures for that reason. However, you know what men think.
Absolutely.
You
That was my
know
point.
How men
we
react.
just
to-
agreed. We just agreed on the fact that men and women think completely different.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is,
So
you
you
know
saying
what the
that I-
response is
no,
gonna
I
be.
don't. I
You
don't.
know what the response is
hold
gonna be
on,
when you
I
post
don't
those
care.
You're dirty,
pictures.
correct? You're not clueless. You're
Yeah,
a smart
you're a
girl.
smart
correct,
woman.
but I
You're a smart
don't.
woman,
I don't
so don't
care.
act. So don't act.
I'm not
clueless.
acting.
Okay,
I'm
but
But
just
just don't
saying.
care. Hold on. Don't not caring and
That's
not
true.
understanding
That's
are two
true.
different
Right.
things.
Right.
that's absolutely true.
No, but like the way that she worded it, she made it seem like I'm posting it just to get a reaction out of
No,
people.
no, no,
Hold
the
on,
way
Or
hold on,
that
hold
I
on.
know.
see-
I'm
But-
not posting it
Hold
to
on,
get a reaction out of anybody.
but two things can be true.
yeah.
You could be posting it because you like it, but you also know a byproduct of you posting a bikini pic is you getting validation.
just
Correct.
like you having an opinion gets you to call people,
Listen,
like gets people
you-
to call you
on
certain
your
things.
on your page, you have pictures with Ferraris, and
Lamborghinis,
and Lamborghinis,
stuff like
and
yachts.
you could sit here and say,
Private
I'm
jets.
just you can sit here and say, I'm just posting it for me. In reality, I know girls are gonna look at your page and say, this
Yes.
guy has all these cars,
Yes.
he owns his business, and he works with luxury, jets, and they're gonna be more likely to message you. Even though girls, we all know
So
this.
is that why you
girls
do it?
girls almost never DM guys. We know this.
Correct.
It's really rare. Okay. And so you would be more likely to get DMs than me. All I have on my page is unfiltered, right? So what I'm saying is you may not be doing it because you're trying to get validation from guys, but that's just something that comes with it, right? It just comes with it. And as smart of a woman as
Just
you
like
are,
me driving comes with me potentially getting into a car accident. I don't see the correlation.
what do you mean?
Wait, hold on. You just gave the correlation.
Exactly. You just going out there, but I'm not going driving thinking, you know what? I might get in
But
an
you-
accident.
but it's a
I might get in
possibility.
an
But it's a
accident.
possibility.
Correct. But I'm not doing it. I'm not thinking about that every time I drive, just like I don't think about that every time I
So
post
you
a
don't.
picture.
So you don't look to the side before you switch lanes. So you don't drive thinking
Cor-
about.
Correct. But I'm not
think-
going at it thinking that I'm going to get into an accident.
Here's how I know that you're wrong about that.
Okay. tell me.
Because if it were true, because I like here's how I know, right? There's some girls that you go to their Instagram and you're like, why is the quality of her pictures so bad? I see some girls in person, I'm like, you look way better in person than your IG, because those girls don't care about IG. They don't care about angles and lighting, and I'm gonna crop this, and this gotta be this specific picture, and this one's gonna be number 3. You don't seem like that type of person. As a matter of
Right.
fact, I just went through your IG. You're very detail oriented. That's how I know that you do care about
Just
what
the
you're
same way
posting.
that you are detail oriented about having cameras and having the right lighting and having the microphone and having everything that you do in life should be a representation
But you're
of who
proving
you
my
are.
point.
Yeah, but
You're
he's
proving my point.
monetizing out of this. So what? You're monetizing out of your body?
I'm not monetizing out of my body. I'm monetizing out of the person that I am. It gets me business opportunities and my brand.
Okay. So listen, with
Mhm.
that being said, you literally just proved our point. When I'm
Right.
saying you posting those pictures, you're more likely to attract a certain caliber of guys.
But I'm not doing it to attract men. We go back to the same thing. Posting things, you get invited to, like, for example, restaurants to post
Which
pictures and
opens
write
opportunities.
reviews about restaurants, about places in Miami, about spas, about things like that. That's why I do it.
I want to clarify. It's not a bad thing.
No,
Yeah.
but
Hold
I'm
on.
just saying,
But
like,
it's
I'm
Hold on. She just agreed that she does it for something. She's saying
right.
you do it because you know what type of guys you're gonna attract. You know the guy. First
I
of all,
didn't say because of the type of guy.
well, you
that
just
I'm
said you're gonna get
attract.
invited to.
By the extension, that's what it is, though.
Okay, I can agree to that.
Okay, but it's
Listen,
By
this is-
extension, but not intentionally.
this is womanese, right? It's like you have to go around all of this just to get to the main point, which we already know the main point.
yes.
And again, it may seem like we're getting on you. It's just for
No, I don't.
think-
I don't feel threatened at all, or like you're getting on me. You're
I just think men are just so straightforward,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Right.
like you're indirectly agreeing with us, but you just don't want to directly agree with us.
Yeah,
it's not that
like,
I don't directly want, because what you're saying implies that I'm doing it to get the attention
No,
of
no,
certain
no, no,
men.
no.
So
Really?
I want to make sure that that's not
I
it.
want
David
you to
Jones
agree.
donated $10. If you're posting bikini pictures just for fun, then would you be okay with your boyfriend posting near naked pictures of himself and women DM him as a result, right?
If that's what it is, then whatever.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, hold on. Let me ask you a question then. If you had a husband or whatever, him liking a girl in a bikini, is like her photo, would you see that as bad?
No.
All right, well,
Okay, here's the
Well,
thing.
then,
Most
yeah, you're
women
gone.
would say
Yeah,
that's something.
that's a problem.
I'm telling you right now, she wouldn't like me. I purposely, first of
But
all,
that's okay
if you're-
because, like I said, look, it doesn't translate to anything about our relationship.
It does.
You know.
It does. He wants to fuck that girl.
oh,
Yep.
well, yeah.
He's being blatant.
If
So
I-
blatant.
she
about it.
knows.
Okay.
He likes the
she-
way she
listen,
looks in that picture.
Listen,
Yeah.
I don't like pictures at all. You could be like someone we really rock with on the show.
Yeah.
Recently, Naoli, Noel,
Noel,
she
yeah.
got engaged.
Oh, she did.
She got
Oh,
engaged.
congrats.
She did.
Yo,
But
she
hey,
deserved it.
yes,
She
I
deserved it.
know.
No,
It
that
was
a good
it was
girl.
in Paris, right?
For real?
Bro,
Yo,
I,
shout out
that
to
was the
Noel.
first time I was tempted to like a picture.
Nah, she deserved
No, you
it though.
did. You
She-
did
Oh,
actually.
I did.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
but that's
But-
fine
but-
because me too.
but it was because I was like, if my girl see, because Instagram has that.
Yeah, they'll say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Shit.
But I was like, if she sees it, she knows I'm not. There's no malicious like
Correct.
backstory to this. There's no bad intentions. It's just me. I don't like pictures, bro. I think men should not be liking pictures. I think that's
agree.
horrible.
Yes,
You know, first of
yes.
all, we're giving girls all this free validation. Their
Mhm.
egos are, exploding. And first of all, bro, it's disrespectful. If you're in a relationship, it's disrespectful.
Definitely, if
You
you're doing
can-
it
Yeah.
publicly like
say,
that.
say whatever you want, bro. If you're liking bikini pics, bro, you're essentially telling this woman, yeah, I rock with that.
Yeah.
I'm cool with
Mhm.
that, right? So yeah, and here's another thing. I don't understand why women come on here and low-key agree with what I'm saying, but they're like, I can't give you this point because
I
I
told
just
you
can't.
the vocabulary and the concept.
I don't-
Sometimes you're right and sometimes you're wrong. Right now, I'm like, okay,
I'm
yes.
never wrong.
Okay.
Let me stop. Go
Fair
ahead.
game.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, yeah, I think that's what I mean. Is that's why it's important to be contextual and like use the right vocabulary.
Right.
But I don't agree with what we're talking about right
Okay.
Wait, you don't agree with us, or you
now.
don't
No,
agree
no,
with what
with
she's
like
saying?
what she's saying. If my boyfriend likes a girl's picture on Instagram, I'm gonna be like, why are you
Yeah.
liking
How
it?
about the point before that?
Yeah.
Do you feel, because I don't know what your Instagram looks like, right?
Pull up my Instagram.
All right, pull up her Instagram real quick,
Oh,
man.
she's confident.
What's your Instagram again?
My name Candela
Candela
V Cordoba.
Do you have a
Cordova.
boyfriend?
Guys, make sure
Yeah, I have a boyfriend.
you have a boy. Okay, shout out to you. Shout out to your boyfriend too. Listen,
He's watching it.
I will always say this, right? A woman is a reflection of her man. She right here, this girl right here she could go leave right here. She could leave the studio. She's a reflection of me. I tell her all the time. It doesn't matter if you're in Publix or at your
Mhm.
mom's house.
Mhm.
You're a reflection of me. You
Mhm.
reflect me, right?
Mhm.
Shout out to the super chatters, man. Whoa, hold up, go up a little bit. That one middle pick right there. That little. There's a little.
It's
There's
cute.
a little.
No,
It
I'm
is
looking
really
at
cute.
it.
Okay, so here's my thing because that's why I don't disagree with you. I know what I get out of my Instagram. My
Okay.
thing is I know that there's men, right? Irrelevant. That's true.
Right.
My boyfriend knows that. We've gone through our DMs together. It's always gonna happen. I can't avoid that. I could delete them and ignore them and do whatever, and that's it. But for me, it's more like my Instagram is more like where I post like my fashion stuff, my cute like outfit photos. That's what I get out of it, and I get like brand ambassador kind of
Okay.
thing. So that's
Okay.
my
Right.
take. From
But here's
that.
my thing, right?
Mhm.
My girl doesn't need brand ambassadors because she's taken care of.
Oh, see, yeah,
Right?
no.
So my girl's good. And what I would say is, even though I'm not trying to judge you right now,
Mhm.
these pictures are saying, hey guys, there's a part of me that is open to dressing like this. And guys don't read it as she's just trying to get ambassadors and deals and
Right.
sponsorships. Guys, that dress picture right there, I'm thinking I want to send her a DM.
Word.
Mhm.
Right? Because if you could look like that, I want to take you out one night where you
Mhm.
could look like that for me, and then we see what happens from there.
Right.
And on
But
top of
that's why
that,
I
you
have
don't
a
have your
boyfriend.
boyfriend, but you don't have your boyfriend on your Instagram.
What? Yes, I do. He's on there.
Is
Open
he
it.
is he on there, Curtis?
Yes, I have a
Curtis,
Christmas
put it
photo
on the
with him.
screen, homie, because I can't see it, man.
Look,
is-
Christmas right there.
Oh shit! But the back of his head.
It has
Come on,
highlights.
bro. That looks, bro.
No.
I'm gonna think that's your fucking brother.
Bro.
Come on, bro.
There has to. Hold on.
Okay.
That's another one.
And
She
that's
can't
ano-
find
Wait,
it.
wait, stop. We've only been together for like a year, okay? But he's on there.
Wait,
It's
a
not like-
year's a long time.
Wait. I have a whole story for him.
Right,
That's
they're not,
why.
guys are not going through the story.
Right,
Yes,
but
they
remember,
are.
first of all, yes, they are.
Yes,
and
they
number
are.
two, I just said my Instagram isn't just dedicated to that. It's for other things.
I understand it. Yeah.
So for me, it's like, and like I said, my boyfriend, who is 100% watching,
Yeah.
he knows and he's comfortable with like what I have. And I know that it might look another way for other men, but me and my boyfriend, like, we're totally mutually okay. Like I said, I have my pictures of like certain things that I wear, but it's not. He knows I'm not trying to call out to somebody like that's.
If your boyfriend said delete those, would you delete it?
100%,
I
I'll
think so.
delete it.
I think
Alright,
so
cool.
too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Here's what I would say. First of all, a year is a pretty long time.
Yes.
You
You
think?
just
Yeah.
kind of
Everyone tells me it's very short, but
Well,
I'm like,
yeah,
I
well,
think it's a long
And
time
when
too.
when they're comparing like 10-year relationships, yes, it
I
is a
guess
short
you're
time, but most relationships don't last 6 months.
Yeah, I was in a
Right.
3-month relationship.
And
that shit felt long.
and yeah,
'Cause
that
you
was
asked for her
and that
body.
was the longest he's
First
been
red
in.
flag.
By the way, 3 months was the longest, right?
Mhm.
But I would say this: you've been here a
I'll
few
vote
times
for
now, right?
Mhm.
And the way you carry yourself well, which
Mhm.
is a huge reflection on the man you're dating, right? I can show the way you respect them, the way you talk. You're also not combative. You're not argumentative. You're not a masculine girl. So shout out to him, okay? If he's watching, shout out to you. But make
He's
sure
watching.
you subscribe, brother. Your girl's a good girl, but I will say that you have to take into consideration he knows what it is,
Mhm.
and that's cool. But all the guys that are coming,
Yeah.
they don't know what it is. And
Mhm.
also, no offense to you ladies, but guys don't give a fuck if you have a boyfriend.
They don't.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Guys
That is
don't
true.
give
That
a
shit is
fuck.
ruthless.
Here's how guys see it, right? If your girl hits me up, it's fair game. If your girl likes my pic but didn't reply to me, it's fair game.
Correct.
If your girl's dressing like that, it's fair game. If you're not on a profile, it's fair game. Like I will go to you ever done this as a man? Gone on a cute girl's pictures. I'm sorry, hit her Instagram, seen her kissing her man, and completely get turned off.
Yes. Yes.
Completely get turned off.
And, I'm
And,
like,
and
"Alright,
you're like, bro,
fuck this shit."
first of all, you're like, bro, she's a baddie. How's she with him?
Can't do it.
And you're just like, I'm not even gonna go in there because I know I gotta compete.
Yeah, I know. I'm not gonna waste my time.
But if the guy's
Ugly,
in a
you're
story,
nerdy, you're some shit.
I'm like, bro, he's not important enough to be on the main profile.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes it may just because the way I think, I'm like, it may be an on and off thing. Maybe, maybe it's not steady. You never know. So I'm thinking the way I do it is you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Correct.
I'm going to take that shot. And what if you and him are arguing, right?
Mm.
Let's say, hypothetically,
Mhm.
you and him get into an argument. And what a lot of girls do is they go straight to IG. Why?
Delete the pictures.
They delete,
and
they archive
everything.
shit. They post a song on their story. They'll start accepting all those friend requests. They'll look at the request messages.
Word.
They might like a few. They're essentially immediate. They're so fast looking for quick attention,
Mhm.
right?
Validation.
Here's what happens to men when we break up and we go through. We isolate. We go into depression. We isolate, lock ourselves in a room. I play video games, right? Women go out, club, party. Let me hang out with the friends that I couldn't hang out with, blah, blah, blah. And typically men will eventually end up going out. And once we're out.
Word.
And a woman will come back and say, damn, I went real quick to the club. I did this. I hung out with this person. I fucked this person and I regret it. And by then, you got to come back. And here's the worst thing. And I always tell women all this. I tell her too. Whenever you're going through something with your man, when you break up, that's when I know how you really feel about me. Because that's when people do the shit that you would never expect them to do. They might go back and call an ex. Okay, cool. You went back and called an ex. I know how you really feel about me, right? So when you're mad, that's when you really show your true colors.
Mhm.
Does anyone else have any questions? Anybody here?
I have two now.
What's up? What
I
is
had
it?
none. Now I have
Okay.
two. Question one. To this social media thing about posting your boyfriends. When in a relationship, is it okay or should you start posting your significant other?
That's a good question, man.
Honestly, I don't know how to answer that question. so.
I think it's different for men and women. I'm gonna tell you why. Okay. First of all, for me, my page is all work. Okay. Now, if I had a personal page, I wouldn't mind posting her. And I tell her this all the time. I won't post you because it just looks weird. Unfiltered.
Now I was about to be
Let me
judged.
finish. Unfiltered, Jules. Right? It looked really weird, right? But also she knows I am solely in charge for everything that I pay, everything I protect, I provide, I provision, right? So it's like my actual job. This is my career, right? It would look weird for me to post her on my page. How?
It would look weird.
Well, maybe
You
not
do
to you.
sometimes, but it's like when she tags you.
But you
in
said that
like
it
a-
looked-
Oh no, but that's like a story.
But story is different.
Like the other day when we were in a McLaren, I like,
okay,
but
yeah.
it's not like I'm just posting Jules' face with a heart on it. That's different, right?
Right.
Me and a McLaren, cool. Me and my girl in a McLaren, right? It's different. Now, for a woman, it's different because again, the expectation isn't the same. I don't.
So
You don't have
Jules-
a personal account?
Jules, can you
No, I
answer
don't.
this?
I don't.
What?
My question that I asked them: when in a relationship should you or is it acceptable to post your significant other?
Well, if you are starting a relationship, you already have to. If that's an actual relationship, you already have to cut off any other options that you have on the plate. And then I would say
That's a good point.
to start posting that person, it's really on that period
That's
of
a good
time.
point.
It's really on that period of time that you are getting to know them. If by the first and second month you already vetted them to be a really good person and that you see this going somewhere, go ahead and post everything that you want.
Here's the
But
thing, right?
until you vetted that person to the right standards of what you want in a relationship, don't post them. But
Hold on.
when-
Here's the thing, right? When you post someone on your page, you're telling the world, this is my person.
Mhm.
And those hoes that you were entertaining, they may not say anything, but they know what it is.
Yeah.
They know we've been there,
Yeah.
right? We've all been there where we posted someone, and in the back of my mind, you're like, yo, with that person I was talking to, I know they're gonna feel some type of way.
Mhm.
So my thing is this: I think it's different for men and women, but I think for the man, I just don't feel like men necessarily have to post their girls.
No,
Nah,
right?
that's
you-
such a
I
in
know.
women, that's such a red flag. Like I know girls or like friends of mine that like they're talking to dudes for however amount of time, and then they start getting into a relationship with them and they will not post them. And for a girl, that's very weird. Like for you to not announce to everyone also that you're off
Mhm.
limits, because it might be rare that a girl DM them, but girls sometimes do.
Girls still.
And if they don't DM
Hey,
you,
look.
and if they don't
Okay.
DM you when you see them in person, they immediately are like
Okay.
they don't know that you.
Well,
have a
ladies, I'm
girlfriend.
gonna inform you on something real quick. You don't want your guy to post you because look, what happens when you post the girl as a guy,
happens?
girls are gonna start hitting you up.
That's so true,
They're gonna start hitting you up
ladies. That is
real quick.
so true.
Wait. So what
Hold
you're
on.
saying
It's
is
like reverse.
yeah.
Hold on, no. Listen, he's telling the truth. There's something about when a girl knows that this guy has a girlfriend. It's almost like
They want to be friends with a
It
girlfriend.
complete no.
They get
No,
like
it's
more.
like,
they're
what does he
attracted-
have that she's with him?
Yes.
Like, I'm.
Yes.
Yeah, that's their
Yes.
mentality.
They get it. I would say it's curiosity,
Correct.
Yeah.
right? I
Mhm.
would say like you notice women are always watching like murder films and shit like that. They're like, yo, what happened?
yeah,
yeah.
What happened? Right? Like what he killed 30 people, but you just want to know how and why, right?
Mhm.
So when
What was the situation? How did he
Yes,
grow up? What
right?
was his favorite color?
so when they see you post, shout out to the super chatters,
If a
man.
girl has an Instagram, I wouldn't even take her seriously. I'm 28. I don't got time for social media games. Wifey material is a girl with no Instagram.
That is
Yo,
true.
that is facts.
That is true.
factual, yeah.
You know what? Shout out to
Like if
your mod
if she
controller.
has no business, then why do you have an Instagram? Delete that shit.
Real quick, hold on. Shout out to your mod controller. Here's the thing, right? And this is why he's right, mod controller. Shout out to you, because even though I just gave you, your flowers on being a good woman and representing your man well, what he's saying is the fact that you have an Instagram is giving other men an opportunity to reach you, right? Now, here's another thing.
Okay.
You and your man might be good,
Mhm.
but someone from Dubai hits you up. He's a multimillionaire. You know now, even though you're good with your man, in the back of your mind, there's a millionaire that wants me, and that is a seed of doubt that you're like, well, what if I was with the millionaire? Of course, you're not going to leave your man for a millionaire, but what if I did, right? And then every time you get into an argument, well, there's a millionaire that wants me out there somewhere, right? It's kind of like what I said earlier with the kids, where when you plant the seed, you're not necessarily putting a flower there, but the seed is there, and now potentially it could grow, right?
Correct.
So that's what happens with social media. And I tell women all the time, they're like, oh, I go on Rumble. I'm sorry, not Rumble, Bumble and Hinge and Tinder. I'm like, Instagram's the #1 dating website in the world. More people meet on Instagram than on any other place. So if you have an Instagram and you're showing, pictures like you, I guarantee your DMs are crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're not a bad looking woman. And
On IG.
yeah,
What you mean on IG?
bro,
No, I'm saying like on
What?
IG she looks good.
bro, why would you say that, bro?
What the fuck? I
It's
said
the
on
way,
IG.
Basil. It's the way
Oh,
you
no, my
said
bad, I was
it. The
doing
way
something.
the way
Bro.
it came out was she looks good on Instagram, but
Basil.
not in person.
You know
That's
what?
the way
Okay,
it came
You know
out.
what? I think I just figured what the women mean about the delivery.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
see.
Oh, was that bad
You
delivery?
see- Yes.
Bro,
Oh, I-
Basil, you basically just said she looks good on Instagram, but she
I mean,
looks
it's-
like
hold on,
trash
hold on,
right
hold on.
now.
So
Is she attractive?
Hold on, no,
We can
you
play the rating game. We can play the rating game.
Don't
No,
ask
let's
them.
play the rating
Hold on.
game.
Don't ask
Yeah,
them.
that's
Hold on,
a
hold on.
perfect time to play the rating
Don't
game.
ask her if she's unattractive.
No,
You
we
need to
can
ask
play the
yourself.
rating game. I want to play the rating
Hold on,
game.
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Because I think she would find her attractive. That's
Yeah.
a no-brainer. Do you find her attractive?
Yes, she's attractive.
Okay, so then why would you say I took offense to that?
would you say?
I took offense to that.
No, she looks good on Instagram. What do you mean?
I said she looks good
Yeah, on
on
Instagram.
Instagram.
And
Yeah,
you're
on
like,
Instagram.
yeah, on Instagram.
Yeah,
Like-
it's not like an elaborate
Put a period after that.
I think y'all are taking out a personal.
Okay, let me. How about this? Let's ask her. Did you take offense to that?
No, you understood what I was saying.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're mature, but anybody else could they have taken offense to that?
I cannot speak for everybody.
Mhm.
I
We
didn't
took
take.
offense.
I didn't take offense to that at all.
Wait a minute.
All right,
I
shout out
didn't.
to you real quick. Shout out to ZM, man. ZM says, guys, not all women are Instagram influencers. Some of us are just normal women with private pages, LOL, who use it for normal stuff, LOL. ZM, shout out to you, man. I want to show you some love. You're amazing. Thank you so much for rocking with us. Now here's the thing, right? I've seen girls with 71 followers, and yes, that woman could be wifey. Maybe all 71 people are like her schoolmates and her teachers and her friends and her family. Shit, 71 people is not that hard to get, right? If you've lived for 25 years, right? Yes, there are good women out there, especially the ones with private pages. I will say, I typically almost all the girls that follow us and support us on this, they're all like private pages. They all have like they're modest women. You know, they're probably mothers and they're married.
Oh, you mean on the chat?
Yeah, in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, yes.
Yeah, like they're not out here, you know,
Definitely
showing
ZM,
up.
shit.
Yeah.
No,
they're-
I showed you
yeah.
her
She
page
showed
today.
me ZM today for the first time. She was like, "This is ZM," and I was like, "Oh, that's dope." ZM was like completely covered up, but she obviously looks elegant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she's not in a bikini. You know. Now imagine if she had shown me a picture of her in a bikini. I'm automatically just gonna say, "Okay, cool, that's cool," but like, my first impressions are very important. Okay, that would have been my first impression of her. Shout out to you, ZM. Much love. Let me see. Any other questions from the ladies? Any other ones? Okay, you said you had two, right? What was
Yeah,
the
that was
second
one.
one?
That was one.
Yeah.
That was one.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay. In a relationship, is it important for the man and the woman to spend time together, and how much time is
You're gonna
not
get me in
too
trouble.
much time?
You're gonna get me in trouble on this one. Bro.
Sorry, Eric.
You're gonna get me in trouble on this one, bro.
Too much time together.
I mean,
I
like,
know. I understand what you're saying.
or is,
it
is there,
depends
is there
on the
like
relationship.
a too little or too
Yes.
much?
Yes, there is. There's one of both. Like
Okay.
two of those are bad. Like for instance, I'm on 2 hours of sleep, but I work every day, all day long. And there's times where, you know, she'll sit here and she'll tell me like, "Can we spend some time?" And I'm like, "Yeah, baby, I got you. I just gotta finish, you know, doing some work." And I can already see that it does take a huge, it's taking an impact on the relationship, right? Like when we first met, you remember movies every day,
Yeah.
you know, going out on dates. And then it was like, listen, I told her, I gotta buckle down and really get to work in order for me to be able to provide for you and do what I want to do long term. I know I can provide for you now, but long term, you know, the mansion and the cars and the family and all that, like I need to really get to work. And she understood that, right? So, you know, the agreement was, well, you'll be with me every day, all day. So that's cool. But I'm gonna be busy as hell, which is what I am. I'm busy all day long. I'm busy. Okay. So that's why I'm like, yo, you're gonna get me in trouble. Cause literally, like you know, our time spending time together is like we go get some food. And even then I'm still working. So and then there's the opposite where you're spending too much time. Like during COVID, that's when people were divorcing the most. You know, during COVID, people were breaking up the most because you have relationships that were forced to like be together, spend so much time together, and people are like, you know what? I actually don't fucking like you. Like, I actually don't like living with you every single day. I can't go like you're annoying, right?
You start
It's
hearing
like
each other's
bad, but it was
ideas.
kind of necessary.
Yeah,
Because
and-
some people are in relationships that you already like. Like there are people who are in those relationships and they don't even really know who they're with. So I
Yeah.
feel like that's also important. Like that they had that time to really get to know because it's important. Like
That's a really good point. So there's a saying, everything in moderation, right? Too much of a good thing is a bad thing. And obviously, you know, bad things are bad things, but too much of a good thing is a bad thing. You can't sit here and go to the gym 24/7. Like it's not good for you, you know? Yes, okay, cool. Like, you know, you can say I go to the gym 24/7, but you're not there 24/7. If you were going 24/7, like when are you going to sleep? When are you going to eat? Where's your social life? Right? So you have to moderate things. Shout out to you. That was actually a really good question. I want to read some of the other ones from the chat. I know the chat. So Snowball, shout out to Snowball. He says, no question, just a comment. Ladies, please don't procreate. Please. Damn, the chat.
Yeah,
This was-
I'm in that shirt.
This was from a little way back. Maybe they, you know, they weren't like liking some of your answers, I guess. Adam Heckler says, why should I fight for you if you won't fight for your purity? That is a really good fucking question. Ladies, why should, okay, I'll rephrase that. Why should a man value you if you didn't value yourself? If you're not a virgin, you didn't value yourself to an extent. And I understand maybe, you know, some of you guys don't have 30, 40, 50 bodies like most of the girls that come on this show. But if you didn't value yourself, why should I value you?
Can I answer?
Yeah.
Because I feel like nobody was. If that's the mindset that he has,
He's toxic.
no, I don't. I mean, look, I don't think it's toxic. Everybody has their view.
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna stand against it, right? Like that's fine. But I also won't be with someone
Is
who
your
thinks
is your
go-
man body number 3?
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa! You hesitated.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I was.
Yeah,
like,
that was
processing.
that's
I'm
easy.
sorry.
That's
I'm sorry.
easy math.
No,
2
sorry.
plus 1
Sorry.
is
Yes.
3.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Listen, 3 is you're Virgin Mary compared to most girls that come on this podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. Shout out to the super
Jules
chatters
can
real quick.
choose a game you all want to play.
Okay, Jules can choose again. Okay, cool. Who was that from?
Basil.
From Basil? Okay. That's from Basil. Okay, cool. Real quick. What I'll say is the way I look at it is if you're like the way that we were before her, bro.
We were on some
we were on some
savage.
every girl that came to because we used to have a different
So
setup.
you were a bad influence on him
I
before
was.
Jules came into the picture.
Yeah, I was. I
Makes
was a
sense.
really bad.
So
I
it's
was.
not just girls are bad influences on their
absolutely.
friends. Guys are also bad
but here's the
influences
thing.
on their friends.
You're right.
So much
but-
so he got a girlfriend after he got a
Let me
girlfriend.
finish.
Oh,
Okay. Let me finish. Let me
And a
finish.
good influence.
Let me finish.
But a bad
but
girl.
here's
but
the thing.
Got it. Okay.
But listen, let me finish. Shout out to the super chat.
If you became a millionaire, would you make your profile private?
Okay, question for you. If you became a millionaire, would you make your profile private? Yes or no?
Probably. And if I had a boyfriend that had a problem with it, I'd probably delete it too.
Yeah.
It's not a problem.
Okay, cool.
If it was providing for me, of course.
Providing for you. And I think and this is because when a man provides for you, you naturally just go into your femininity, right? Like
Correct.
you don't have to like pay bills, you don't have to go work, you don't have to go compete, you don't have to argue with people. You're just chilling, bro. And that's when a woman's her most beautiful, right? So shout out to that super chat real quick. So yes, men can be negative influences, but here's the thing: we don't pay the same price you do,
Fact.
right?
I understand.
So
that.
yes, while I can be a negative influence, you having 45 bodies and me having 45 bodies is
It's two
two
totally
different
different
things,
things.
right?
Yeah.
Society doesn't look at us the same way, right? Because my 45 bodies, I earned them. They're like Pokemon badges. You went out there and just got them for free. Right? Did that? Am I speaking Chinese? Does everyone?
Not the Pokemon.
No one knows what a Pokemon badge is.
Yeah.
We know what a Pokemon badge is. I just think the comparison. Yeah, that's like.
Well, I had to go earn. I had to fight for those. You know how many guys are in her DMs and her DM and her DM. I have to compete with those guys. It doesn't matter how many girls are in my DM. If you wanted to have sex, we could have sex. That's just how easy
Sure.
it is. So our value is just so much different. Does that make sense? Shout out to the super chatters, man. Shout out to the chat too. You guys are on the road today. We'll play that game in a second. I love Plan Pray. Shout out to you. Says, ladies, shit. Okay, real quick before we move on. Do you understand what I was saying about how you having two bodies could make it like most guys are accepting of 3 bodies.
Right.
Most guys are not accepting of 30
like
bodies,
30.
right?
I know.
And the thing is, most women today have 30 bodies compared to 3,
Exactly.
right? So the way I look at it is, why should I respect you? Like we had a question yesterday where I said, let's say I just met you, right? And you've been through a lot of relationships, you've been through drama and all this stuff. And now you want to be celibate for a whole year. But I'm coming to you and I realize you've had so much sex with so many sexual partners. Why should I wait a year to have sex with you? Why?
So, okay, so if I see where I have done wrong in my past,
Mm-hmm.
and there's only one way to fix that to get the kind of guy I'm looking for,
Mm-hmm.
if I do go do celibacy for a year or whatever, my mindset's going to change. I'm going to learn. I'm going to be able to transition myself into the woman I want to be. And if you are the kind of man that I'm looking for, you'll appreciate the fact that
that's where you
I'm
go
wanting
wrong.
to change.
That's where you go wrong. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because women sit here and say, well, if he doesn't wait, he's not the man for me.
I didn't say if you didn't wait.
Oh, let me finish. They say, oh, he's toxic. But the way men are looking at it is, why couldn't you do that before you fucked all those guys? I'm coming into your life really being invested into you. I want to be with you, and I really mean it. And now I have to pay for the fucking guys that you fucked. I got to deal with their trauma, right? it's not fair to the man, and that's all I'm saying. It's just not fair to the man. That's how men look at it. You fuck 30 guys, and I have to wait a year.
Yeah, that's well, fuck
You
suck,
fuck
this shit.
30
But
guys.
honestly,
30 guys
if-
fucked you.
You fucked
If
first
I'm
night for one
going
guy.
celibate,
Right.
if I'm going celibate,
Shout out to the
though,
super chatters real
Why do
quick.
you complain about trash men, but disrespect the men who treat you with respect?
That is a good question too, man. Anybody want to take that one real quick?
I feel like what we're talking about. is the
Who
same
here?
thing.
Who here looks like they disrespect good men? In your opinion, her? Really? What about you? Who?
Yeah, her.
Her?
For sure.
You know what?
Wait, can I pick multiple?
No, just one.
Oh, yeah.
The reason why I would say I'm gonna be honest with you. The reason why I would also pick you is because based off your Instagram, I think that you attract a certain type of guy.
Yeah. Well, and your answers.
And also I think you're really smart. And I think that you're the type of woman that you're like, you know what? I think you have the pick of the litter.
Are you Cuban?
If I'm being honest.
Yeah, so you're argumentative just to be argumentative.
And
That's part of the culture.
Yeah. So I would say that you probably would, out of all the ladies here, okay?
But I don't think I would disrespect a good man, really. I really am appreciative of good men. I honestly, I
But
was
here's-
lucky enough to be raised by an amazing dad. Was he perfect? Absolutely
Okay,
not.
but here's a problem, right?
Mhm.
I agree with that. And I think I said this earlier. A good man is naturally going to put a woman, she's not going to like this, in her place. Okay? She's not going to like that because it sounds like,
You
oh,
ate.
right?
I'm
But
like, I didn't like
what I mean by that is it's okay. Like the man is supposed to be in the lead, right?
Correct.
Listen, women love when I say I want to pay for the bills, I want to pay for dinner, I want to pay. They love that. And that's leading. But when I say, listen, a man should be able to put you in, oh, what do you mean he should put you? It's the same thing,
Context.
right? It's the same thing. What I'm saying is the right man will put you in your feminine place,
Correct.
right?
He will make you naturally
the
submissive.
issue is
I'm sorry.
No, I say you'll make you naturally submissive.
Right. And that's okay. That's what I'm saying.
But here's the issue.
It's not that I have a problem with that. I'm just saying, like, a lot of men expect a lot of things from
but
women.
here, see,
and
this is
they're
why I didn't
not
want you to cut
even-
me off, bro.
And they're not even putting what they're supposed to be
Okay, but
putting out
here's
there.
the issue. Before you get to that man who's gonna put you in your place, you're going through so many other men that you,
I'm not.
bro. Okay, in general, I don't know
Right.
you, but in general, women are going through so many different men, and then they get to this guy that this guy's like, yo, listen, I'm that dude. I don't know what you've been through, the trauma you've been through, those guys you've been through. I'm telling you, I'm that dude. And those little games you play, I don't play it. It's either you cut that off or I'm gone. I respect that, but you do you. I'm focused on something bigger, right? Those men, like, bro, before I came into her life, bro, I don't know her past like that. I guarantee you she was having her fun as far as like entertaining guys, maybe like through DMs. I guarantee you that, bro. And here's the thing, right? I get, bro, first of all, she's from Miami.
Oh no.
First of all, women.
Oh, no.
Here's what I say: women that are raised in Miami are a different breed. They're a whole different fucking breed, right? What I'm saying is, I guarantee you, she had a whole bunch of dudes in her DMs, and she's probably just like, you know how girls they'll write back and they'll kind of lead you
Yeah,
on.
they'll entertain you just for fun.
They might not fuck you, but they'll lead you on, and it's like, bro, even to me, I don't even like that shit. You know what I mean? So,
But she's looking at you like,
Really, nigga?
well, I don't know. Listen. I can't go back to the past
Well, but
conversations
you're
on
always saying
IG.
how the past is important.
Absolutely, it
So
is.
then why don't you know
but
her
her entertaining guys on IG and her fucking guys is two different things, right?
Mhm.
So what I'm saying back to you is, why should I wait? If you fuck 30 guys, right? Why should I wait a whole year to fuck you? Those guys didn't have to do any of that. They got that for free. In my book, even though maybe they took you out to dinner, they got it for free. And you're gonna make me wait? Fuck no.
Can I say something? You remember when we were talking about like how you can understand where a woman like comes from with curiosity and having like being curious about things? Wouldn't you say that it's also like fair to realize like, okay, maybe this person was just curious on like what sex was and what that kind of relationship would be like? Because a person who's a virgin doesn't know, right? So they have no clue.
Mhm.
So I feel like in this question, when it comes to why you should value that person, is because if it's 1, 2, 3, 4 bodies, I think that that's something to take into consideration. Maybe this person they're not a hoe. They're not trying to like fuck around with everybody, but they were curious and they wanted to explore that.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. At what period does a girl become a hoe? After how many bodies?
I don't call girls hoes like that.
At based off what you're saying,
Based off of what a man would say, I'd say past like 10, like a guy would.
you have a problem with just speaking your mind, right?
Yeah.
If
I
it-
don't call.
I
I don't
feel like you're
consider girls
constantly
hoes.
tiptoeing.
No,
So
I'm
there's no
giving you
girls
my
that are hoe?
genuine.
So
I
there's
don't.
no hoes in the world.
I think I don't like that
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
term.
whoa.
Well,
Are there hoes? Yes or no?
I don't like that term.
but are there hoes? You might
Listen,
not
I
like
don't
the
like
term.
hats, but we have one around here. So what I'm saying is, are there hoes? Yes or no?
Define host. Tell me what a hoe is. I'll tell you if
Bro.
there's hoes.
You're trying to find a loophole.
Are there promiscuous women out there that sleep with
Yeah.
a whole bunch of guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so then there's hoes out there.
I think that again, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I said vocabulary is important because a hoe.
No, but I don't. You see, you're a grown adult, and I
Mhm.
respect your time. I would
Mhm.
expect you to respect my time. I
Mhm.
don't have to break down a word for you to be like, yes, there's hoes out
Yeah,
there.
you know what a hoe is.
I know what you're referring to. I know like that's a term that you use. It's not something that will come out of my mouth.
It's a
You
term
understand?
that
you
everybody
understand it.
uses.
You know
Okay,
the
that's fine.
generalization of
Me,
it.
And even
I'm
if
not
you,
gonna do it
and
just
even
'cause
if,
everybody
and even
does
if you
it.
don't use it like
Mhm.
verbatim, like if you don't use the word, you know what it is.
Yeah.
You know what it means.
Mhm.
I guarantee you've used it before,
Right.
even if you don't use it now.
Yeah.
So you know what it is. So
Yes.
so me having to do the mental gymnastics to try to explain a word to you, it's like it's a waste of time. So
Okay.
after how many bodies does a girl become a hoe?
To a man, maybe like 10.
10.
I don't know,
Okay.
I guess.
What about you, since you're a man? How many?
She got 3 bodies.
Yeah.
She's
Okay.
a hoe.
Here's the thing, right?
You said most men wouldn't care about 2 or 3.
No, I said in comparison to the 30 bodies, we're gonna take the 3
Oh.
bodies, right?
Okay, but you said no, but you also said that most men wouldn't mind.
I said
Come on.
I said most again. I said most mine compared
Right.
to 30
So I'd
are gonna
rather
take the
have
3.
3 than 30.
But most men compared to 3
We weren't
bodies
doing
would
a
take the.
comparison then in that.
Okay,
I'd rather a virgin.
I'm telling you
Of
right.
course, you would rather a virgin.
Okay.
I know that.
Okay,
But,
here's the
but
thing.
in the
Let me-
moment,
let
we
me
weren't
explain-
talking about a
Let me explain
comparison.
something to you, right? Most women would take a millionaire over a guy who's not a millionaire. That's ABC.
That's obvious.
Right?
I know what
Most
you're
guys,
saying is
okay,
right.
most guys would take a virgin over a girl who's not a virgin, even if she
Mhm.
only has one body.
Mm.
The issue is for men, we can only pick from the choices that we have,
Mhm.
right? And so the choices that we have, there's no virgins at this table. So if we had to pick someone here, we're gonna go for the girl who has the less bodies, the girl who's not combative, argumentative, right? I'm gonna be honest, the quiet girl. I'm gonna go for the quiet girl. I like peace. I'm a man. I like peace, right?
Agree.
I love peace. So I would say that for most men, unfortunately, we're not gonna get virgins. Now I've had a chance to be with virgins, but I was like, nah, I'm not the guy for you. I know I'm not gonna be that guy for you, so I'm not gonna take that from you. Good luck. You get me? But that was just me being respectful to her because I've had my chances. I just never did it. I also don't see how guys sleep with virgins and completely fuck them over.
Yeah, I don't
You
get
know,
that either.
I don't get that either.
But usually
but
the
whose fault
younger
is it?
guys, though.
Whose fault is it?
It's the girls because
It's the
she
girl's
opened her
fault.
legs. Wait, hold on. Are you mad about that? You open your
You
legs
said-
unless it's great. Those rare
You
situations, it's
expected
your
her
fault.
to because you went in and you were gonna do that, but you still think it's her fault, even though she was trying to do like okay.
If I want to have
That's
sex with you, hold on.
crazy.
If I
That's
want to have
crazy.
sex with
Hold
you
on,
right
let
now,
her
can I have sex
elaborate
with
on
you?
that real quick. Let her elaborate. Can you explain?
Because why tell me why you think that it's the woman's fault, especially if she was a virgin, because you
If
have
I
been
wanna have
saying this whole time that you want a virgin, but then as soon as she does that for you, let's say obviously like I don't think that you would fuck her over, but another guy would, and that's fact. Like not everyone is committed or
easy.
loyal or any of that.
That's easy. I'm
Okay,
gonna tell you
hold
why.
on.
Why?
If I want to have sex with you right now, can I have sex with you?
No.
But we were.
But you're
we
Hold on,
just
talking
said-
let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Let's say hypothetically speaking, you're a virgin right now,
Mhm.
right? And I come in and you know, we like each other,
Mhm.
and you're like, wow, this guy really likes me, right?
Right.
If you're a virgin and you give yourself up to me after a month, it's not my job to value you. You gave it up to me in a month. That's your job.
Okay,
to,
so now we're
it's
putting
your-
a time on
Well,
it.
in general, right? In general, what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter if it's the first week or the first month or the first year. It's you have the power. Women, you have the power. So when you give the man your power, don't sit there and be like, well, I gave you my power. It was your job to make sure you gave it to the right man. Remember, this
Correct.
whole entire time I've been saying, I know I'm not a regular guy. I know I don't think like a regular guy. I'm the type of guy that, yes, if a girl gave me her virginity right now, based off who I am right now, I would value that. I would cherish that, right? However, 10 years ago, fuck no, I wasn't thinking that way.
That's so crazy because there's men who will literally pretend to be that guy that you're talking about all the way up until they'll wait a year, they'll wait whatever. I know that
Okay,
that's a
whose
thing.
fault? Whose fault is it though?
why? This is what I'm saying is
Whose
I
fault?
don't think it's her fault.
Okay.
Because
Let me tell you why you're wrong, right?
Okay.
Let's say hypothetically speaking, we're dating for a year.
Mhm.
You gave me your virginity.
Mhm.
Well, in that year, if you vetted me the correct way, right? You saw signs. You know what type of guy I am, how I deal with stress, how I deal with anger. You know,
But I just told
you know
you
if I'm
that-
you know if I'm propped, if I'm responsible, you know if I'm a man of character, you know if I'm a man of my word, you know if I take care of my business. These are all character traits that typically in the future this is a good person. I want to be with this type of person.
But you have to acknowledge
listen,
that.
hold on, let me finish. Guys that are like that don't just switch up out of nowhere. Okay, they don't say I'm gonna be like this. I'm gonna change my entire character to be the best man to be able to earn this virginity and then completely drop it after I get it. It doesn't happen like that.
But that's so this is I love how you're like telling me what's right, but like from the woman perspective, I'm telling you that if I myself, who have already slept with 2 other people that I told you was a mistake, that is because these people presented themselves with all the characteristics that you gave me. And then in the end, when it happened, right after that, they were like, bye. So why do men do that?
How long did you vet these guys? That you're
I knew the first one for like 3-4 years.
Okay, well, here, real
Like-
quick, hold on. We had a woman that come on here, right? We had a woman that come on here, and she said, she asked me a question. How do I know that a guy really likes me? How long should I make him wait? I said, make him wait a year. Oh, well, I had a guy that waited 3 years. Okay, so you courted him for 3 years exclusively, just him? Oh no, he was just my friend. He waited for 3. He was your friend. In the meantime, he was fucking other girls. He was entertaining other girls. He was going out on dates. Yes, he's your friend. Yes, he's texting you back. He didn't court you. He didn't date you. He wasn't intentional. That's my favorite word. Intentional, right? When you're courting someone, you're intentional. If I court someone for a whole year and she's a virgin and I get that, I'm never letting that go. I don't give a fuck what happens in the future. We aren't breaking up. I'm too invested into this. I waited too long. I gave you so much of my resources in that time.
A year?
I'm not just going to let you go. I don't know your life, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend I do, but I guarantee you, you didn't do it the right way. You probably knew them and then said, okay, cool, I've known this guy for a year, but it wasn't intentional. And then guess what? Men don't respect things that they don't earn. Okay? My boy right here, he gave me a McLaren, right? And boy, I was fucking that thing up. I was on a highway.
I'm admitting that to you right now, bro.
I was on a highway. I'm doing 140. I'm speeding.
I got a tracker now.
Anyways, bro, listen, I'm being honest. If I had worked for that McLaren and I had to buy that shit, how much does that shit cost?
It was $310. Yeah, carbon fiber all around it.
$310,000 fucking dollars. Don't you think I'm gonna treat that shit better? Don't you think I'm gonna drive it slow? I'm gonna make sure I don't get into an accident. I'm gonna check my blind side. I'm gonna make sure I put the right gas into it. I'm gonna make sure the maintenance is. Bro, when he gave me the McLaren, I was like, yo, let's fucking go. Let's go. But I haven't had a McLaren before. So think like men don't appreciate things that you don't earn, right? You have to make men earn that shit. So when women come on here and they're like, well, what's wrong with me fucking 10 guys last month? Well, they didn't appreciate you. You didn't make it earn. You didn't make them earn it. And where are they now? Well, they're gone, but I don't want to be with them anyways. No, they don't want to be with you. Because a guy who really wants to be with you, it doesn't even matter if you don't want to be with him. You ever see these love stories? The girl doesn't always want to be with the guy, but this dude is so relentless that it's like, oh, fuck it. Like, damn, this nigga, brought the machetes and the marachis, what are they called? And the flowers. And he wrote me 10,000 letters.
He's
and
reliable. I was drunk at a party. He picked me up.
There's something about this guy, right? He's got to be that guy, right? That's just something about earning that shit that men really value it. Now, if you give me that shit for free, bro, listen, Megan Fox could fuck me the first night. And I'd be like, okay, cool. Like, maybe can we do it again? But that's it. That's it. Because inherently, I know this isn't the type of woman I want raising my kids. Why? Well, she slept with you. You guys both wanted to sleep together. Why does that make her a bad person? She doesn't value herself, which means she doesn't have the good morals. She doesn't have the ethics that I need for her to raise my kid or for her to be a good partner for me, right? What that tells me, if you're promiscuous with me within the first day or first week or first month, hypothetically speaking, let's say I go to a bar with you and I got to defend you and now I'm in jail for 6 months because I defended you. Well, in that 6 months, I'm thinking I fucked her the first week, and I'm gone for 6 months. Ta-da! That's just the way men think. We're very simple creatures. We're very, very simple creatures. Shout out to the super chatters, man. We love you guys. My man's coming in with another one right here. Your modded controller. Let me
It's a
see.
little late. I think it's coming.
Okay, let me see if I can read it. And shout out to the chat, man. They actually have some really good questions here. When this one comes up, we'll read that one. Live, love, and pray says, ladies, should a woman with a high body count deserve a good man, i.e., protector or provider? That's a really good question right here. Kind of piggybacks on what we were just talking. So let's say a woman has a high body count. Does she still deserve? Is she deserving of a good guy that's going to provide and protect for her?
Depends on what stage of her life that she's in. Like, if she's over that whole phase, then yes. And she actually wants to settle down with a good dude, then yes, with good intentions.
Okay. Anybody else want to answer that one?
I agree with her, actually.
Okay. I just said to her that I don't want to pay for your past, right? I don't want to deal with the guys you fucked your whole phase. I'm glad you're healing now, but what? So what? Shout out to the super chatters, man. That's my
Ladies,
boys right there.
If you're on a date and the guy lets you know up front he wants to smash, would that turn you off? Being that you like honesty.
Okay, you know what? And I'm gonna go
Yes.
ahead and go with this with you first. What do you think about that?
As long as he lets me know before, absolutely, so I can make my decision based on that.
Okay, who else says yes?
Well, I'm going to say if that's your intention with me, like, I don't want anything to do with you.
Right.
Okay, anybody
Yeah.
else?
Yes. If you come right off the bat, y'all want to smash you, that's your only intention of taking me out is to smash. No, like I'm not gonna go out with you because that's not my intention.
Okay.
So
Shout out to your modded controller, man. He's coming up with some really good questions. Here's what I'll say to that. I think women respect that shit. And
Respect it, yes.
I
but,
respect
like,
your honesty.
but
Let me
it's
finish.
still a
Let me
turn-on.
finish. And I don't know about other guys, but me, I get it.
That should be working.
I get it.
I didn't want to say shit because I didn't want to give like bad advice out, but like,
But it also might be the girls we're picking, to be fair.
true.
Because I'm not doing that with just anybody.
Yeah,
The
that's
men are we're very detail oriented. Like we're very meticulous. Like we'll pick a girl we know we can do that with.
correct.
Because she's
girl
already
with-
told us that we can do it based off how she acts with us. And she be like, "Oh my god, you're so funny!" Haha. Like we know the choosing signals.
Yeah,
right?
the girls with bikinis are more open. You know, they're more likely to accept that.
Yeah, 100%. But I there's certain women I would never try that with. Yeah.
But I'm wording it like, oh, let's be friends with benefits. If it happens, if more happens, then fuck it.
Yeah, but here's another thing: you pull up in a McLaren, girls want to
Yeah,
fuck
they
you
fucking no
regardless.
matter- yeah,
you
they
know?
gonna fuck no matter
I
what.
remember one time we were in a McLaren with her. I was with her, and we had a girl.
I was behind you in the
yes,
Lambo.
you were
and
behind.
you were
Yeah,
in the-
Babe, you
I
remember that night?
that.
We were in a McLaren. Can you tell them what happened?
Some girl was looking to the side.
Yep.
And then I put my window down and I started talking to her, and she just like followed us.
She followed
around.
us. She literally followed us because we were in a McLaren.
Nah, but she
And
was
I'm with
going
my
quick.
girlfriend. And
Yeah.
and I'm with my girlfriend. And she was like, "Can I give you my number?" And Jules was like, "Yeah." So we got the number. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's just what happens, bro. Choosing signals right there. Shout out to your modded controller, man. Much love. So we have another one from. Hold on, we were making a point with you. I wrote it down. Okay, cool. So a hoe that's been through a whole phase, in my opinion, she's not worthy of it.
Respectable.
She's not
That's
worthy of it.
respectable.
Now, I'm not saying that girls that go through whole phases aren't good. There's still some good women out there.
Mm.
I get it, but here's the thing, right? I went to prison, and I'm not just hypothetically saying this. I actually went to prison, and when I came out, my past still mattered. Like I couldn't get a job here, I couldn't do this, anything government, I couldn't do it. I couldn't vote, can't get a gun license. Well, now I can because it's been so long, right? I can apply for it, but yeah, I mean, it's just so many things that like women are the only ones that think they can sleep with 40 bodies, 40 guys, and it's like, oh well, no, take me as I am. Ladies, the guy that's taking you as you are, he probably doesn't value himself, if I'm being honest. No self-respecting man is going to take a woman that has 40 bodies, 30 bodies. No self-respecting man is going to do that. A guy who respects himself is going to say, listen, I know I'm way too good for that, because there's too much trauma. Well, women are like, well, what's wrong with having 40 bodies? Bro, you're traumatized. There's a reason why you're trying to go celibate. There's a reason why you're trying to heal. You're traumatized, right? All that pair bonding, all the fucking connections, all the soul ties. I got to deal with that? Nah, I'm good, ladies. I'm good off that one real quick. You good over here?
What are they
completely
saying,
just
Jules?
going off, bro.
Talking about your scar.
They talking about me? Or they
What
talking
would they
about-
say?
basically.
They're
Uh,
saying that throughout the show, it's been getting bigger.
His brain is growing, guys. His brain is okay. So
I'm
real
losing
quick.
brain cells and shit.
So
They're
real
like,
quick.
they're escaping.
So Live Love Pray says, ladies. Oh no, we just did that one already. We'll skip over it. Jerome with the last one. He says the question that I have, why the teacher focus on profitable instead of probability. He spelled that wrong. Probability instead of possibility, or is it profitability?
Yeah, but I don't think that has context anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool. So he was talking about you.
Mhm.
You're not a teacher anymore, right? So I guess what he was saying is
God.
just I'm not
It's
gonna
not
lie.
nice.
No, I'm gonna be
I
honest.
was a good teacher.
Okay, no, but you're
Your-
like
your
But I wouldn't want.
ideology.
Yes, I
Your
wouldn't want because
ideology.
of your moral values and the stuff that you
Yes.
believe in. I wouldn't want you teaching my.
You know
kids.
what?
That's okay.
I don't.
Other people did. It's fine.
No, listen. I think
No, you had to accept that shit.
I think she would be a great teacher.
Mm.
I just don't like that you're too accepting. You
Mhm.
got to think about it, right? If I'm trusting you to take care of my kids, there's some things that I just can't have you be
Mhm.
accepting of. I can't have you think that having a drag queen come through and read a book to my kids is okay.
Mhm.
Because what about the
yeah,
parents?
it's that unfortunately that's what I mean is you can't really you can't control everybody, and you can choose for me to not be the teacher. That is 100% choosable, and that's why I said when parents are not okay with something, we don't do it. That's simple, very
Yeah.
simple, right? And I'm in
Okay,
agreement with that.
but real quick, what great idea? Who's the smart man that said, I think it'd be a phenomenal
That's why-
idea. I think
that's
it'd be
what
a
I
fun. I
said.
think it'd be a phenomenal idea to have drag queens come read books to little kids.
That's what I said, and that's why I said that it's important to remember that I'm not advocating for it. I just say that unfortunately, like when you work for a company, a corporation, or anything, even schools, there are things that you have to do as part of your job. And for me, I'm not personally 100% against that. So I wasn't gonna sit here and say I'm not gonna lie to you and be like, oh, I'm not okay with that, because at the end of the day, I did question also. They asked the question of why they didn't bring in a mother, why they didn't bring in, and they do. They
Okay.
the same way they bring in firefighters on career day, the same way they bring in anybody else, right?
Okay.
So can I ask you a question? Do you, let's say that comes up, right? You have drags come to the school and stuff
Mhm.
like that, and your morals and values are different, and you're like, well, me as a teacher, I personally don't want this in my classroom. Is that
That's
something
okay.
you can
Also,
do?
yes, you can. Okay, so they do that. At least in the school that I worked in, you were able to switch if you didn't want to participate or you didn't want to be there for that, but they will fill in with another teacher who will, because that's the
Okay.
that's the point of the whole thing is you can't control everybody,
I see
and
what
you
you're
can't
saying.
decide.
It's not
what's-
necessarily the teacher, it's the school
Yeah,
board.
that really puts
understand.
that
The
down.
school
So there's
board makes
nothing
the
I can.
decision.
At the end of the day, I can go and tell them I'm not okay with it.
The
But
school boards are
Mhm.
greedy motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Shouldn't be
Okay.
hitting the
And
table, but-
what I'll say is
it's the same way you can choose to put your if you want your child to be homeschooled. I also believe that not because of those reasons, but for school shootings and things like that. I do consider that if I ever have a child, they're probably going to be homeschooled just because there's a lot happening that's aside from that's really bad.
okay.
So
Damn.
it's important to look at everything, right? And I will say, unfortunately, there's no way to control every single person's mindset. However, just like I told you, even if I'm not okay with something, they will find somebody who is.
Okay. Do you know who Martin Luther King is?
Yeah.
Okay, so he has this famous quote, and it goes, "An injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere."
Mhm.
Right? You know
Mhm.
what that means?
Mhm.
Okay, so essentially, what you're saying is you would rather your kids be homeschooled, right? Because you don't have to worry about the school shootings, you don't have to worry about the drag queens, any of that crazy stuff.
Mhm.
That's a byproduct of all the craziness that's happening.
Mhm.
All the craziness is happening because we're accepting of it, right? When you start accepting little things, it gradually gets worse and worse. Again, it never gets better.
I mean,
Think about it
there's-
like this,
there's
right?
Things that have turned around. I don't think that it's so extreme to say oh, things are always going to go in that direction, because even though
It's fact. This is factual through life. Whenever we allow, listen, the end of every civilization that was great
Mhm.
has always come when men started liking men, and we started doing
Mhm.
transitions.
But there
into-
was other
and-
problems within that time
Yes.
That
when
was
men
the
did.
main
weren't
part.
allowed
I'm
to
not
like
saying there weren't other. See, you see how you act. I'm getting to a point, and she's like, yeah, but that wasn't there.
But you
of
need to
course,
consider that too.
I do consider that. What I'm saying is, and he said it, that was the main problem, was men weren't being men anymore. Rome, think about any civilization, right? Like everybody, they all collapsed when men stopped being men.
Correct.
So in a sense, I know
But
you
a
I know
lot
you
of-
like this one.
but a
I know you
lot-
like this one. Men are the problem. In a sense, men are the problem because men aren't being men anymore. We're not taking care of our women, right? We're forcing our women to be more masculine. They got to work. And
Yes.
so men are the problem in that sense, right? But what I'm saying is,
Forcing, I don't think. I think a lot of women chose to be like, I've already told you, my boyfriend is more than capable of providing for me, literally buying our house, and we live fine. But I didn't want that specifically. Like, I do want that, but I want other things for myself as well. And that comes with the generations.
That's
worth
a
of-
rarity.
Okay, hold on,
That's a
hold on.
rarity.
your man, whatever else you want, your man
Mhm.
should be able to provide.
What do you mean?
Like
Whatever else?
as long as it's reasonable, right? You're
Yeah.
saying my man can provide for me right now. He can buy a
Yeah.
house. We're good. But I want to work so I can get my own stuff. What I'm saying is your man should be able to get you the house. And if you want that car, he should also be able to say, hey, listen, babe, you want that car? I'm gonna get it for you. You don't
Yeah.
need to go to work.
But he
Because here's the
can.
thing, right? Women have been arguing for equality, equal rights, equal pay. Let me go to work with you. And you guys are depressed as hell. Everything you've ever fought for has brought you what you have today, which is hoes, depression, right? Medication is up, right?
I think-
suicide
Mhm.
is up, right? These are all you can Google if you don't believe me.
It's true that those things exist, but that's the same way as if I sat here and told you that there are boys who in the past, when being gay wasn't as acceptable, the number of suicide rates for those boys was also pretty high.
Okay, but what I'm saying is
specifically
for
for that
women, it's
reason.
higher now, right? If you
Mhm.
compare women back in the 60s compared to now in 2023, when they weren't working, women were happier back then. Oh, but why? They were oppressed and they didn't have any rights. They were happier back then. All they had to worry about was taking care of the home. They were actually but they're not independent and they're enslaved. Bro, I'm telling you, look at the
I know.
numbers. They were happier back then. They were genuinely happier back then. You
I
guys
don't
are
know if I can attribute the happiness to that directly though.
I
Like,
can,
you could be happy
I'm
for-
telling you that I can attribute women not having to worry about shit.
That's what you find that- if you had to not do that,
my
you'd probably be
girlfriend,
happy.
my girlfriend is so happy that she doesn't have to lift a finger.
Mhm.
It's amazing, bro. Our sex is great. The cooking is great. The fucking massages are great. The
Mhm.
everything at home is taken care. It's great. It's she's happy. Now, if she had to do all that
Mhm.
and then go work as a server, well, listen, man, I might not be able to do the dishes today. I might not be able to cook today. That laundry may not be able to be done until tomorrow, bro. Like, it's stressful, right? And I don't understand why women come on here and
Well, like because there's women who aren't happy cleaning dishes and taking care of the kids and doing that
statistics
stuff.
prove you otherwise. There's more
real?
there's
Pull it up.
there's
Let me
more
see.
there's more
I'll believe it.
There's
I'll
more
believe it
there's
if I see
more
it.
okay, we can pull it up. But there's more women now that don't want to have kids.
Mhm.
There's more women now that don't want to get married.
Mhm.
There's more women now that just want to travel the world. It's me. It's selfish. I want to live my life and explore the world. I want to do what I want to do. Back in the day, it was women. Women were the foundation of everything healthy back then. It was women. If there was anything beautiful in the world, it was surrounded around women, right? Women were the foundation. Now women don't want to do shit but have a dog because you're substituting dogs for kids,
Correct.
right? Oh, I don't. There's a chick, the tranny. Like, I have kids, but they're puppies. You know what I mean? Like women think puppies are kids now. It's not true, ladies.
Mm.
Okay. You're more depressed now than ever. And actually, I would love. It's 3+ hours now. I don't want to hold the other
Yeah,
ladies
no,
here real
I-
quick. Okay, cool. Real
That's a
quick.
problem. Hey, this
Thoughts.
was a good panel.
It
Then.
was, yeah. Thoughts on the
Yeah.
show, real quick, before we get out of here.
It was good. I liked this episode. It was nice meeting everybody, and yeah, it was a good show.
Were you nervous today?
Did it seem like that?
Nah.
You were
it's
just really quiet.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was more outgoing than last
yes.
time.
Way more than last
More
time.
than last
time.
Last time
Yeah.
she sat here and didn't say anything at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then-
you should watch that
Wait, who
episode.
was on that panel though? We had people that talked a lot.
Yeah, it was we'll talk about it later. It was the ratchet chicks.
Oh, okay.
What about you?
Whoa.
Thoughts on the show?
It was fun.
It was fun.
I like talking.
You being
and-
honest?
I'm being honest.
Being facetious.
I'm being honest.
Okay.
I would tell you if I felt some type
So
of
you're
way.
gonna
I
go
really
in the
don't.
unfiltered guest
Yo,
chat.
what
I
do-
think
Crazy.
she liked today better than she liked the last time.
Really?
Mhm.
Can I what's
Last
the
time I
one
held back.
what's the one thing I always say about people that come on here and disagree with me?
I like I respect people I could disagree with because I could learn from them the most.
I say that every single show. If you come on here and you agree with me, bro, it's gonna be a boring conversation. If we agree on everything, it's gonna be a boring. Cool, you're cool. All right, cool. You know what I mean? I love when people come on here and disagree with me because they'll teach me something. I might teach them something. And even if we disagree, if we can be respectful, it's still worth it, right? So shout out to you. I appreciate you coming today, and thank you for being respectful. What about you? Thoughts on the show?
Same thing. I appreciate hearing other people's prerogative and perspectives about all the topics that we discuss and how other people see things that, you know, from my perspective, I wouldn't otherwise have thought of it.
Okay, I appreciate you coming too, and you really gave me some positive feedback on what happened last night, so I really appreciate that too.
Problem. Yeah.
What about you? Thoughts on the show?
I thought today went really good. It was a nice, healthy conversation to have, so I really enjoyed it. Thank
Better
you guys.
than last time because you were here when that thing happened.
Yeah.
Wait, what was she here for?
The
Pokey.
Pokey girl.
Oh, you came that day?
Oh, she was there.
Yeah, so it's a way much better conversation.
You want to know what's crazy, Abby? Is that we'll have some like really cool convos like this and panels, and then we'll have some crazy off the wall where I'm
Crazy
like,
shit.
bro, we went from like Maury to like, you know, fucking Ellen or some shit, like Jerry Springer type shit. Like yesterday was Jerry. Yesterday was
Jerry. No, yesterday was really Jerry Springer.
Yesterday was Jerry
We were just
Springer.
missing the
May he
security
rest in
guards.
peace.
Yeah, no, bro. Yes.
Oh,
And you know what's crazy is that's when we had the most viewers and shit because people love drama, bro. They
Yeah.
love drama.
They eat that shit.
They're
up.
like, yo, is the tranny gonna hit Eric? Like, you know, they're it's
I was
funny.
waiting for it.
Yeah,
I was
it's
waiting
crazy.
for y'all to break out.
What about you over there? Thoughts on the show?
I think it went great. Every time I come on, and ever since like when people talk bad about you and be like, "Oh, you're making women view like some type of way," I think every time that I see your videos and I come here and I talk and I hear, I leave learning something. Like my perspective has completely changed.
But
Wow.
can I ask you a question? You would agree that he's a misogynist, though, right? He's
No.
just a respectful misogynist.
He's a respectful misogynist.
He doesn't hate women.
He
Like
doesn't hate. I don't think he hates
I don't
women.
have
I
to
just
hate
think that
women.
us
But don't you
women
think- but
don't
don't you think-
like to accept what
you
he
should ask her.
says.
She
Yeah,
just
but
said
don't
yeah.
you think he's like prejudiced towards women,
Don't
though?
ask me.
But isn't he a little prejudiced towards
You
women?
have said in the past that double standards don't make you like misogynist. But if you're doing things that are harmful or stereotypical and calling women the stereotype, then it's defined as misogynist.
Okay.
But I still think you're a nice person and respectable. I don't think
I can't be both.
you can be both.
You
I
can't
think
hate
you're-
you can't hate women and be a respectable guy. Would,
Yeah,
would
you
would
can.
hold on, would
The
you be
same way
okay-
that
hold on.
people say that they're not racist and they're like, but I have a black
If you-
friend,
if-
and
no,
that's
that's
like
different.
that's
no,
it is the sa-
If you had a
it's the
son, would you want
same
him?
thing.
Would you be okay if they had Eric's mindset?
A son?
Yes.
Oh my god. If my son had your well, no, you have nice traits. No, yeah, I would be happy.
Okay,
with
so
my
he's not a
son.
misogynist. You wouldn't want your
Mm.
son to hate women.
I wouldn't want my son.
Well, here's the thing, right? I have 4 sisters,
Mhm.
and she'll tell you, love my sisters. I have a daughter, my best friend in the world, my daughter. Okay, I came from a mother. My grandmother raised me for the first few years. I have aunts, right? I have a girlfriend, right? Like, how could I possibly be?
That's why I said I don't think
misogynist.
you're a misogynist, but you do have tendencies of like doing things that upset women, and it's because they don't feel like you have this box of what a woman should be,
Mhm.
and unfortunately, whether you like it or not, there's women who don't fit that box.
Mhm.
So when you're excluding everybody else and saying no, all women are like this,
Mhm.
that's when it's a little bit more misogynistic.
I don't think that's the problem. I think people hate hearing the truth. I
Yeah.
think the truth hurts. I think when people hear the facts and the truth, they feel offended because nobody has ever looked at them and told them the
Mhm.
truth in the most honest way possible. People are always trying to
sugarcoat shit.
sugarcoat stuff.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I think maybe that's why people sometimes call you that.
Yeah.
Because you don't sugarcoat absolutely
I've said this
anything.
before.
Not even to me, y'all.
Yeah, not even to her. Yo, people would think I'm like super nice. Of course, you know, I'm caring and everything. I have
Yeah.
to be, right? But I'm so blunt. I'm like, yo, listen,
Mhm.
I care about you, so I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Uh-huh.
You know, all your exes were like, oh, don't worry, baby. No,
But
fuck
that's what
that.
I mean by like for me, and I know this because this is what I have, read.
Mhm.
Truth is subjective. So
The
for
truth is
you,
the truth.
What? No,
Truth-
truth is
Truth is the
objective.
truth.
Hold on. Whoa.
what's true to you,
She had me in the first
that's
half.
what if you when you say, for example, a line.
This is a cup.
okay.
You stupid.
Yeah.
That's it's just the truth. This is
Okay,
a cup.
but
How is this subjective?
It's
This is a
not.
cup.
that's not the same thing. What
Okay.
you're saying when you say all women were happier way back when
That's a
when they
fact.
had to
That's
clean.
a statistical fact.
We didn't even pull that up.
Well, I can after the show. I
We
guarantee you, I'll pull it up.
I'll have you
after the
pull
show,
it up
yeah.
for me.
Okay.
But
'cause
that's
I wanted
that's
to
a
see it.
fact.
I wanted to see it, and I was waiting to see it, and we
Hold
didn't.
on,
see it.
listen.
But we're live.
But,
We
but
wouldn't say
listen,
some shit
that's
like
a
that.
fact too.
But we did pull something
hold
else
on,
up, so
but
even
listen,
if we were live,
but it doesn't just apply to women. Men were also happier back then too.
I'm sure men were happier back
Men
then.
were
men still want
hold on, and
that.
let me
You
fin-
were
hold on.
living proof
Men
of
were
that.
happier back then, and shit was worse for us back then. We actually had wars back then, right?
We still have more, but like
Yes, but it's different. Like, come on, let's be honest.
War was
That's
way
okay.
different.
Hold on, let me finish. Okay, what I'm saying is, after the show, before you leave, I'll
Mhm.
sit down and I'll show you. Okay.
okay.
What I'm saying is, the truth is the truth. It's just some people don't want to hear it. Okay. And I think the reason why this show is crazy sometimes is because we've had some really beautiful women come on here before, and you have to think about it. I say this all the time, and I say being a woman is hard. Being a woman, we don't talk about that enough, but being a woman is hard, right? Your value is your beauty. You can't change that. I mean, you could do surgeries and stuff like that, but typically most women don't have the money to do surgery. Your beauty is just your beauty, is your value, and you get judged on that, right? There's a thing called pretty privilege. It actually exists, right? She benefits from that. All you ladies benefit from that, right? A lot of ugly girls don't benefit. Fat girls don't benefit from that shit. Their reality is a whole different reality than yours, right? And you can't sit here and be like, well, it's subjective because
Well,
if you
see, but there we go. So that is what you believe to be true, correct?
That's a fact.
Okay, but and if I bring you a fat woman who's making money off of dudes who are literally like paying for her
Listen
and
to me.
because they
That's
like
the
that,
1%
Hold
of
on.
women.
You're
but
talking
then
about the
that's
minority.
not true to them.
Hold on.
That makes all the
Hold-
sense. I
hold
don't
on.
know how. Sorry, I don't know if how one
The
person,
exception doesn't make the rule. You could speak
Listen.
about
You're
anything.
speaking
Hold on,
generally,
hold on.
then it's not.
Yes, the
if it's
general
not true for every single
consensus is the
person, then
fact.
it's not true.
What?
The general
There's no
consensus
way
is
that
the
it could
truth.
be. There's no way it could be true for every single person. That
Yo,
life doesn't work that way.
You
Well,
could
This
say
is-
then-
anything, and I can give you a minority. You could say talk about any topic. I'll give you the minority.
I don't even know how to break it down for her. Like it's so
You don't need to
easy.
break it down. This is why I say that we have differentiating
But
opinions.
it's a fact that truth isn't
Well, no,
subjective.
because she's using a loophole of saying, well, that's not true for everyone, so that doesn't mean that it's true. What I'm saying
Well-
is, women as a whole,
Mhm.
in general, back in the 60s, they were just happier. Now, if you want me to go on Google and find out where it says that all women were happier, absolutely not,
Well,
because
there you go.
that's assuming that there were no rapes, there were no murders, there were no domestic violence. That has always happened. What I'm saying is, in general, overall, most of the population of women were happier back in the 60s because you guys didn't really have to worry about shit. So I'm not going to sit here and prove that all women were happier. There's absolutely no way for me to prove that to you. But you can't sit here and say your statement isn't true because not all women were happy. And if not
If
all women were happy,
that way, the way that you say that they were, and to that extent of the general population, even if it was the majority,
Mhm.
right? Why do you think that things changed?
Because of men.
You think that women went and fought for like women's rights and to be able
Absolutely.
to vote
Hold on,
because
hold on.
men?
Hold
No.
on. First of all, the women didn't fight. 20% of women fought for women's rights, so we could
Okay.
drop that.
yeah. I mean,
So again, the minority.
think about it. The feminism movement and all that. Feminism wasn't always what it is today, which is like radical feminism, right? Like radical feminism today is we're better than men. Feminism was we're equal to men. Those are two different things. Again, I can't prove that all women are happy, but majority of them. Matter of fact, let's do a quick activity before we get out of here. Real quick. If you had to, right? Date a guy that was going to provide for you everything you wanted. All your bills are taken care of. He's going to protect you. He's going to provision. You don't have to worry about anything. Or you can be with a guy that, he's a good guy. Maybe he won't cheat on you, but you got to work to be able to pay the bills with him. And everything you do in life, you have to go 50-50. Would you take that? Or would you take the guy that's just going to provide for you?
You're painting that picture so pretty.
That's back in the 60s. It was women stay home, men go to work. That was the pretty picture,
Yeah.
period.
So you're asking me like the opposite, like I go to work and then he's
No.
Like, oh.
He could work too.
He
What
still
I'm saying
works
is,
too?
would you rather just be at
Oh.
home? This isn't rocket science, ladies.
Hmm.
okay.
Would you
okay.
rather be at home just worrying about your house, being completely taken care of, or going to work and your boyfriend goes to work, you guys pay everything together? You have to work though, otherwise you won't be able to pay your rent or mortgage, etc.
I'd rather do 50-50.
Okay, so 50-50. What about you? Which one?
I'd rather stay home.
Okay, what about you?
Stay home.
What about
I'd
you?
rather stay home.
What about
Stay
you?
home.
What about you?
Stay home.
Okay. And clearly you're going to say 50-50, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I think that's why I told you that, and will continue to say that vocabulary is important, because if I sat here and told her, while you're staying home and this man is taking care of you and protecting and doing all that stuff or whatever he's doing back in the day, you're going to take care of the kids. You're going to wash all the dishes. He's expecting to come home to dinner. You better have that dinner ready. I don't care if you don't know how to cook, all that stuff, everything that comes with being a mother, you know, all the hardships, because he's going to be at work. So he's busy. He's not going to be taking care of you. You have to handle it all by yourself. If you still want that, fantastic. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. There's women who want that.
Okay, but
there's no
everything
reason-
you
Hold on,
hold on,
you still have to do those
listen,
same
hold on.
things.
Everything you just described, she does today.
And I'm happy
And
for her for doing that.
what I'm saying is, in today, unfortunately, if I
Mhm.
was to ask this question back in the 60s, without a doubt, every single woman would have said, I want to be at home. This is what I love. I
Good
love being a
point.
mother, right? In today's age, women, I just said it earlier, women don't give a fuck about the traditional roles. They want to go to fucking Dubai and take a picture on a camel. That's way more important to post it on Instagram than to be a fucking mother, right? In today's society. So that's why you have women that are saying, I'll take the 50-50. It literally makes no sense for you to take the 50-50. That's like someone saying, I'll give you 100% of this company, or you could take 50% of this one and work on this one. Why the fuck would I take half of that one? Yes, of course. Listen, ladies, being a stay-at-home mom comes with responsibilities. You can't just say here, I'm not leaving her at home saying, babe, just put your legs up on the couch and chill till I come back. Cool. Could I
Yeah.
do that if I want to? Cool. Yeah. But listen, you're my partner. You're not my slave. You're not my kid. You're my partner. We're in this together. Whatever I do, you're in it with me. Right. And vice versa. That 50-50 shit, that's whack. Why would you want to work 50-50? Bro, you're a beautiful woman. Why would you want 50-50? To feel independent and empowered? It makes absolutely no sense. You deserve a guy that's going to come into your life and say, what's your name?
Lana.
Lana, I care about you so much. I want to make sure that you don't have to worry about anything else for the rest of your life. And I'm going to dedicate my life to making sure that you don't have any needs in life. And if there's anything else that you, for some reason, you do need, let me know. I will take care of it. Almost all women would take that over saying, hey, baby, let's get into a relationship. You go to work and we'll figure things out. We'll just pay bills. Bro, it's common sense. It's common sense. Okay. Now, there's women like you that want to just refuse for some reason to go the route that
'Cause
is the
it's
easy way.
boring.
It's boring.
You're making it out to be like, if I want to go out and be a hoe, like that's not the case. Like some women, like how
You
we've
don't
been
want kids,
talking
do
about-
you?
I do want kids.
You want kids?
Of course
Okay.
I want kids.
Let me tell you something. No matter what you do in life, whatever you accomplish, the degrees you get, however much money you make, there's nothing as beautiful as having kids.
Mhm.
Nothing. No, it doesn't matter how many places you go to. You can go to Dubai, you go to Bali, you go to Mexico, Peru. There's nothing as beautiful as having kids. There's nothing as beautiful as being a mother. Okay. This is why all these big CEOs, the female CEOs, they're boss babes, they're independent. And as soon as they have a baby, they don't even want to go back to work anymore because the mother instinct kicks in and they're like, you know what, bro? I love this little baby. I would give my whole fucking career up for this little baby. All the things you were working for and slaving for, killing yourself for, staying up late night studying and working, all that shit doesn't matter. You guys literally have the most beautiful job in the world, being mothers. And yet, fuck that shit. I want to travel. I want to own 3 dogs and I want to be independent and I want to have 100K in my account. But it doesn't. I'm taking from a person who's a father. Okay. I've driven expensive cars. I've traveled. I fucked a whole bunch of bitches. There's nothing as important as being a father. Being a father today is the most amazing thing I've ever done in my life. Being a father. That's it. There's nothing else that's even close to it. Being a father. I mean, the other thing I would say is maybe when I get men that DM me and they're like, yo, you saved my life. Thank you so much. Like, because of you, like, I want to be better. That kind of hits there. But still, I take my kids over that, if I'm being honest. No offense to you guys. Okay, cool. Real quick, thoughts on the show?
I had a great time, like always.
Guys, let's by the way, chat, it was her birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah,
Happy
so
Happy
I-
birthday.
I know
Thank
Peach
you.
dropped in the
Yo,
chat
happy
right now.
birthday.
Oh, he
Yeah.
did.
And I'm going to be honest
Just
with
had
you.
to
You
say
don't
it.
look 32 at all.
I'm not 32, so thank God.
It was a
Really,
joke, ladies.
niggas?
It was a joke, ladies. God damn. Where's your sense of humor? Come on. She's sipping tea over here. Okay. All jokes aside.
You don't look 32 though.
How old does she look?
27.
How old?
Damn, you couldn't give me 25? Shit.
Okay,
I'm gonna
cool.
be real with you.
All right, cool.
Thanks, friend.
Oh, look, you could be real. That's crazy. Yo, we
How
did.
old does she look?
We did.
Oh my god.
You look 30.
I am 30.
Yeah, there you go. You literally look.
Motherfucker,
30.
you look 30.
Okay.
I'm
How
never
old is
gonna
she?
lie. You think I'm gonna sit here and lie?
Oh,
I'm not
sorry.
gonna lie.
How old does she look, Eric?
She looks 30.
Yeah.
You think, what? You
She
don't
looks
think she looks
30.
30?
I was just out
Yeah.
here. Why
He's
can
giving,
I?
like,
Why y'all
he's giving
like?
us
I'm
side eye.
asking
He's like,
I
I
can't
mean-
sing.
You can't sing?
No, I can't see.
Oh, you
your
can't see
eyes,
him.
so-
Okay.
All right, cool.
Gotcha. Okay. Guys, make sure you guys like the video, but man, before we get out of here, guys, I want to thank you so much for rocking with us. You know, you guys are here for 2 + 3 hours sometimes. Ladies, thank you so much for coming in today. Your time is, you know, very much appreciated. Hopefully, you guys don't hate me. Yo, you'd be surprised how many girls leave here and they DM me and they're like, "Yo, I hate you. You're misogynist." And I'm like, "Yo, why didn't you say that to me in person? I'm never gonna see you again." Why? Well, because you know, I didn't want to say it in person. I thought about it when I got home. Like you thought about it when you got home.
Thought about it here.
You thought about it. Like you see, men are just so straightforward. I'll tell a man, "Yo, I don't like you,"
Yeah.
and we're good. A woman's like,
You wanna know why?
It's just the way she
Because
feels.
during that show, you said something to them that they knew you were right,
Mhm.
and it really hit a soft spot, and they were so mad
Mhm.
that they didn't say anything to you. But then they get home and they're like, you
Yeah.
know what? He was right, but I'm gonna let
Facts.
him know I hate him.
Yeah.
Like,
That
Yeah.
girl was so traumatized by her ex. She turned lesbian, cut her hair off.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
She
Oh,
did
yeah,
a
she
lot.
was. That was
did-
one of them,
she
yeah.
did a number.
I like to say I'm kind of like a mirror. Like I force you to kind of like see some things you don't really want to see because I've been guilty of this, you know, especially when I was younger. I never wanted to look at my worst like traits. I was lazy,
Self-awareness.
I
is
was
the best thing,
immature,
like, have.
right?
Mhm.
I was
Yeah, but
immature.
it's the hardest too.
Yes, I was
Mhm.
immature. I was lazy. All these negative things, but I would always blame it on somebody else. Like, oh, I'm lazy because my mom never taught me anything. No, you're lazy because you're just lazy, bro. Right? You're. I don't know how to cook because no one taught. Nah, bro, you just haven't taken the time to really learn how to cook, right? And when you start to really like put yourself accountable for your actions, that's when you get better. When I started holding myself accountable for myself, bro, now I got people to come up to me and they're like, "Yo, you're so cool. You're so," bro. I just hold myself accountable, and I hold those people around me accountable because I don't need, you know, her next to me and me being like, "Oh, you're fine the way you are." You're fine the way you are is the worst thing you can tell anybody. That is the biggest lie that you can tell anybody. You're fine the way you are. You don't even know if this person's depressed. Yo, there's men around me that came and said, "Yo, listen."
and a lie is not a real compliment anyway. So if you're giving me a compliment that's a lie, you're not even complimenting me.
Yo, I've had a guy recently came up to me was like, "Yo, the yacht party when I first met you at, which wasn't that long ago, the first one.
Yeah.
Yo, I was thinking about taking my life that day, right? And I'm like, yo, we were chilling on that yacht. We had a ball. We had a fun time. You never know. So imagine me telling someone, "You're fine the way you are." It's like putting a Band-Aid on something. No, listen, bro. Obviously, if you felt like you wanted to take your own life, there's some deep, deep things you have to work on. And I'm more than happy to give you some advice. It doesn't kill me to give you a few minutes of my time just to tell you what I've been through since you look up to me, right? But I'm not going to sit here and be like, "Oh, you're fine the way you are. Don't worry about it. It'll get better." Let's be honest with each other, okay? If you guys leave here with anything, just hold each other accountable. Thank you, ladies, so much for coming. Guys, we'll see you guys tomorrow night, man, for the nighttime show. Have a good night. Peace. I would have touched you with a fucking stick.